Oh great, a cape. Someone explain why a bounty hunter would tolerate a piece of fabric flapping on his back and getting in the way of basically every movement. And don't tell me it protects him from the elements, because clearly the wind is all up in here. What is with this dark vignette filter around the edges of the screen? It is purposely present the entire episode, and it was a bad choice. It makes every scene feel darker and more claustrophobic than it needs to. I don't know what Musk is supposed to refer to, but I do know young and sweet were used in the comment, and I'm not okay with that. What, no subtitles now? I mean, instinctively I know what he said, because my mother yelled this at me daily my entire life. Here, I'll fix it. There we go. Surely there are 100 better places for Quarren to be, considering this is an ice planet, and his moist, delicate tendrils would be sticking to every metal surface instantly. To be fair, having a door that operates like that at a bar seems like it would fail safety protocols. If drunk people are operating that door every night, there is zero chance this has never happened before. But with that being said, how would Mando know that shooting the door's power source would automatically close it, or bypass whatever sensor that would keep this entryway from being a regular death trap? It could have just left it open, or malfunctioning where it opened and closed like my sphincter after Thai food, spurting like this dead corpse. I appreciate his focus on the bounty, but what about the zipline grappling shooter? He should be pressing a sweet auto-retreat button, or comically wheeling that thing in with squeaky noises and We are not seeing Pedro Pascal's beautiful mug in this scene, or any scene of this episode for that matter.
Is that a bounty puck?
Yes, it is. And Star Wars is just getting lazy with their naming, because calling these bounty pucks is frankly really stupid. Also, Mithril must know that he has a bounty on his head, and the moment the Mandalorian stepped into the bar, I am certain he would have recognized him as a bounty hunter. Why didn't he make a run for it? There's gotta be a back door.
I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
No matter how you dress it up, that's still a we can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way cliche. Fun fact, in order to leave the bar, they would have had to step over 2 halves of an entrails-seeping corpse, because this show ain't playing. You would think automobile dealers in the frozen tundra would at the very least have vehicles with tops on them. This is insanity. Mando and his bounty will die of hypothermia in this speeder before they even get to their destination.
I'd stay off the ice if I were you.
Everything we've seen is ice, so this warning is a waste of air and esophageal effort. Also, this advice proves to be terrible, because this guy wasn't even on the ice and he got I mean, damn, those are some perfectly white teeth. Tell me about dentistry and teeth whitening in this world, because these are some impressive chompers, and suddenly nothing else matters. You've been captured by a bounty hunter who may or may not kill you, and you have discovered a closet filled with weapons. Why not take one to defend yourself? What else are you looking for down here? Also, how did he know how to open this console? Are we yada-yadaing our way around this?
This feels a lot better. I haven't evacuated since the solstice.
Oh god, it's like the granola folks sharing about what it means to live off the land in their Insta stories. I don't want to see you pee off a cliff. I don't want to see your goats mating. I do want to know how you make organic candles though, so stick to that for f***'s sake.
But I guess that's not gonna happen this year.
Probably not.
Why wouldn't Mando start here? What was the point of letting him sit up in the cockpit with him while he flew if he had this capability on board?
Oh, that was fast.
Carl Weathers is not fighting a Predator or a Russian in this scene. Everyone's face is distorted from the cryogenic ice blast, so how is this face scan helping to identify the contents? With all the technology available, wouldn't a DNA reading be far more accurate?
Do you want the chit or not?
Chit, yeah! I've turned on my screen brightness to max and prayed to the Lord of Light, but I can't see a goddamn thing with this vignette filter. And yes, I know I already sinned it, but now that my eyes are strained, I'm really annoyed. Longer than needed shot on a group of stormtroopers because we're supposed to fanboy out and jizz all over ourselves because stormtroopers.
What else did he say?
He said you were the best in the parsec.
God bless you, Werner Herzog, acting in a franchise you probably know nothing about and killing it.
Let's see the puck.
We can only offer you a tracking fob.
So is he picking up a Honda Pilot? Seriously, who named this?
What's the chain code?
We can only provide the last 4 digits.
I don't know how you can track down in this neck of the woods, but I'm assuming if Mando asked for the chain code, he needs the chain code. So why is Shrimply Pibbles f***ing around with him here? Doesn't he want Baby Yoda? Who doesn't want Baby Yoda? See, it's okay because the creatures were with Jawa, so they're bad. This means we can torture roast them in front of their loved ones and don't have to feel horrified. His armor is upgraded with what he's brought in, and my question is, what would these fancy hotel soaps become? I'm banking on proper gel insoles, and damn if I'm not bummed, this is totally avoided.
This was gathered in the Great Purge.
Good to see that Purge Night carries over from galaxy to galaxy, and Mandalorian already have masks to wear. How convenient.
That's good. I was once a foundling.
I know.
Foundling flashbacks. Flashlings? Foundbacks? We are all imagining our own version of what is behind this mask. I think it's Pickle Rick. And now this is far more interesting and entertaining.
You are a bounty hunter.
Yes.
I will help you.
This actually feels like something Nick Nolte might do when he's not acting, just hanging out in the forest. And when someone randomly wanders into his area, he offers to help them, even though they never asked for it. That's so Nolte.
Did you help them?
Yes, they died.
Well, then I don't know if I want your help.
Mando would be excellent at TV Sins.
Blurg. You can keep them both.
No, you will need one. To ride, the way is impossible to pass without a blurred mount.
If this is true, how does the bounty droid make it? Better question, why not zippity-doo your ship all the way over?
I have spoken.
But nobody knows how you were able to speak so clearly considering the rigidity of your lips. This creature goes from attempting to rip an arm off to saddled and happily hopping through the desert in maybe 2 hours. Tell me it drank something to make it more docile. Tell me once you tried to kill it. You're the alpha. Otherwise, this entire scene is a throwaway attempt to westernize Star Wars. Moment of silence for the costume department for forgetting his pauldron is on his right shoulder.
Then why did you guide me?
They do not belong here. There will be no peace until they're gone.
Got it. Murder for the sake of peace. But why haven't you been wearing your goggles while traversing the desert? Are these cosplay goggles made of glitter and dreams?
Then why do you help?
I have never met a Mandalorian. I've only read the stories. If they are true, you will make quick work of it.
Yeah, but you told Mando earlier that you had helped all that had come through, so you still haven't answered why you helped them. I refuse to believe the Mandalorian is in a hurry. He clearly washed all the mud and animal poo out of his cloak before taking this journey. I don't care that we saw this guy as a human being in a flashback. He's a Cyclops. Why else would he look through a telescope like this? The quick and the droid.
IG unit, stand down!
I mean, how dumb do you have to be to drop in on an active murder bot? And also, how convenient that he was shot on his shiny new armor. Mando is somehow surviving this.
I will disengage self-destruct initiative.
When did you ever engage it, though? You kept telling Mando you were about to, and then would do something else. Whoa, whoa, whoa there, Trigger Happy. You know your mark is in the room, and you want them alive.
Perhaps it could live many centuries.
Oh, it's Yoda. Look at him. Such a cute baby. Well, that means what? Is this Boba Fett? Sweet. I wonder how they'll tie in Luke and everything. Guys, I'm f***ing with you. Calm your rage before the dark side consumes you whole.
Yeesh. Look where the leather meets the base of the shoe. One puddle in its funky foot for sure. Let's hope there's no rain or mud pits or anything. Well, what good are his eyelids if they don't close all the way? We know he can blink all the way, so why go halfway? Have you ever tried to blink halfway? Do it now. It's really hard, not to mention a horrible way to moisten the eyes. Mando just pushes the porta-stroller and it shoots backward quicker than it had previously moved before coming to a complete stop. And yeah, we see him push doohickeys on his arm later to get it to move, but he's not doing that currently. It appears to be running on plot convenience. God, that child is so cute. Good thing Disney was prepared for the merch demands so that fans didn't have to buy adorably crafted fan art from independent artists who were filling a void. That would have led to so much red tape and countless cease and desist orders, and worst of all, it would disappoint artists and fans around the world. Glad that didn't happen. Oh, come on, show. How are we supposed to believe any of this is real when faux Yoda doesn't have a chunk of enemy mine lizard running down his face? Expecting a child to stay put. I can't believe Mando missed the opportunity to kill 2 Jawas with 1 disintegration stone. That's where the saying comes from. What sort of bullets will evaporate an entire being with their weapons and clothing but leave the cloak behind for dramatic effect? I'm asking for a friend. I mean, sure, this seems like a really great time to test the range and speed of your wrist controller for the child pod. I've personally never been in a situation where I needed to shimmy up a metal fortress to dismantle a mobile scavenger society, but if I needed to do so, I'd opt for the slanty side rather than the sheer climb. I mean, why not use the zippy wrench lasso back here? Or hell, climb up the back where there are all sorts of things to grab onto. I'm just saying there appears to be a better way to get to the top of the faux fortress. Today, I learned that Jawas haul spare parts to the roof, so they're within easy reach for moments such as this. It's probably in a book or a blog that I don't have time to read. Man, I haven't seen this much Jawa murdering in a movie since Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. Just want to point out that our supposed badass Mandalorian, one of the toughest people in the Star Wars universe, was just outsmarted and defeated by Jawas. Damn it, I really can't get away from how adorable this creature is. Remove a sin, you cute little bastard. Walking. Excitement? Also, I've watched this episode twice now, and I can confidently say it should be titled More Walking, because it's 26% fighting, 10% mud, 4% talking, 2% ship repair, 57% walking, and 1% eating frogs. I don't know who told them this was a great ratio for an episode of Star Wars, but they were wrong.
This is what was causing all the fuss?
I think it's a child.
You might think that, Mando, but you know what happens when you assume. You make an ass out of you and not Baby Yoda, or something like that.
The Jawas steal. They don't destroy.
That is a super odd distinction and really hard to prove. In stripping down machinery, they could in fact destroy it, no?
Hey, spit that out.
A visual aid of how the Muppets were treated on Disney Plus makes its way into this episode. Also, kids. Did you know some people mow their lawns at night? It looks just like this, minus the rain. I've had 2 neighbors do this over the years, and it baffles me to no end. I could maybe give a pass to one of them because his lawnmower had headlamps, but the other guy was pushing his push mower with one hand and using his smartphone flashlight with the other. Anyway, nighttime mowing. Mow when you can see, Daryl. That's Wookieist. Mando and the child are given prime seats at the helm? This man would be highly untrustworthy, so why place him in a position of power within the ship? I find it hard to believe Mando would be anywhere other than the cargo hold, or locked in the tiny Jawa bathroom. Behold the gaping sphincter. I mean, don't behold that much. If you stare at it too long, you'll question whether or not to penetrate. At this point, I'm not sure why you'd choose any other ammunition but the disintegration bullets. He's about to face off against a hairy berserker rhino from hell. Start with the pow fizzle bullets, and then the pew pew gun. How is leaving Green Machine outside the cave protecting it? Why wouldn't he leave it with Nick Nolte? Hell, the Jawas seem a safer bet than just leaving it out in the open like this when there are several people trying to kill it. Some people find this moment terrifying because of the rib bones, but I'm disgusted by this piss pond. I mean, it's either cave mud or monster piss, and honestly, both options are really disturbing to me. Oh, now you get out your poof poof gun. Also, we have now arrived at the portion of the show where the Mandalorian kills a mother to trade her egg for ship parts. You know, rather than hunt the Jawas in a smart way until he finds a way to kill them all. Retrieve his gear plus the Jawa horde and then head back home. This great warrior watches the massive horned beast approach and rather than roll away, he hangs out and opts for a blowtorch arm, and he does it again a minute later. Will he ever learn? Not using the perfect opportunity to strike cliche. Followed directly by the single strike insta-kill cliche. Also, I'm not saying one stab from that small blade couldn't kill it, but I am saying one stab from that small blade couldn't kill it. Once when I was a kid, I slept over at my great aunt's house, and she had brown sticky shag carpeting that smelled like a cough syrup foot bath. I know this because I was designated to sleep on the floor. Anyway, I had a flashlight, and when everyone went to bed, I was looking around, and the light shone under the couch, which led me to discover that the carpet was actually teal, meaning the floor was so disgusting that it turned brown, and I was essentially sleeping on 50 years of dead skin cells and life spills, all unwashed from a carpet that looks a lot like this. That carpet. Even with a hairy outside coating, that still looks tastier than a Cadbury egg.
This is gonna take days to fix.
That's what I thought. I mean, look at this thing earlier. It was right up. But nope, with a little can-do attitude, these two managed to get it ready for in-space flight overnight. Also, when did Mando heal after his fight? His ribs are barely in his body after this, and this, and this, or this, followed directly by this and a little side smack like this. But now, hours later, he's lifting ship parts back into place like he's not even sore? Nah, man. This is a super grandiose ending to an episode where not a thing of any interest happened. And yeah, the little green thing not named Yoda used the Force, but we've seen Star Wars. We know it can do this, so who gives a Trying to wake a sleeping baby. Is the wee one strapped in with a safety belt of some kind? Does the floaty pod dock in somehow? How do we know Baby Yoda's is in there safely?
I have no idea if he wants to eat it or hang it on his wall.
Are there no other options? What if he wanted to raise it to be his green son? Or what if he wanted to study it?
It's not a toy.
Despite one fifth scale Yoda working his way into our hearts, I must stay vigilant and remind you that the sin here is and always will be kids. While yes, this pick up the kid by the scruff like an animal moment serves as a way to gauge Mando's eventual care of the child and the way he holds him differently by the end of the episode, it's still a horrible way to pick up a tiny kid. I mean, what is the point of this arch? Is it for show? Do people just walk under it because they can? Obviously don't need to. And it doesn't look secure. Show reenacts my experience after eating baked goods at Coachella.
Easy with that.
You take it easy.
Mando doesn't respond with "Stop copying me." Mando's Beskar boner is so powerful that he completely forgets that he kidnapped a child.
Such a large bounty for such a small package.
Such an odd thing to say when he's about to get snippy when Mando asks a question. Don't start small talk if you don't want small talk.
Unfortunately, finding a Mandalorian in these trying times is more difficult than finding the steel.
I find this really hard to believe. Mando straight up walks back to the Mandalorian den and reappears with super fancy armor. Anyone paying attention would be able to make the assumption that there are other Mandalorians not only out there, but nearby. Since the other Mandalorians can't go out and play, the writers have them all just milling about and fiddling with their armor, instead of enriching themselves with a game of strategy like Risk or Pass the Pigs. These envious Mandalorians showing up to the yard at the first hint of Mando's milkshake. Beskar.
How can one be a coward if one chooses this way of life?
So true! Imagine choosing a life where you can only use 10% of your field of vision by choice. Truly badass. Stop trying to convince me otherwise. Yes, I know some say it's ridiculous and should cripple any battle advantage, but stop it. It means they're brave.
This is the way.
But forget understanding any of the ways that the way is the way. I know I'm supposed to watch and enjoy and turn off my questioning mind, but I really wish I understood their code better. Is it the same as the guild code that Mando breaks to steal the kid in a moment? Why are there no apparent consequences for a fellow Lorian when he tries to rip off Mando's helmet? How do you choose the various options of armor add-ons? And is there a build your armor character creation screen?
Since you forego a signet, I shall use the excess to forge whistling birds.
Then honestly, why would anyone opt in for a signet when a sweet, sweet weapon like whistling birds is a choice?
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way. One would expect this hammer-banging flashbacks position to provide some armor explanations. Instead, we get some backstory delivered completely out of context. Do you think it's a requirement to have a flashback to war trauma while the armor is cooked? And if so, why would anyone sit through this? I mean, why not get in and hide with your kid? But how did the robot without little digits on his hand actually open the door?
You had your shot, dust breather, but you failed.
That's respiracist? Using this walking into a saloon trope to remind us that this show isn't drawing inspiration from the Wild West so much as it's drawing inspiration from stereotypical movies about the Wild West. While we all love Mando's new shiny metal ass, walking in with your Beskar hanging out is about as subtle as a Tesla Cybertruck. And this level of bling seems to betray Mando's generally stoic demeanor.
Take some time off. Enjoy yourself.
Presuming you know when someone needs time off, which is especially concerning when you can't even read the person's expression to understand their state of mind. You're talking to a wall of armor. Stop telling it what to do. Also, considering Greef just told Mando that the entire place hates his guts, why would Mando want to stick around? Mando doesn't finish threading his shift knob onto the shaft. Acting as if you can do anything covertly when you've got this much shine. Staring at your dead comrade long enough to become dead yourself. Glad to see we're still sticking with shooting the control panel not only disables the lock, but also opens the door cliches. The medical guy looks up and sees that Mando has now removed baby greens from the medical device. I will never understand the level of confidence needed to do this without fear of harming the little one even more. You don't yank people off hospital beds. Mando's going back through this facility the long way? If the room he needed to get to was right by the outer wall, why not blast Puck through this outer wall in GTFO? I can see how Mando's helmet wasn't a disadvantage in this situation because every one of these idiots has one on. But the cape and sniper rifle on his back should have been detrimental during these close quarters fights. What kind of example does this set for the kids? I guess suddenly no one in the bad guy block seems to care about the kids surviving any longer. Do the stormtroopers know they're terrible at aiming, so they shoot badly but confidently, therefore avoiding killing the child, but also appearing as though they're defending their hideout? We now know that these whistling birds are rare, but why are they rare when they f***ing rule? If it's about the rarity of the metal, why not find a way to make them with other metals? And if they are so rare, why have an entire gauntlet designed to contain them only once every so often? Oddly, none of the explosions and gunfire brought any curious onlookers to the building. Earlier it was said that everyone had a tracking fob for the bounty on my Yoda from another mother, but they all kept the tracking fobs even after they found out Mando had already collected the bounty? Sure, some people are slow to throw things out, but the show wants us to believe that every last one of these ultra-absorbent assholes kept the thing. And that it's still active after the bounty was completed?
Because I'm your only hope.
This just seems like a weird time for a callback to Princess Leia's message to Obi-Wan. Or is it not weird and the two moments are somehow connected? Well, either way, I was enjoying the show before that line, and now instead of enjoying the show, I'm thinking about possible reasons why Greef Karg is being a fanboy right now. Child endangerment. Turning and running away in shame after realizing you brought an axe to a blaster fight.
Drive!
Backseat drivers. Exposing your tuning fork. Mando should know that when you realize your blaster's in drop D while the rest of the firefight is in standard tuning, just take those shots a full step higher and get through it.
That's one impressive weapon.
A gun that vapes people? Yeah. Seems that the bullets for this weapon should be rarer than whistling birds, but no. In an interesting attempt to jump from the DCEU to the MCU, it looks like Mantis accidentally landed in the Star Wars canon. Did all the Mando people get the same ping message about Mando's sudden decision to go back on his bounty and take the kid? How did they know to show up? Okay, Disney, take all of my money. All of it.
You're going to have to relocate the covert.
Telling someone the reason why they shouldn't be helping you while they are helping you. Also, I'm pretty confident the whole Mandalorian group would have had a hard time hiding anyway. Mando got paid in Beskar, walked it through the street, and sauntered into their covert without any attempt at being sneaky, so anyone could go down the stairs and peek at the people. Wow, Greef boldly enters the ship with a gun aimed directly at Mando, yet somehow misses him even though he's now a slightly obscured, shiny, big guy standing in steam. Imagine being this horrible at aiming and choosing to face off with Mando one-on-one. Idiot. Speaking of steam, there's a button on the ship that makes it pour out like this for why? Oh, good grief. Karga didn't die because of his Beskar plot armor.
I gotta get one of those.
Why? It's not like you're going to use it properly. Giving a metal ball to a child. I'm not sure whether it says more about the pointlessness of the previously on segments or the terrible action cutting, but I can't even tell the difference between this edited down action and the original cut to hell action. So let's go ahead and sin both. DC Comics. I mean Marvel. Comcast? I think the dark side of my sin brain is warring with my non-sin brain. It's like my own personal Star Wars. Huh. Where'd I come up with those two words? Opening up your show with fishing. Might as well be opening it up on people attending church or a soccer match. It's as if the writers were like, how can we bore our viewers to the point of them wanting to scratch their eyes out right from the get-go? Also, these alien krill are about the brightest electric blue possible, which for an animal that's probably very tasty and easy to catch doesn't make a lot of evolutionary sense. If only Darwin had space travel and lived in the distant past, we could have avoided all of this. This is terrible frog catching technique. Everyone knows you have to catch from the top front of the frog, not the back. Then you hold it gently by the sides while it relieves itself as a defense mechanism, at which point you let it go because you can't stand the thought of terrorizing a small animal. It's like in the frog catching manual and everything. Take that, woven gourd-shaped object. Droid murder. Drurder? Only on movies and TV do people absolutely terrified of death from an intruder stop hiding immediately after the bad guy leaves. It's not like they were suffocating under there. Those two would have stayed underneath that basket for another 5 minutes at least before slowly raising it up and sneaking away. But sure, let's go with the violently discard safety while the bad guy's still likely in earshot strategy. Not completing your A's. Those are upside down V's, Disney. Upside down consummate V's.
Stop touching things.
But also, kids.
No population density. Real backwater scug hole.
That's scuggist. What, you don't know what a scug is? Consider your ignorance part of the problem. Go educate yourself.
You ready to lay low and stretch your legs for a couple of months, you little womp rat?
Either Mando has a sense of humor or he doesn't. Show plays so fast and loose with his emotional output, I've got worse whiplash than a Bolator playing with a high-low ball.
You stay right here. You stay.
Attempting to leave minors alone in a parked vehicle. Not keeping your bat-eared chicken leg pug cat in check. And yes, I know it has an actual name, but my version is more accurate and you know it.
Well, you're in luck. I just took down a Gringer, so there's plenty.
Oh, a Gringer, you say? Well, I'm certain we all know what that is and how it would be taken down by you, so we fully understand what all of this means. Look, if there's one thing I'm consistent about, it's that these shows need more exposition. Sheesh.
Keep an eye on the kid.
Yes, sir.
Not vetting your Baby Yoda sitters. Next thing you know, a Ghostbuster's doing some housework for you and catches her breastfeeding the little guy, and it's all downhill from there. I know how this stuff works. What on earth? I mean, what on Sorgan is this scanning for? Can't be heat, right? Because there's no way this amount of heat would still be left after brief walking contact with a shoe. And if it's just looking for indentations in the ground, couldn't you do that with the naked eye? Perhaps the show wants us to believe it's some mystical microbial remnant that's on the bottom of everyone's shoes that Mando can scan. But it's clearly playing it to look like some sort of heat signature remnant, so I'll set it on the confusion alone. Helmet punching will always be a sin, but when it's Beskar helmet punching, I'm going with 5. Both combatants pull their guns to shoot, but then don't for some reason. Cough, cough, plot armor, cough, cough, and then just hold the guns in a pointless standoff. Cliche. Cute moment, but how did Grogu get down from the chair with the porridge? Mando had to pick him up and put him in the chair when they got to the establishment.
Let's just call it an early retirement.
Call it whatever you want, Gina. I mean, Kara.
Unless you want to go another round. One of us is going to have to move on, and I was here first.
Why is this, though? The whole reason Kara and Mando picked this place is because it's not on anyone's radar. So what does it matter if both of them are there? This feels like unnecessary conflict, which makes it very necessary to award a sin.
To the middle of nowhere.
Where do you live?
I could sin that this information is enough to change Mando's firm no to a yes, but instead I'm going to send the phrase middle of nowhere. There is no middle of nowhere. In fact, there is no nowhere. Do you know where nowhere is? Your line is, nowhere. Let's try that again. Do you know where nowhere is? Nowhere is just a small separation away from now here. My point is Mando is wishy-washy. Good thing Mando knew exactly in the woods where Kara was, and it was close by. Convenient future work buddy camping site is convenient. Damn it, Grogu! You basically have no relevance to this episode, but Disney's using you as some get-out-of-boring-free card by just throwing in your unrelenting cuteness every once in a while, even though it has nothing to do with this discount Hidden Fortress episode. I'm not saying it isn't working. I'm just saying it's unfair. Mando has lightning speed reflexes here and almost shoots this little girl, but earlier didn't even turn around when the two villagers rode up to him at the Razor Crest. Nor did he even notice Grogu was approaching him until he was standing right next to Mando before they went into the village. Is it the helmet or just plot-selective peripheral vision?
Can I feed him?
I give all the sins back if right after he says yes, she quickly finishes her sentence with, to the Mama Core as a ritual sacrifice.
I don't think...
They'll be fine.
Oh, sure, leaving me in the ship alone or with a random Gringer murderer is fine, but the second a little girl wants a play date, he goes straight into Fluttercraft parenting mode.
Let us know if there's anything you need.
She 100% wants his Beskar spear, and he's not even going to react? I get all the this is the way stuff, but he only has to leave the helmet on, right? Do Mandalorians take a vow of celibacy? I don't care about the answer. I will not be denied, Rando Mando. Wait, what? He can take that off in front of an open window with kids playing right outside? How is this not the Mandalorian version of indecent exposure?
About 15 or 20 of them came through here on foot.
But when? If they're tracking where the crew of raiders headed that attacked the village a couple of days ago, these heat signatures would have easily cooled off by now. Bullshit technology continues to be bullshit.
And something big sheared off those branches.
Ya think? Did your fancy exposition vision help you with that brilliant insight?
We're not leaving.
Stubbornness. Sure, in movies and TV it always seems to somehow work, but in real life you just end up tearing a rotator cuff when the jar of pickles won't budge, but you refuse to use the hairdryer trick your girlfriend found on the internet. These people should end up dead, or at least eating pickles one-handed.
We're gonna need to dig real deep right here.
Cara and Mando will proceed to talk about this trap along with the need to cut down trees and build barricades with them. Not to mention they have to train a group of farmers how to be combat ready. These are tasks that would probably take at least a week, if not longer, to complete. But I have to assume only takes a day or two. And if we're supposed to believe that a week or two has passed, then the village got extremely lucky they weren't raided again. Either way, I'm pretty sure there's some bullshit in here to send somewhere. Also, this episode spends as much time on its training montage as a 2-hour movie like Shang-Chi. And we don't even get an Aquafina miracle kill shot out of it. Great work! Your combination of braggadocio, arrogance, and propensity for wasting ammo is going to come in real handy later when your tribe runs out of shots because you decided to kill that pan 20 times. America! Radioactive milk. This grapples on incoherently for some time. If Cara was correct earlier and the villagers already knew about the ATSD, then how were any of these trees that it's currently taking down still standing? Look, there are plenty of parts of this plan that are pure bantha shit and should never work, but this part actually should. There's no way the driver of this thing got this close to the trap and then mid-step looked down and figured it out. I'd believe it if he had spotted it a ways out, but this timing is clearly meant to drive up the tension, not the reality.
Get down! Get down!
Starting a Kool in the Gang song without getting to the Jungle Boogie part. Also, even though everyone was told to get down, Kaban and Stoke are still raised up and deserve to die, but won't. So what exactly was the plan before Cara Dune, but not that Dune, went up and shot the eye out of the ATSD? If it had stepped into the water originally, was Mando just going to run up there and try a bomb on the outside of the head?
It's gonna break his little heart.
Strumming the shrimp with their fingers, singing wildlife with their words, krilling him softly with this song, krilling him
He'll get over it. We all do.
Parental abandonment? Oh yeah, that's an easy thing to get over. I mean, wait, what?
I will look after him as one of my own.
For the next 50 or 60 years, at which point I'll die and he will still be a toddler. But I totally got this. Dunis Ex Machina. The surest way to know you're watching quality Star Wars these days is when you see these 5 beautiful words at the end of the episode. Instead of this, we get this.
It's against the guild code.
Show stops mid-previously on to confirm that we are, in fact, watching a previously on. Look, if your previously on needs an intermission, it might be too long. Believing that spinning this fast and the associated nausea will make you a better shooter. It's frankly ridiculous how little the Razor Crest is hit, and even more ridiculous that it survives the few occasions when it does take a direct hit, which is made even more especially ridiculous when the other bounty hunter ship is destroyed with the first shot.
Bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
This version of the I can bring you in dead or alive cliche lacks clarity, and could be misinterpreted as I can bring you in with or without a cardigan.
That's my line.
Fine, you get a sin for it as well. This man's scream echoes in space.
This is Mos Eisley Tower.
Yay! Tatooine! Again. Seriously though, what are the odds that Mando gets into a fight close enough to a planet that he can crash land on, let alone one that can sustain life, and also just happens to be Tatoo forcing again? I suppose the sheer weight of fan service is enough to increase the sandy ball's gravitational pull far beyond the expected norm. Mando's a dick to the prequels.
You damage one of my droids, you'll pay for it.
Just keep them away from my ship.
Joe has apparently chosen droidist discrimination as the best way to give Mando some edge.
Look at that.
Mechanics. These maintenance droids are cheating, so not only have they been uselessly programmed with the ability to play a card game, but also how to cheat and the benefits that come with winning. I'm just saying that I feel like this is a slippery slope to we don't need the squishy meat sacks anymore, and probably shouldn't be allowed.
The bounty guild no longer operates from Tatooine.
If you're looking for work,
Have a seat, my friend.
Mando and Calican both luck out in extraordinary fashion here. Mando manages to get work despite the guild not having a presence on Tatooine, and Calican manages to get a freaking Mandalorian land in his lap to help him with his quest. How long did Calican plan on hanging around? And what would Mando have done if Calican wasn't relying on dumb luck and this bar's reputation to catch Finnick?
Think again, Tin Can.
Show has apparently chosen droidist discrimination as the best way to give Calican some edge.
Fennec Shand is an elite mercenary. If you go after her, you won't make it past sunrise.
You can keep the money, all of it.
Somehow, knowing that he'll get all of an undisclosed bounty instead of half of an undisclosed bounty is enough to convince Mando that catching Finnick is now a thing that can happen.
And give me the tracking fob.
Don't worry. I got it all memorized.
But the tracking fobs are tracking Finnick as she moves, right? And if they're not, then they're totally f***ing useless anyway. If Calican or the fob is working from one set of coordinates, then Finnick could easily double back, and then the two of them are just going to be walking around the desert like a couple of assholes. And I've seen quite enough of the Book of Boba Fett already, thank you. Being surprised that your child went missing after leaving the front f***ing door wide open.
What'd you expect? Corellia.
I'd Google what Corellia is, but if anyone would like to give me a hand, that would be great. I'm getting fed up tracking all of this solo. The fast and the forciest. All this speeder bike action really highlights just how much of this episode is a celebration of being in transit. I'm not just saying that these fobs do most of the heavy lifting in the bounty game, like telling you where to go and how close you are, but it's also that it might be more fun to watch Mando track the targets with skill and cunning as opposed to Google Maps.
Hit me in the Beskar. And at that range, Beskar held up.
The statement is redundant, because later on the armor will also hold up at close range. Regardless, I'm still confused as to why Finnick isn't going for the squishy bits between Mando's literal plot armor.
You see where that shot came from?
Yeah, it came from that ridge.
The specificity of that ridge really doesn't cut it when you follow up with this shot of all the ridges. This is only about 10% more helpful than saying that way without putting any hands up. If you have to remove your signature helmet in order to use your signature weapon, might I suggest that one or both of these two signatures may need rethinking? Finnick distracts Tora with a throwing knife to the blaster, then has enough time to run and kick said blaster away despite having a f***ing gun. Yes, it's a long-range weapon, but I've played enough video games to know that being no-scoped with a sniper rifle is just as likely to work and 1,000% more infuriating.
It looks like you got off easy.
Thinking that having a new suit means that a person hasn't been through some
Looks like one of us has to walk.
Or we could drag you.
He can't really do that because of plot reasons, but it's definitely a viable option, and if the show wasn't going to use it, then it really shouldn't have brought it up.
Watch her, and don't let her get near the bike.
There's no reason for Mando to take the risk of leaving Finnick alone with Calican here when the show has gone to great lengths to show us that they're fully capable of walking through sand for extended lengths of time.
Bringing you in will make me a full member of the Bounty Hunters Guild.
28-minute episode chooses to repeat information we already have. It's called the Mandalorian, not the over-explain every plot point. Ian. Finnick survives this.
If the Mandalorian's worth more than you are, well, who wouldn't want to be a legend?
But also, why doesn't he want Finnick to survive this? Regardless of how much the bounty on Mando is worth, there's still money to be made from taking in Finnick. Take her in, get the bounty, tell them where Mando is, and then boom, double the legendary. Why is Calican holding the blaster on Mando? Mando doesn't care about being shot, and he'll probably think twice about any sudden moves if the blaster stays trained on the adorably squishy piece of product placement Calican is holding. Necrostelia. I hear spurs, but I do not see spurs. What's this? The pedestrian equivalent of pumping fake engine noise through your speakers? Also, we're supposed to be rooting for Mando, but he just assumes Finnick is dead without checking, which leads to this scene, which in turn leads to 5 full episodes of Boba Fett. Thanks, Mando. The Razor Crest is still in one piece in this scene. Yes, I'm sending the show because it will eventually blow up this beautiful beast, and I know you feel that pain too.
Mando, is that you under that bucket?
Ah, sudden Bobby Elvis. Also, what a weird way to address someone who, in theory, you've only ever seen while they were wearing said bucket. Unless, of course, this is one more person Mando has unsheathed himself in front of, in which case he really should think about amending his oath to "this is the way" when it's convenient to me.
You know the policy. No questions.
This seems like an extremely broad and frankly unrealistic policy. Let's see how long it lasts.
So what's the job?
8 seconds.
Ship wasn't part of the deal.
Well, the crest is the only reason I let you back in here.
Hey, what happened to?
And you're welcome back here anytime.
My goodness, I know we're dealing with criminals here, but is an ounce of consistency too much to ask for people?
What's the look?
Asking someone who's wearing a full face helmet about the look they're giving them. Bill Burr's not the first person that would pop in most people's heads as the badass / sharpshooter on a heist team. However, I'm glad he was on the minds of the Mando team because he's great in this role.
Former Imperial sharpshooter.
That's not saying much.
I wasn't a stormtrooper, wise ass.
Wait, so it's known in universe that stormtroopers can't hit the broadside of a bantha, and yet they're still being used?
I can't believe that thing can fly. It's like a Canto Bite slot machine.
How does that look anything like a slot machine?
Hello, Mando.
Shion.
One member of the team is a woman who has a long history with the protagonist cliché.
This is shiny.
Invading a Mandalorian's personal space and touching their armor with your blade without explicit consent.
You gonna be okay, sweetheart?
Calling someone you're not in a relationship with sweetheart.
Tiny.
Ooh, nice insult, Pet Sematary 2's Clancy Brown. Excited to see what else you might have up your sleeve later. Although if you pull off a good your mom, I'll forgive the tiny reference.
Fuel navigation. Hyperdrive.
Excitement?
Your man wasn't taken by a rival syndicate. He was arrested.
A job is a job.
Yes, and eating Legos is eating Legos. Repeating things doesn't make them a good idea.
And I'm not looking for that kind of heat.
But you had no issue parking your ride on a station with a former criminal colleague.
If we immediately bank into this kind of attitude, we should be right in that blind spot.
This thing is brand new, top of the line, and not to mention fucking huge, but still has an enemy ship has an easily exploitable blind spot cliché built right in. Who is building these things? Kids. Also, this compartment filled with weapons isn't locked. Surely a no-brainer when there's a band of untrustworthy, ruthless mercenaries on board.
Apparently, they're the greatest warriors in the galaxy.
Then why are they all dead?
Berg would be Darth Revan at CinemaSins.
He never takes off the helmet.
This is the way.
Blasphemy. This compartment filled with Baby Yoda isn't locked. Surely a no-brainer when there's a band of untrustworthy. You get the idea.
It's impressive that this gunship has survived the Empire.
This episode is 17% characters talking shit about Mando's ship. Is Zeon's specialty really just knives? I mean, this would be of questionable value versus an organic crew with guns, but it's downright idiotic against an entirely metal crew with guns.
Oh shit, come here. Come here.
Why is Berg even here? I don't care if he's the muscle. If he isn't smart enough to realize that prematurely pew-pewing a harmless droid that's likely linked to the deadly droids isn't a good idea, then I'd happily carry the damn heavy things myself. How is the backpack blaster activated? How does it know what to aim for or when to fire? When will I stop trying to make sense of any of the tech in Star Wars? Not today!
Get that blaster out of my face, Mando!
This Mandalorian standoff's for some time. Sure, Berg's got big muscles, but any droid that can be taken down this easily by discount Hellboy here really has no place being assigned to a maximum security ship.
You deserve this!
But why? What are they gaining from throwing Mando in the prison? Vengeance? There's no profit in vengeance. And surely they know their odds are significantly improved if he's still with them. Fortunately for Mando, this arm still works, despite being disconnected from its power source and the AI that controls it. I can't tell if these are the computer graphics being displayed on the ship's computer, or if Zero is in the middle of a game of Tron Deadly Discs on his Intellivision.
It seems comms are no longer functioning.
Comms go down in the middle of a dangerous mission cliché. And yeah, maybe I've laid on the cliché sins a little thick, but that's only because this episode is as well.
Whatever Rand promised, I'll see to it you get triple share.
You better be good for it.
I mean, I'd probably take that laugh to mean something like, what do you think, dickhead? You just broke me out of prison and all I have is this vest and a pair of lovely head calves. Of course I'm not good for it. But you trust who you want to trust, Mayfeld.
Mando.
Polo? Berg survives this. These look like the same droids from earlier, so why are they going down so much easier this time around? Were those previous droids on special roids to help avoid the weapons being deployed? Or am I doomed to be an annoyed humanoid screaming into a void devoid of joy? Okay, when did this f***er turn into James Wan's the Mandalorian?
I did the job.
Yeah, you did.
So Ranzar was essentially full of shit when he said that...
It's a 5-person job.
Right? Because it quickly became abundantly apparent that this was, in fact, a 1, maybe 2-person gig, including the robot. Mando does the vast majority of the droid control, while the others seem to be actively sabotaging the mission at every opportunity. Not only does Mando retrieve the prisoner alone, but he does it while facing 3 additional opponents that weren't even in the original brief.
Kill him.
Why kill him after he's taken your money? It's not like he's any less dangerous inside the spaceship with lasers. Guys, if the tracking beacon was activated as a distress call, isn't it at least possible that it's still being held by the poor bastard that sent the message? Yes, I know we were told earlier that this beacon would result in immediate destruction, but when did shoot first and rescue the charred remains of the dead hostages later become the Republic's standing orders?
You know the policy. No questions.
So what's the job?
This is the guy? What did he get out of it?
You remember what you said, Mando? We did some crazy stuff, didn't we? Don't take long, does it?
Why are we using this one?
Why are they all dead?
Is he as good as they say? He never takes off the helmet. You ever seen his face? What is that? You get lonely up here, buddy? Did you two make that? What is it, like a pet or something? Is that true, Mando? Were you always paranoid?
You didn't think we need to know that tiny little detail?
Are you questioning my managerial style, Shion?
Do you have a name?
Is it not your code?
Aren't you a man of honor?
Where are the others?
No questions asked. That's the policy, right?
Such a large bounty for such a small package.
Reminding us of the previous episode where Werner Herzog broke into gigolo jokes for no apparent reason. Also, there's no reason why a previously on bit needs to be over a minute long. This is a TV show, not a Lord of the Rings movie. The previously on before the Two Towers didn't even last. There was none because previously ons are a dumbing down of storytelling comprehension skills, you bastards. Not having a proper car seat. Sorry, Razor Crest seat for your child. Seriously, we know you're not the most successful bounty hunter, but you can afford a quick stop at whatever the galaxy's equivalent of Target is to buy your child some proper protective seating, or just shop at the actual Target. You'll be safe there. Stormtroopers can't get anywhere near it.
My friend, if you are receiving this transmission, that means you are alive. You might be surprised to hear this, but I am alive too.
Look, Grief, most of this could be gleaned from the context of your message. I misplaced a college friend one time after a wild night of too much Scrabble, but their text in the morning asking if I wanted to get breakfast was more than enough to establish that they were alive and thought that I was alive as well.
You kill him, and we both get what we want.
Oh, cool, you're alive. Sorry about trying to kill you the other day. Hey, can you do me a favor? If that fire rope thing connecting them doesn't burn or do anything besides function as a rope, why wouldn't you just use a rope? Save your poor special effects intern from having to edit this pointless thing into the scene through multiple cuts.
Hurry up, mud scuffers!
Mud scuffers. I know we all got a good kick out of Nerf herder, but maybe we can stop trying to make other funny words happen. It's not going to happen. You've got like 3 different groups of people looking for your baby. Can you at least attempt to keep him hidden?
The kid'll never be safe until the imp is dead.
Shortening Imperial to Imp, which is a mythical creature and would change the Star Wars universe in a way fans wouldn't be happy with. Ha, who are we kidding? Star Wars fans are never happy. See, this is what happens when you leave a child unattended in another room. It's either they take over your ship's steering console or they make soup in the toilet by pouring in all the spices in the cabinet and then take turns drinking it. They do that sometimes, I've heard.
You got anyone you can trust?
The uncanny probability that the person he trusts will be on a desert planet.
I've worked in the gene farms. This one looks evolved. Too ugly.
That's eugenist.
Would anyone care for some tea?
Disney Plus refuses to give us a spinoff based around Taika Waititi droid.
Not anymore.
He couldn't have let him know that he had a bounty hunter droid before it strolled into the room getting their tea order?
I found it, laying where it fell.
Well, someone might have moved the RoboCorp, so you're just assuming it fell there. Also, not knowing how to properly use laying and lying. My 9th grade English teacher didn't grammar shame me in front of the entire class just for you to trigger me like this.
I recovered the flotsam.
Well, someone might have deliberately left the RoboCorps there, so you're just assuming it's not Jetsam.
It had to learn everything from scratch. This is something that cannot be taught with a twist of a spanner.
Maybe not a spanner, but certainly with a software update. And I'm sure this Robo Karate Kid scenario will be important to the plot at some point. But considering the other shit they've got going on right now, I don't know why Queel thinks Mando and Kara have time for this.
Tea?
Taking a drink that was clearly offered to Mando instead of waiting patiently for your own cup. Manners matter, Cara Dune. In fact, here's another 2 cents for poor table manners. My teacher in finishing school didn't teabag shame me in front of the entire class for you to trigger me like this.
I can pay you handsomely, Ugnaught.
Referring to the man who helped you get your stolen parts back, rebuild your spaceship from scratch, and gave you T as his species name. Why are everyone's manners in this galaxy so awful?
None will be free until the old ways are gone forever.
And yet the sequel trilogy tells us the old ways don't disappear. Somehow, they returned. While Queel sits down on the ship to do bong rips, I have to wonder how much more interesting it would have been to get a glimpse into his past instead of clips where he's teaching a robot to walk and make tea. Casual attempted murder.
What? When you work for the Empire?
This tension between Kara and Queel gets written into the scene as if they didn't have a cordial tea party before and as if he was the one choking her. Grogu is the one being an ass here. Let's not forget that. Making me watch other people watch this ship land.
It appears that introductions are in order.
It seems we've both provided a security detail.
Did the writers run out of dialogue for this scene and decide that Grief verbalizing his observations was a good substitute? There's meeting outside of town to avoid alerting the Imperial troops, and then there's meeting so far out of town that it requires a camping trip. And while I hate camping as much as everyone else, the real issue is that nothing has been established to make the long night of Stand By Me portion of the episode feel necessary.
Nothing can go wrong.
And now we have some sort of pterodactyl dragon situation putting us somewhere between Jurassic World and Pitch Black. Why is this contrived scene trying to be all of the things? This little guy truly does not care that he's about to be eaten by a space dragon.
The poison's spreading fast.
Those things were poisonous too? This scene has more random tension than the time I saw my friend John start a fight with a car seat and lose.
He's trying to eat me.
He is not. But at this point, I'm kind of surprised the writers didn't take it in that direction. There's that mysterious Force healing ability again. And once more, Force Ghost Qui-Gon looks on before walking away, muttering, "That is such bullshit."
I need your eyes.
Don't take her eyes. She needs those to see and protect you. Unless you think she can be Donnie Yen. Listen, Mando, I saw Donnie Yen. I had my mind blown by Donnie Yen, and she is no Donnie Yen.
There's something you should know.
That's just one step removed from a "you better come take a look at this" cliche, and we'll let Cindy decide if that's far enough to avoid a sin. What do you say, buddy? Well, there you have it. Also, let's talk about how useless that armor was. He got shot once in the upper left corner and died instantly. Who made this armor? Was it the same designer that makes useless stormtrooper armor? Is there a guild of armor makers in this galaxy far, far away that consistently releases inferior products?
Nothing on this planet will breach those doors.
Hold on there, partner. Nothing on the planet will breach those doors? Jawas were able to tear your ship apart in just one day in a previous episode. We've seen how flimsy the Razor Crest is, so maybe think before you go around jinxing the ship's hull integrity. That's how you get an iceberg to sink your ship. Arm wrapping, gratuitous blaster close-ups, looking deep into the eyes of a baby. Excitement?
I'll give you 20 credits for the helmet.
I don't know what the exact exchange rate is for Beskar, but this asshole trying to grift out on the edge of the Republic sucks way more than I would expect at grifting.
On your wall.
Go with it.
Pretending the guards can't hear you say this even though you're 6 inches apart.
Can I offer you a libation to celebrate the closing of our shared narrative?
Prematuration celebration libations.
The Empire improves every system it touches.
Camino and Alderaan have entered the chat.
I see nothing but death and chaos. I would like to see the baby.
Werner Herzog wanting to see a baby.
Have they brought the child?
Yes, I have. Currently, it is sleeping.
You may want to check again.
Moff the Boss buries the lead before burying this blaster beam in the client as a dramatic show of Imperial force, instead of saying, "Yeah man, hate to bum you out, but they don't have the kid. You probably should try to kill them." Just saying, if we briefly suspend our disbelief in their plot armor, there is some chance the client succeeds in killing them, and Moff's job is that much easier. I hate it when villains work harder and not smarter.
Are you there? Do you copy? Yes!
Mando f***s over Queel so hard right here by doing this over unsecured comms that I'm willing to simply sin him for being a dick.
Back to the ship and bail. Get the kid out of here. We're pinned down.
Wait, are we supposed to believe Queel was dumb enough to give Mando a communicator set to the same frequency as the stormtroopers were using? Because that seems like a pretty big oversight. Even if the stormtroopers intercepted the radio transmission, how do they know where Mando's ship is? Is it because the writers told them? It is, isn't it? Well, guess what our writers told Cindy to do? I love when they let the ships and other elements in the world shine so we can see all the tech and take in all the hard work that went into the creation and depiction of these works of art. But this episode has done it so much that they've ended up developing the spacecraft and blurgs more than the characters. Worst Jack in the Box ever. These stormtroopers all stand here with their weapons aimed like most of them aren't going to shoot one of their buddies in the back of the head.
You have something I want. You may think you have some idea of what you are in possession of, but you do not.
Giancarlo Esposito is such a wonderfully terrifying villain. One sin removed for Gus Fring. Moff Gideon.
Queel, are you there? Do you copy?
Not having the guts to show such a heart-wrenching death on screen. Queel deserved better. I have spoken. It's math time, everybody. Are we ready for the Cinquation of the day? All right. What do you get when you add 1 minute and 24 seconds of previously ons to 24 seconds of logos? That's right, kids. Sins.
Knock it off.
I get that these guys are assholes, but you tell me that this literal child abuse didn't give you all of the uncomfortable winces, and I will call you a liar. Or the police. It's right on the galaxy's edge of being too fan servicey, but these two are hilarious together, and I can't help but remove a sin for this, ironically, on-target gag.
Any update yet?
Considering the kill-to-death ratio of your typical stormtrooper, I'm not sure why these guys are in such a hurry to end their rather cushy collect Moff Gideon's lunch and enjoy the view assignment.
You just killed an officer for interrupting him.
I understand killing a trooper or two to make a point and flex your power, but at some point it just seems wasteful. If the Empire is gone, aren't stormtroopers in limited supply? Maybe just render a few of them unconscious to make your point? Resource management is important.
The last thing that you want is to give Gideon a bag and have him open it up and find whatever is left. Okay, look.
Yeah, but you're now robbing us of the opportunity for these guys to get into a weekend at Giddy's situation with a dead Grogu.
A pet?
Star Wars continues to prove just how useless Stormtrooper armor is. He's wearing thick gloves, and yet Grogu's tiny teeth were somehow powerful enough to hurt his fingers. Stop punching your boss's new child/pet/lunch.
I'd require that you remind him to me immediately. Are you refusing my request?
No, I'm telling you to get out of here.
Sounds an awful lot like you're refusing IG-11's request to me.
What the hell are they waiting for?
Should the characters in the Star Wars universe have a concept of hell? Sure, Anakin apparently knows what an angel looks like, but that's not explained either. Listen, vocabulary matters. Just because this is a common phrase on our planet doesn't mean it would be here too. So just give her something different to say. Or make them swear in Mandarin like Firefly did.
They're setting up an E-web.
Oh no, not an E-web. How the hell will they ever escape the E-web? The f is an E-web?
It's over.
Grief Karga goes all Hudson from Aliens on us, and if this weapon is that powerful, I suppose he has a point. I mean, there's no way Moff Gideon would do something outrageous like give them an entire day before.
I will give you until nightfall.
Moffer, f***er.
I found the sewer vent.
Why would you have a vent to a sewer directly behind a bench where people would sit and drink? I have a hard time believing anyone would sit in a bar that smells like a sewer. Where do you think you are? New York City?
Blow it.
I'm out of charges.
Says the script.
Members of my escort have completed assembly of an E-web heavy repeating blaster.
Okay, I couldn't help but research what this is, and it turns out it's a pretty badass piece of gear that was used in The Empire Strikes Back. Cool. Nice callback. However, its full title is Emplacement Weapon Heavy Blaster, which means Moff is pulling a pin number by calling it an Emplacement Weapon Heavy Blaster Heavy Repeating Blaster. Stop shortening things and then saying the words you've already shortened.
Or perhaps the decommissioned Mandalorian hunter, Din Djarin.
Villain full names the heroes he's trapped and goes through their history as a way of asserting dominance cliché. Or as we say in the biz, Hans Grubering.
I will give you until nightfall, and then I will have the E-web cannon open fire.
Seriously, why do villains always do this? All he's doing is giving them time to escape. If he really wants to force their hand, he should give them 2 minutes to surrender, not several hours. I understand the writers need to give our heroes a way to escape into season 2, but there are smarter ways to do that.
They'll upload me to a mind flayer.
As long as you put enough points into your intelligence stat, you should be fine, Kara. You only need a DC 15 intelligence saving throw to avoid its mind blast attack. And even if you fail and get stunned, you get to re-roll that saving throw at the end of each turn. Trust me, 5e mind flayers aren't nearly as bad as they used to be in 3.5e. Or that's what some nerd told me. Yeah, fucking nerds, am I right?
It's Moff Gideon.
No. Moff Gideon was executed for war crimes.
How do these pretty regular-looking stormtroopers talk about Moff Gideon as if he's the poster Sith for what's left of the Empire? But Mando revealing his identity comes as a huge shock to Kara and Karga.
Mandalorian isn't a race.
It's a creed.
Roll Huh. Sorry about that, everyone. That really felt like a Roll Commercials moment. I guess I'll just send it for breaking the fourth wall, because if there wasn't a helmet in the way, Pedro Pascal would be staring directly into the camera for that line. This flashback exposition of civilians being killed goes on for all of the sometime. We get it. The Empire sucks. Sheesh. Uh-oh. If Twister taught me anything, it's that when a kid is put in a basement, the father's going to die. Starting to get the feeling Din's parents aren't walking away from this one. And for clarity, I meant the movie Twister, not the game. Although, come to think of it, the game would work too. Electric guitar riff of justice. Also, looks like we've got a kid whose name rhymes with in hides underground while Imperial baddies kill their parents until they're rescued by future mentor cliché. Okay, maybe that's not a cliché, but the similarities to Rogue One seem unnecessary in a galaxy full of potential origin stories. Cool shot, but there are still plenty of droids around. Could they really afford to dramatically unfold their hand and wait for Din to climb out?
Moff Gideon was an ISB officer during the Purge. That's how I know it's him.
What kind of proof is that? How can he know Moff was the only ISB officer connected to Mandalore? Why is it only an ISB officer that could know his name? Look, I'm sure there's something I'm missing here, but I wish someone would tell me exactly what, because Karga and Kara take this as unquestioning proof that Moff Gideon is, well, Moff Gideon.
He says he needs us, which means the child got away safely. I was worried when the Ugnaught didn't respond.
Stop calling this person you've come to implicitly trust and respect by their species. You don't call Kara the human or Luke the ungodly CGI rendering of my nightmares. Okay, I know that's not until season 2, but it bears saying as much as possible.
I am fulfilling my base function.
Which is?
To nurse and protect.
Not that the shots of Grogu laughing while IG-11 blows shit up aren't awesome, but if your directive is to nurse and protect, wouldn't you take the child further away from danger? Running the kid into an active conflict zone would seem to violate that directive pretty fundamentally, especially when the Razor Crest was an option. Punching a guy in metal laser-proof armor. Only members of the Bad Batch could get away with that nonsense. Mando rips the E-Web off of its mount, presumably so that he can make it a mobile vessel of pewing fury. But since he ends up standing in the same spot and spinning around, why didn't he just leave it on the mount with its stability intact and save himself a copyright lawsuit from the Master Chief? I know stormtroopers aren't exactly the masters of tactical warfare, but this dickhead literally runs toward the line of fire created by the super powerful death cannon. Why are they still trying to get into the bar? Both Mando and Grogu are clearly outside on the street. And you might say, but CinemaSins taking the bar offers a tactical advantage. And we'd say, stuff it, you scruffy nerf herders. Stormtroopers aren't that smart. Like and subscribe. Yes, stormtroopers couldn't hit the broadside of a bantha, but shouldn't the priority here be taking out the extremely exposed Kara and Mando? We barely see a shot even come near them. I mean, what the hell is Moff Gideon doing right now? Washing his tights? Wait, what? Didn't they just blow the door off with a f***ing grenade? How is it all fixed and properly shutting now? What kind of a bar has a reloading door?
I'm not gonna make it. Go.
Trying to convince the audience that the show's titular character will die when season 2 has already been ordered and sinned.
I'm gonna need to take this thing off.
No. You leave me.
Codes of honor are cool and all, but the Mandalorians are basically an endangered species right now. If taking the helmet off can let her save his life, then do it. Yeah, I hear you. This is the way, and I have spoken. But that's not going to matter all that much in about 5 minutes when a droid finds a loophole as small and ridiculous as a midichlorian.
When you get to the Mandalorian covert, you show them that.
Do you want to tell your friends where the top secret covert is before you kick the bucket? They'll probably need directions. Guys, we want to make sure the stormtrooper looks different because they have a flamethrower and Any suggestions? How about some unsettling red paint that makes it look like the skin of his helmet is being pulled back to reveal a fleshy undermaw? Ugh, that's gross, and it doesn't say flame trooper to me. I love it!
Let me have a warrior's death.
We just saw Grogu use force healing powers in the last episode to save Grief Kargas, so why can't they do the same thing for Din here? Is someone saving their force powers for a more dramatic scene? Are they? I bet they are. I bet they are.
I won't leave you.
She will. At this point, we've had so many Deus Groguganas that it's hard to buy into the stakes of these near-death situations. It's especially baffling when you realize that a matter of hours ago, Grogu chose not to use their powers to save Queel, a character we like more than at least 50% of the people in this room.
No living thing has seen me without my helmet since I swore the creed.
I am not a living thing.
I'm truly conflicted about the helmet removal. I'm all for seeing Pedro Pascal, but doesn't this feel a little unearned? Yes, it's debatable as to whether IG-11 is truly alive, but that doesn't feel like an argument that's going to hold up in Mando Court. And spoilers for season 2, it doesn't. It's almost like the show just felt bad for not showing us Pedro. Like, we know this could have been anybody in the suit with Pedro in a recording booth, but we want to show you that he put the armor on at least once. Never mind that it undermines one of the character's core f***ing beliefs.
This is a Bacta spray. It will heal you in a matter of hours.
Bacta spray? Bacta spray? That comes in a spray form? Every time we've seen it used, Bacta is kept in a tank and the character has to be submerged to benefit from its miraculous healing properties. Someone should tell Boba Fett so he doesn't waste half of his series just napping in a fishbowl dreaming of electric exposition. Also, you're only mentioning this now? This asshole listened to Kara and Mando argue instead of saying, I've managed to bottle the essence of plot convenience and can fix whatever we need to fix, so there's really no need to get all emotional and Also, episode 2, Attack of the Also. If the Bacta spray is that powerful, why did you need to remove the f***ing helmet? Just spray that shit under there and leave the man with his honor.
I can stand. I'll try to find tracks. We're close.
And looking at the ground was somehow a physical impossibility while leaning on Kara and looking at the ground.
The songs of eons past tell of battles between Mandalore the Great and an order of sorcerers called Jedi. that fought with such powers.
There are around 30 years between Order 66 and the events of The Mandalorian. If that's not enough time for my best friend to forget about the time he tricked me into wearing my retainer post-urinal bath, it's not enough time for the galaxy to forget about the light sword police sorcerers who patrolled the galaxy.
You expect me to search the galaxy for the home of this creature and deliver it to a race of enemy sorcerers?
Mando would obey the creed of CinemaSins.
By creed, until it is of age or reunited with its own kind, you are as its father.
So just because you say the word creed a million times, you just expect Mando to make that kind of sacrifice with arms wide open?
You are a clan of two.
Sup, Mando? Cool badge. I have no idea you joined the what? The Mudhorn Appreciation Society. Yeah, I've got a cousin that rolls with those guys. Nice group, bit intense. No. This is my signet to show. Ah, damn it.
IG, please guard the outer hallway.
Kudos for saying please, but does IG just take orders from anybody?
Until you know it, it will not listen to your commands.
What is it, a Pokemon? You're telling me this jetpack can disobey its user? Funny how none of the other Mandalorians in the Siege of Mandalore episodes of Clone Wars seem to have rebellious jetpacks. Or at least that's what some nerd told me. Hey, Chad, toss me a cold one while I fix this car and I can't do it. I'm the nerd. I'm the nerd.
Restock your munitions.
Did Mando level up or something? He gets a new outfit detail, a new weapon, and a complete refill of ammo. Is the show gonna auto-save because the big boss fight's coming up?
IG, carry this for Din Djarin.
Oh, so now we're just calling him Din Djarin whenever and in front of whoever the f we want. How will Mando ever be able to identify future Moffs who happen to be hunting him down? I'd say it's pretty embarrassing to lose to a person fighting with a hammer when you outnumber them and have guns, but all y'all lost to teddy bears on the moon of Endor. The Stormtrooper bar continues to plummet, and we will not stop saying that they are still the Empire's weapon of choice.
This is the lava river.
Unnecessary observations. At some point during the Star Wars holiday special, I said the fact that nobody ever thought to engineer poor R2-D2 legs and arms. Upon reflection, I would like to take that sin back and transfer it to this nightmare fuel.
I don't suppose anybody here speaks droid.
Nope, not a single person. Hey, IG, can you think of anyone in the boat that speaks droid? No, me neither. Quite the puzzle.
I will eliminate the enemy, and you will escape.
You don't have that kind of firepower, pal. You wouldn't even get to daylight.
He says to the droid that single-handedly took out a small town of stormtroopers while carrying a child in a damn baby Bjorn.
Sadly, there's no scenario where the child is saved in which I survive.
No scenario? No scenario? That is a mighty amount of confidence that doesn't account for sudden Groguing Jedi cameos or, well, the more obvious factor that stormtroopers can't shoot tin cans 10 feet in front of them.
What are you doing?
Look, we all love T2, but stealing is stealing. And stealing is like one of those actual sins.
He missed!
He won't next time.
He still wants Grogu alive, and you're holding the child, so yeah, he'll continue missing.
Come on, baby! Do the magic hand thing!
Kids. This is forcing badass. Let's go! But also, this works. Shields are a thing in the Star Wars universe, right? Like, we've definitely seen them before. So why don't TIE fighters have them? And don't give me some shit about it being too expensive or cumbersome. If the Rebellion can afford them and fit them on X-Wings, the Empire should have zero issues doing the same. Moff Gideon survives this. Well, would you look at that? The jetpack is still obeying commands. I'm starting to think that the nice lady with the murder hammers was full of shit. Aw, yeah, more ship porn. I love the Razor Crest. I hope it sticks around for a long time to come. He has a f***ing light/dark/saber/sword thing? Why the f*** is he only busting this out now? In fact, why is the show only busting this out now? It's as if they've been saving it for some big end-of-season sting. Oh.
How uncharacteristic of one of your reputation.
Show immediately reminds me that Werner Herzog is no longer going to be playing a character in it. And for making me sad, it gets a sin. A bunch of logos that tell me that I'm watching a Star Wars property, in case I already didn't know. Yo, I know we need to see this wretched hive of scum and villainy, but can we get on with it? This walk is taking longer than Sir Lancelot's run up to Swamp Castle. Oh look, a Banksy. Oh, let's get ready to Gamorrean grumble. Also, I'm pretty sure this fight sequence is only here because Jon Favreau has a boxing ring boner. And far be it for me to criticize another person's boner, but really means all to the rest of this episode.
I'm told you know where to find them.
Man, they sure are able to have this conversation in hushed tones despite the raging crowd all around them. Cheating. These scruffy-looking nerf herders seriously try to get into a fist fight with a fucking Mandalorian, despite seeing him ice all those henchmen seconds ago. Also, why would anyone punch Mando in his helmet? Why would anyone punch anyone's helmet? It's a fucking helmet! I know Mando has the armor and has a few weapons, but in the previous episodes, I don't recall him being fucking Inspector Gadget.
I've spent much time on Tatooine. I've never seen a Mandalorian there.
I feel like we've all spent way too much time on Tatooine in this franchise. There's a ton of world out there left to explore, but yeah, let's go back to Luke's boring planet again.
Cut me down!
That wasn't part of the deal.
No, but you did say,
I promise you will not die by my hand.
And I'm pretty sure that was your hand that fired the blaster and allowed all the wild mutts to come kill Gor Koresh. What the f*** is up with this score? Sounds more like the ending to Jingle All the Way than an episode of The Mandalorian.
Sorry, gang. Come on. You know he doesn't like droids.
I'm sure Pelimato might recall Mando's dislike of droids, but they've only met once, and she's acting like this is a lifetime of experiences they share together.
Oh, so he likes droids now. Well, you heard him. Give it a once-over.
Just because IG-11 sacrificed itself in the previous episode, Mando's cool with all droids now? It's like me meeting Mark Cuban and deciding all rich white men are okay.
I just can't get good help anymore. I don't even know who to complain to.
I love Amy Sedaris, and I appreciate the humor in this episode. I also think that these characters wouldn't talk like this. Sorry. I think the show is trying to jam in hokey dialogue as a throwback. But the worst part of those classic movies was the hokey dialogue.
You got Mos Eisley, Mos Espa, and up around this region, Mos Pelgo.
Yeah, but what happened to Mos Def? I miss that guy much more than Mos Pelgo. I have to say, this is so like an old school Western that I have to take a sin off. It's comforting and exciting and suspenseful all at the same time. And for capturing that classic feeling, remove the sin. But also, these townsfolk are totally giving away the fact that their marshal has Mando armor. If they just gone about their business, he probably would have moved on and not caused any trouble. These townfolks are dicks to their leadership, man. Considering Mando keeps telling everyone he has been quested to take care of the child, he sure does just leave it behind a lot where it could easily be kidnapped or killed. Why wouldn't he have just left it with Pelimato? She's taken good care of it in the past. Okay, I understand the homage to Westerns, but did that sound like actual f***ing spurs? Play it again. Ain't no f***ing spurs on that costume, man. If you're gonna go this over the top, just give him a poncho and a cigar for f***'s sake. Cue fanboys orgasms now.
I figure only one of us walking out of here. But then I see the little guy, and I think maybe I picked you wrong.
Assumptions.
Around here, I'm the one tells folks what to do.
Round here, I'm the one tells folks to do cliche.
Take it off.
And do it nice and slow, all sexy-like. Isn't it about the time that the bartender crawls beneath the counter? I mean, he's pretty much directly in the line of fire. It's really nice of this underground creature to make its way through town in a straight path and right through the center so as not to destroy any of the buildings. Also, show does not have a no banthas were harmed during this production warning. Comparisons.
The town was on its last legs. It started after we got news of the Death Star blowing up. The second one, that is.
Celebrating the deaths of all those innocent independent contractors. Also, what is up with this episode having impossible conversations in extremely loud environments?
And then I was saved.
Wait, he just noticed this now? How did he not see that giant automobile in the distance a long time ago?
My treasure bought me more than a full water skin. It bought my freedom.
But only because the miners went to the Stormtrooper School of Aiming at things and didn't shoot you in your arm, neck, stomach, or legs. Timothy Bobafant. Also, I don't know what's more surprising, that the Jawas had Mandalorian armor, or that they had a helmet that fit Cobb Vanth so perfectly.
What am I supposed to do with this?
You drink it.
It stinks.
Hey, the Tusken Raiders have their own version of Malort. I bet there's a subreddit devoted to Raider Face.
Now, how do we kill it?
If he could speak English while making the hand gestures and they still understood what he was saying, then what were all the grunts about? But also, the fact that the show took the time to hire a deaf actor to create this Tusken sign language for Raider Nation is pretty cool and worthy of a sin-off.
They say it lives in there.
Didn't Cobb already know that, though? He brought Mando all the way out here, didn't he?
This here is a Mandalorian. You know what that means?
Oh, we've heard the stories.
Then you know how good they are at killing.
But he doesn't, because he just said he's only heard stories. Maybe do a little more listening discount, Raylan Givens.
A crate dragon has been peeling off our pack animals and sometimes taking our mining haul with it.
I know this is a bothersome phenomenon, but it doesn't sound like the dragon has been killing anyone in the town. In fact, the greater threat to the livelihoods of this town are the Tusken Raiders themselves. So why is Cobb willing to risk his greatest asset in combat to get rid of this annoyance? Sure, Mando could kill him, but he's risking the entire town to combat something that isn't really the biggest threat to his community. This Tusken Raiders meets the people of Mos Pelgo scene goes on for some time.
What are you trying to blow the whole place up?
Nice. Wouldn't be a traditional Western TV episode without a protagonist fight amongst themselves before the final act of the show cliche. Cheese and crackers, there's more unnecessary walking in this episode than in the entirety of the Lord of the Rings franchise. Sure, now is the best time to take a drink of this foul juice. Does he even know if it's nutritious or it you up like peyote?
The Tuskens say the belly is the only weak spot.
I guess that would be a fair assumption, but since they've never killed one of these, how do they know that? Sand people yell at this dragon to wake him up when he's peacefully hibernating, and did I miss who the actual antagonist is here? This f***ing plan.
I'm gonna hit it.
No, wait. We only have one shot.
Then maybe it would have been a good idea to set the charges closer to the entrance of the cave? By the way, nice job helping with this f***ing operation, Mr. Being who could probably end this evil bastard by waving your hands a few times before multiple people were killed.
I don't think it's dead.
Well, not with that attitude, it's not.
Let's get after it.
Yes, after we've stood on the sidelines while this futile explosive trick was tried and failed. We can do it!
There he is.
Yeah, but how? How did he get from the top of the mountain to here without any one of you knowing? I don't know. The Beskar armor is impervious to the dragon goo, and he survived being swallowed by that and this explosive worked, even though the other one didn't. And I guess this is a long-winded way of saying Mando survives this. Hey, what a twist! It's that guy. And yeah, I know that everyone thinks it's Boba Fett because of the actor or whatever, but some of us that just watch this show haven't witnessed every single piece of Star Wars history multiple times. So this isn't a twist to us. It's just confusion about why I'm watching this random bald guy look at the sunsets. I want to like this show. I do. But how can I when clearly no one cares about a child's eye protection? There's so much sand and wind. Very dangerous. Being horny. I'm no expert on crash analysis, but I find it hard to believe that the child stops rolling after a few tumbles. They were flying at top speed. Shouldn't the kid be like a green bowling ball tumbling tush over teeth 16 miles into the desert? Again, no expert.
Wait. Don't hurt the child.
Considering the crash moments ago should have eviscerated Greeny's tiny bones, I don't think Exhaust Pipe Eyes cares all that much about hurting things.
If you put one mark on him, there's no place you will be able to hide from me.
But 2 marks means you could hide in plain sight, so don't ask about that because it really ruins the threat. Acting casual about straight up murder.
Looks like someone's going to be going home empty-handed.
Silly Pelly. Ants don't have hands. Tarsal claws, sure. But hands? Do we have a Mando walks into a bar cliche? Because I feel like we need a Mando walks into a bar cliche. I believe Mando is strong and tough and has a constitution score of at least 20. I do. But this man has been hauling equipment across a hot landscape for at least 12 minutes. And I'll be damned if anyone wouldn't immediately drop it when they arrive at a location where lounging is encouraged. Show off.
You cover his call this round. He said.
Believing anyone involved in a card game. I'm calling Mando bull.
What's the bet?
500.
Grabbing exact change.
More importantly, did you bring back any of that dragon meat?
And despite that hunk of meat being nowhere on his person earlier, he surprisingly, somehow, impossibly, and inexplicably has meat.
If you jump into hyperspace, they'll die.
Oh. I will give all the sins back if he drinks the lizard boba tea right now. No. Okay, so technically that wasn't drinking them all. But here, you murderous, adorable little bastard. Sleeping through your alarm.
Carson, can you switch over to channel 2?
Come on, Carl. Work on your subtlety. How about a code or something? It will take a moment to analyze your ping. Also, release the purple unicorn. That's going to work so much better. Trust me.
We will fire. I repeat, we will fire.
They will not. Oh, look, a massive canyon that can be used to outmaneuver those who are chasing you. What a unique idea that we have never seen before.
Hold on.
I mean, thank God you told Lizzie Salamander to hold on. Before this, she was all like, whee, no hands. Because strapping your cargo in during flight is apparently a man don't. Pause the show. Everyone keeping track of Mando's weaknesses needs time to write plummeting into ice cave / body check onto flight console. And yeah, it's shocking when you consider all the other damage he's taken and managed to stay conscious, but that's a separate list.
Gotta get you some blankets. Keep you warm.
Or turn on the heater.
What the hell are you doing?
Right? This is not the time for karaoke. So the salamander frog lady grabs her precious offspring and heads off into the frigid cold without a clue of dangers or direction, because that seems like the best way to preserve your lineage. Also, if Mando is tracking a heat source here, how would a footstep in snow maintain heat like this? Does the creature perspire some sort of heat-trapping slime? And if so, why would she ever worry about staying warm in the first place? Bobbing for Boba, otherwise known as Boba Fetch. How many spiders are too many spiders here? Why wait to run? Sure, the frog woman isn't ready yet, but she's putting wet clothes over her wet body, so she's gonna freeze to death anyway. She survives? Well, f that.
Go! Go, go! Back to the ship!
Super great advice. Curious why this wasn't the instinct 30 seconds ago. But hey, dramatic tension isn't as fun if we're not running from spiders directly on our heels, rather than, oh, I don't know, having a pretty great lead. I realize now that when I said fire would help, that I wasn't specific. I mean actual flames, Mando, not pew-pew weaponry firing. At this point, they are surrounded by T4 tarantulas, and while I want them to survive, they should be pounced upon and bitten dozens of times over. Look at them all. But also, the way this show is falling into an X-Files-y monster of the week thing is kind of amazing and continues to make this show one of the best things out. So, take your sin off. The only reason I'm sinning this moment is because it took him this damn long to get out the blowtorch. And yes, I know I sinned him for not doing it earlier, and now I'm sinning him again for doing it, and you might say that's not fair. To which I would reply, hey, welcome to the channel, hope you enjoy your stay. And then I'm adding another one for putting the blowtorch away again, because I can. This little is just thinking about how to eat all these spiders, and if their flesh is as delicious after a blaster has ripped it apart. This area should be littered now with dead, crispy ice spiders, and on behalf of the child who would eat them all, I sin you for omitting Mando's climb over their pyre. It's pretty cool that all their gunfire hits only the tiny targets and not the massive ship behind it. I see their lasers are set to incredible arachnid accuracy. Inaccuracy?
You have an arrest warrant for the abduction of prisoner X6911.
Nice. How has no one said put down your weapon yet? For being the rescuing sort, they sure are okay with leaving people to die. Don't you be fooled. This little f***er is thinking about cracking off a mammoth spider leg as a snack, because apparently to him, the entire universe is one big episode of the Great Bithish Baking Show. Or, you know, fly out the way the other guys came in. I'm going to be ticked if this show somehow retcons this whole thing into some sort of plot where he's actually saving these eggs and not eating them. Because honestly, the child who, even after told not to, will continue to eat your babies with a smile is exactly the kind of Star Wars content I'm here for. But since I can't know for sure, 1 minute of stuff I've already seen followed by another 30 seconds of unnecessary shiny chrome logos. Recrap a chrome goes? Starting your Star Wars while orbiting a planetscape cliche. Cuddling with cream of offspring soup. Also, show gives us the How Are You Even Sleeping All-Stars, featuring child not in a car seat, clutching an aquarium of your potential offspring, and piloting a spaceship while wearing a heavy helmet. I'm not saying any one of these wouldn't be possible. I'm just saying to calculate the odds of all three of them happening at the same time might require consulting with Nate Silver.
Dank Varric.
Taking the meme lord's name in vain. Dank makes the best memes. These tense moments would be much more concerning if I weren't 100% sure that everyone survives this.
Come up here, I need your hands.
Waiting till you're already plummeting to ask for assistance. Granted, I'm not totally aware of how cargo holds work in this piece of junk, but you'd think while dealing with such precious cargo, you might want to find a better solution than vaguely leaning it against the wall.
Lever needs to stay back. Can you do that?
Mando-splaining. I just want to point out that someone in this universe knits sweaters, and somehow these spiky arms move through the sleeve without tearing up these perfect cable knit patterns. But seriously, how is the child still in his seat right now? He's not buckled. He should be flinging around the cockpit like a tiny Yoda ball. Was he born with a heavy case of magnet ass?
Here we go. Nice and easy.
Seriously? You're going to use a walker-type machine in the water? I've seen how clumsy those are. You're one somewhat sturdy piece of Traskian kelp away from that thing taking a dive. Also, this is the angle of the ship, yet no one is mashed to the interior of the windshield in comedic fashion. Amphiboscope? Honey? Where's Liam?
The inn over there?
How does he even know which one? I mean, Larry Lizamander could easily be gesturing to any number of the buildings in this direction, as there seem to be a great many options. And we already know Mando doesn't speak Frogese. This food delivery sphincter reminds me, considering how every planet must have different food and water, how does anyone manage to travel without spending the entire first week carbonated to the toilet? And are toilets across the universe the same? That's a lot of alien butthole varieties to accommodate. Grabbing a man's chowder hose without explicit consent. If Yoda-ish Bambino has a chest burster scene in the next episode, I'm taking back all the sins. Or adding all the sins. My point is alien.
You ever see a mama core eat?
No, but I've seen a Papa Core make a bad pun. Is it anything like that? My friend bought a $10 stroller for his kid from Target, and it had those little flip brakes on the wheels to keep it from moving. And my point is, this thing can freaking levitate. So some sort of braking apparatus to keep this from happening shouldn't be a stretch.
Best car is ours.
How though? Even if you drown him, he's enclosed with a Mama Core. So Mama Core eats Mando and magically poops out intact Beskar? Is that the plan? Deus Ex Mandalorian. Also, why has Mando pretty much turned into a fuddy-duddy? I mean, look at him hanging out above water like a guy who hasn't leapt into the mouth of a dragon with a bomb earlier this week. How is he not diving to the bottom of the boat to retrieve the child right now? He's fucking Mando, man. He needs no air.
You do not cover your face. You are not Mandalorian.
Gatekeeping. Planets with only one sun.
You killed my brother. Now, I'm gonna kill your pet.
Jeez. Blue Mando group out here Deus Ex Machina-ing every 5 minutes like it's their job.
I was hoping you would help me by Creed.
Thing I said to my older brother at a CD shop in 1997 because I didn't have any money somehow makes it into the show. Little did I know, I was building my own prison.
I can lead you to one of their kind, but first we need your help on our mission.
What? Before Mando can move on to the next part of his quest, he needs to take on another side quest of helping someone who is also in need of fulfilling their quest? This is so surprising.
Troopers, and they couldn't hit the side of a bantha.
Yeah, we know. Troopers suck at aiming. So why is it ever tough to take anything from them? Why are you waiting for this sneak attack plan when you could just go take the ship now? There's nothing you do later with 50 stormtroopers on guard that you couldn't have done now with a night watch of at least half that.
Something's come up.
Treating strangers like grandparents. A full half-minute of Star Wars spaceship porn. I mean, I know this is Star Wars and everything, but do we have to watch the entire takeoff routine? None of these troopers even pretend to see this fog grenade. And more importantly, you just wasted a good fog grenade when they were never going to hit you anyway. Also, there were at least 10 of these morons when the grenade went off, but your heat vision is only picking up 4 now?
Close the doors. Close the doors!
Considering your sole purpose was to hold them off, how is this not something you already did during that lengthy watching the elevator indicators while the tension builds cliche?
This is more than I signed up for.
Right, but really this entire fight has been far too easy and your presence has been largely unneeded. So we're all very disappointed in this and are going to need you to Mando up and move on to the boss fight.
There is something I need if I am to rule Mandalore, something that was once mine. They know where it is, and soon so will I.
Pronoun gaming your own Easter eggs. Cool scene and all, but you couldn't have just rolled those things all the way down that hall from the other side like you did with the fog grenade earlier?
Take the Foundling to the city of Caladan on the forest planet of Corvus. There you will find Ahsoka Tano. Tell her you were sent by Bo-Katan.
Okay, but who was taking notes? Cause that was a lot.
Thank you for watching him.
And not feeding him to your quickly insanely fast-growing tadpole child, because honestly, fair's fair. I haven't seen a vehicle take this much damage and still find its way back to life since the Herbie movies. Is this ship going to develop a personality and do a reboot with Lindsay Lohan in a few years called Razor Crest Fully Loaded? Cause sin.
I finally know where I'm taking you, but it's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Disney could just cut this line into the end of every single episode of this show, and I'm not sure anyone would even know the difference.
This asset was of extreme importance to me.
This was actually an outtake from the end of the Jack Reacher movie, but since Werner Herzog had dressed up like an ex-Imperial commander for that shoot for some reason, Jon Favreau decided to use it in this show. These previously on segments at the beginning of each episode are getting so long that at some point they're going to be 40% of the actual show. Wait, this is a Star Wars property?
Did you get the wire out?
Sure, this is f***ing adorable, but show spends far too much time on this gag when we absolutely know Baby Yoda has no chance of fixing this issue. Not only does Baby Yoda survive this, he comes out completely unscathed.
You know, I think we need to visit some friends for repairs.
Of course you do. This f***ing series has more side quests than Red Dead Redemption 2. Generic random species doing villainy things so we can reintroduce Cara Dune to everyone is generic and random. Also, how has the Armorer's Lair not been raided before now? Or why hasn't Marshal Haywire confiscated all the Mandalorian bounty? There's apparently a mint down there. Also, how the ever-loving is this ferret slash weasel slash possum still alive down here? The raid on this lair happened at least weeks, if not months ago. So this poor bastard should have already starved to death before it was threatened by these ass faces. Deus Ex Chronica. Bringing a knife to a blaster fight. This goofball keeps shooting at the body of his friend instead of aiming anywhere else where he could actually injure Marshall Angel Dust. I just want to point out that she had a lethal weapon the entire time, but just wanted to wrestle to the point of nearly dying, which is dumb. Oh great, it's a remake of that racist Bruce Willis movie from 1998. Just what I expected as a detour on the way to get Yodes back to his Jedi brethren. Did Mando even call ahead to tell them he was coming, or did they just sense a disturbance in the Force or some bullshit? Wow, they've been gone long enough for Grief's beard to go completely gray? Or did his Just for Men supply run out?
Looks like someone could use some repairs.
I just realized Mando is like the kid who's been at college for the past 2 months and comes home with all the dirty laundry he needs his mom to do for him.
I'll get my best people on it.
And luckily, they happen to be sitting right over there. One of them's an Imperial spy, but let me tell you, he's so good at fixing power converters that it's worth the risk.
Oh, yeah.
Was that a hint of romance between these two? Which makes me wonder, do Mandalorians have sex? It's not like they're Jedi and can't distract themselves. As long as he keeps his helmet on and protection on his other helmet, I think he should be DTF.
Where we're going, you don't want to take a child, trust me.
Yeah, but he doesn't know Mando is going to help them storm the base, so why dump the kid so early? Unless it's only to mine some laughs out of the macaroon theft. Also, Mando allows this even though the child has been in a ton of dangerous situations in this series. Hell, he may even be able to help, like he's done several times already. And there just happens to be one empty desk for the child to sit at. Also, this tiny town has this many kids that are roughly the same age to fill the class, and none of them are aliens? And this little dude gets exactly what he deserves for eating macaroons in class. The C3 teacher unit really needs to get control of its student population. Stealing. Also kids.
But over on this side is the problem.
It's an old Imperial base.
And this never came up in conversation between Mando and his other Mandalins during the entire first season?
Mando, I just want them off my planet.
But how does destroying the base guarantee that? If anything, it might make the Fallen Empire target their sights even more on Navaro. Looks like they're not even really bothering Grief and company in the town. Based on this and the events from the Marshal, these towns don't seem to know who their enemy is, and who's just a nuisance they should learn to live with. Also, Wendy didn't give Grief the clearance to call him Mando anyway. That's like someone calling me Ronnie, and I did not consent to that, Carlos.
The whole base is powered by a reactor.
Having an understandable conversation in a normal voice while speeding down the ravine in a convertible. Also, how do they know this? Does this mean they've scouted this before? And if so, why didn't they do something about it then? Sure, Mando helped swing things a bit in their favor, but surely there's 1 or 2 people in town that could be just as helpful. Also, I have to ask again, did they know Mando was coming? Because what if he didn't? This seems more like a set-aside adventure in case Mando came to visit, and not something all that important. Kind of like if your friends came to visit you for Christmas and you took them to those lights or whatever holiday touristy nonsense happens in your town. You would never go there on your own, but if you have visitors, it's all of a sudden something you have to do.
Empty base, huh?
They did say there was a skeleton crew, and so far this ain't that many guards, so cool your jetpack, Massaholian. I'm totally sure this overhead shot of Kara's dunes adds something to the story.
It's a Mint-Truxler Marauder.
I would say Marauder shadowing here just as a joke, but this is such obvious foreshadowing that they might as well have literally said, look, it's our eventual escape vehicle from this predicament. And for that obviousness, this show gets an extra 3 sins. Oh man, if they screw up this heating core, the Balrog is gonna be pissed.
Me? Yes, you.
Okay, I guess I understand why they forced the Mithril to drive them out here just as extra punishment, but why are they trusting him to complete a very serious mission? How do they know he knows what to do? Aren't these heroes used to doing stuff themselves?
There's no guardrail on this.
Inside jokes.
She's gonna blow!
Maybe in the fan fiction that I'm currently working on, but I don't think Disney Plus is going to allow that stuff on one of their flagship properties.
How long do we have?
10 minutes.
Give or take a few side quests within this side quest, and honestly, that's really a ridiculous estimate considering I've never done this before. Anyway, I've been meaning to ask you about your social media comments. Also, running down a corridor in a Star Wars property cliche. After this whole jeans guy mistake, Jon Favreau made all of them dress as stormtroopers, even the grip set designers and catering staff, which sucks. Have you ever tried to plate a dozen veggie burritos and pita chips for a cast with all that armor on?
What the?
Guillermo del Toro's The Mandalorian.
I don't like this.
I prefer my peep shows to be much more animated. It's like they're not even trying to activate my lightsaber.
I highly doubt we'll find a donor with a higher M count, though.
Mother flippin' midichlorians. Mother flippin' midichlorians. Midi-f***ing mother chlorians. At some point I really do need to have someone explain how this armor works.
Alright, baby girl, let's see what you got.
Ah, the Star Wars universe, where everyone can operate any vehicle by pushing a few buttons and engaging in positive self-talk. Pew pew pew! Pew pew! I know we always make fun of the stormtroopers being terrible with guns, but why are these two even hanging around at this point? They won't be able to take out the Marauder with 2 guns, and there's no one else in their general area. No one will know they're lying if they tell their superiors they were knocked out or something. Sit this one out. Live another day. Try papayas. Mad Max Fiery Road. Why wouldn't these have already taken off? Why didn't they start with these?
Yes! We did it!
This stillweed celebrates so prematurely that I half expect Marshal Dune to tell him it's all right. Happens to a lot of guys.
What is going on back there?
You want to come back here and try this? Be my guest.
Having a conversation while under attack.
We're almost there!
Great. Let's bring the 3 heavily armed TIE fighters directly into our peaceful village full of civilians. Holy balls. Not only was Mando able to get the child, board his ship, and get in perfect position for this attack, his heavily damaged ship was fixed in no time. I'm sorry. There's only so much preciousness I can take before I have to remove a sin. I did enjoy this episode, but there are so many beats that you can see coming a mile away, like this little spit-up joke, that I have to ding it. It's my job. This is the way. Also, how is he still chomping away on those macaroons? We've seen this thing take down an entire frog in just a few seconds. That little bit of food should have been devoured hours ago, along with the silver sleeve.
Says here you're from Alderaan. Did you lose anyone?
You know, when the entire planet exploded a few years ago. Any casualties to relations, or was the family on vacation and Lost in Paradise?
What do you have for me?
The device has been planted as you requested.
So did they just have this guy planted on Navaro just on the off chance Mando would come to have his ship repaired? Stretching your manpower pretty thin if you're sticking spies on every possible location he would visit, and you're hoping you have put them in the right position.
The tracking beacon has been installed on the Razor Crest.
Doesn't it seem like tracking beacons are only installed when it's super convenient in this universe? If there are so many of those things, why not just use them all the time?
This is the way.
Really get the sense that this is how Jon Favreau responds to anyone that dares to suggest that these previously on segments go on for way too long.
Your bravery will not be forgotten.
Give me a f***ing break. Mando charged the stormtroopers, sure, but as we'll see soon, his Beskar armor can repel a flippin' lightsaber. So is it really that impressive that he wandered into puny blaster fire to throw those bombs a few episodes ago? Is the giant bell necessary? This town is 1 street and a few houses, basically the size of Bucksnort, Tennessee. I think someone could really just shout out from the gate that someone's coming and everyone would hear. At what point do you realize this blaster fire is useless on someone with shiny dildos that deflect them? And why wouldn't they try to flank her, considering the frontal assault clearly isn't working? You know, I've never understood why experienced Jedi don't do this force manipulation more often. It would be much easier to take out several enemies by felling a bunch of dead trees or something, right? Seems like this lightsaber show is honestly just showing off. Also, tree murder. And you might say it was already dead, in which case I will pivot to overkill.
I've lost visual. Scan for movement.
You know, this is really something you should have been doing from the start, considering your field of vision is severely limited because of your poor goggle choices and terrible aim.
Show yourself, Jedi.
Why did Ahsoka wait until now to attack the village? The magistrate has been in power for a presumably long time, given the state of the townsfolk and the environment. Did she have to wait until almost everyone was dead or suffering before she moved on this?
I've been expecting you.
Oh. So this is why no one is shooting at her right now, because they need to talk. In which case, why send out a team to kill her in the first place? Let her waltz to the wall and wax poetic about whatever.
The lives of these citizens mean nothing to me.
Then why are any of them still alive? What's the point of this entire outpost if they're not doing anything other than torturing villagers and pruning hedges? Also, how is there a conversation even happening right now when everyone is extremely far apart and surrounded by airborne detritus and dense fog? Everyone should be yelling!
Surrender or face the consequences. You have 1 day to decide.
The f*** is 1 day gonna do to change anything? Does Ahsoka really think the magistrate will have a change of heart after sleeping on this? Hell, if anything, she's got the advantage right now. Charge! Mando eventually gets pissed that Baby Yoda yanks his ball, but why? He willingly gave it to the kid to play with back in the first season, and it doesn't look like it's essential for the whatchamacallit to do the thingamadoodle. Also, why is he just now noticing the ball on the lever when he's been sitting up front for this entire journey from Navaro to Corvus? Also, ball shadowing. Mando flew right over the town just a few seconds ago, so why'd he park all the way out here in the boonies? Especially when the first thing they do is look for the town.
This needs to stay in the ship.
So obviously I'll put it in my pocket rather than walk the 30 feet back to the ship and put it where it belongs.
Not much to see out here.
The Corvus Station. Turtlenecks. I find it hard to believe, given what we know about the child's appetite, that he wouldn't be jumping out of that bag and scarfing down everything on the street like the samples at Costco.
Pardon me, vendor.
He just called that woman vendor. Who refers to a person by their occupation, especially if they're a vendor? That would be like someone coming up to me and saying, "Pardon me, YouTuber and podcaster, what knight lives in that castle?" What's the point of these double sealed doors when the wall is barely 8 feet tall and easily scalable? Okay, the guards are there, but if they're taken out, this place is easy peasy to overtake. So easy that even I could do it. I mean, I can't right now because I'm waiting for my pot pie to cool, and then I have to take the crust off, and
Then I separate it out and eat the turkey first, but, you know, later maybe.
You are a Mandalorian?
I mean, what gave it away?
Beskar.
Pure Beskar.
I've played enough video games to know the tells of a boss fight. In this case, it's the loot drop containing a weapon that perfectly matches your armor. Dead giveaway and total bullshit, but you don't care because matching set! Also, how does this lady just happen to have a spear made out of one of the rarest metals in the galaxy? She might as well have a bunch of vibranium in her basement. Also, why does the magistrate think this is a fair payment for offing a freaking Jedi? I know Mandalorians are big on Beskar, but he's got it all over his body, and this thing is really just a really strong pointy object. It doesn't even pew-pew.
Well, these are the coordinates.
The magistrate gave him exact coordinates? If they know where Ahsoka is this precisely, how haven't they mounted an attack on her before now? I know she's a dope-ass Jedi, but they could strike while she's asleep or something. Wow, the scope has a built-in zoom and enhance cliché that can be activated by the click of a button. Okay, why does Ahsoka attack Mando immediately? Maybe because Mandalorians and Jedi have been enemies for a long time? Okay, but she's friendly with Bo-Katan, who's also a Mandalorian, so what gives with that? And she must sense the presence of the child, given how powerful she is with the Force, so why didn't she ask any questions before trying to carve the poor bastard up?
Bo-Katan sent me.
You know her, right? Middle name Ra, loves warm weather, wearing linen shorts, shuffleboard. Some people will spend the next 2 minutes of this episode excitedly waiting for all of our green bean questions to be answered. I, however, will ponder this Bruce Almighty moon and worry about anyone living on this planet for much longer.
Grogu?
Yes.
Grogu? Grogu? Come the f*** on. His name might as well be Carl. Grogu.
Can he still wield the Force?
Did that not come up during your psychic conversation?
The Jedi Order fell a long time ago.
Well, sure, but you are aware that a Jedi and his friends destroyed 2 Death Stars after that, right? And Luke is presumably training new kids as you guys speak. Seriously, how does Ahsoka not know anything about what's going on with her brethren these days? Don't they send out some sort of newsletter via Force frequencies across the galaxy every few months? Check your spam folder. Passing stones.
I want to see if he'll listen to you.
That would be a first.
Oh, shut up, Mando. The kid obeyed earlier, went to his car seat without rolling his eyes or anything. Also, I've never seen a Jedi training session that's so unbelievably boring. Even Rey's obstacle course from Rise of the Skywalker was more entertaining.
You cannot train him.
Obvious candidate to train a recruit with special abilities refuses to train that recruit cliché.
And I'll help you with your problem. If you see to it that Grogu is properly trained.
Found the side quest. Phew, I was worried there for a second.
A Mandalorian and a Jedi? They'll never see it coming.
Well, sure, until you start attacking them. Really, what's the benefit of the surprise collaboration after you enter the city gates? Why bother having this super secure entrance if you're just gonna nakedly walk out here at the first sign of trouble? Even Winston hid behind his shit in John Wick 3 while the real fighters did the real fighting. Okay, this is some awesome Kurosawa imagery, and I appreciate that this episode wears its influences directly on the sleeves of its Beskar armor rather than obliquely nodding to them. 1 cent off.
Your bounty hunter failed.
If that were the case, wouldn't she have brought a part of the armor that was a little more impressive? Maybe like the helmet, or even a codpiece? Deus Ex Mandalorica. I'm confused. Is Ahsoka a powerful Jedi or just Batman on a different planet? Don't get me wrong, this fight is rad as hell. But even if the Magistrate is a trained fighter from the Clone Wars, how's she standing any chance against a super powerful Jedi in a f***ing sword fight?
Who do you think's gonna win? Could be your side, could be my side.
I mean, the dialogue here is riveting, you guys. Could be that either side could win. Possibly.
You and I were a lot alike.
For instance, we both like watching rom-coms and playing Candy Crush in addition to ruthlessly killing people. Want to get brunch sometime? Jeez, what a dill hole. Not only should he know he'd be too slow for Mando's draw, what does he think one blaster shot would do to him? Does he not see all that Beskar?
Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn?
And pause for fanboy applause. No, I'm not applauding because I could give a flip all about Rebels or Clone Wars or some canon comic that was written in 1983 by George Lucas's 12-year-old second cousin. I'm watching the freaking Mandalorian, man. I don't want to do homework to be able to follow along.
May the Force be with you.
Is it just me or was Ahsoka super not helpful in this episode? She gave the kid the name, which I guess is fine, but it's also f***ing Grogu. She attacked Mando, used him to get into the village and take what she wanted from the Magistrate, then sent him on yet another side quest to figure out Baby Yoda. Grogu's purpose. She's as useless as a green milk-producing mammary on a male thalassiren. Oh yeah, it's that one mercenary that was in the first season. It was kind of cool, but she was killed by the end of the episode, and there have been so many other important characters introduced since then, so let's run that back for sure.
Bo-Katan sent me to talk to you.
The best part about having a ubiquitous helmet on the show's protagonist is that you can freely play around with ADR for these previously on segments. Mando said this line way after this point in the fight during the last episode. You know it. we know it, and most importantly, he knows it. It's called Lucasfilm Limited, so when do we actually reach the limit? Is it soon?
Grogu.
So you're still going with Grogu then? Look, SW, we're the internet. We know things. We basically saved that Sonic movie.
Give me the ball.
This is admittedly an adorable scene, but why is he starting this just now, when they're about to land on Tython? It had to be at least a moderately long trip from Corvus, right? Wouldn't Mando start trying this playtime along the way?
You can have it, just like before.
I'm sure it will be completely fine rehashing the name response ball training parts of the last episode for the first 4 minutes of this episode, since, there's gotta be at least an hour of good episode left, right?
When the nice lady said you had training,
The nice lady.
We're gonna find that place you belong, and they're gonna take real good care of you.
It really bugs me how much Mando takes characters at their word. Ahsoka didn't really do to help him last episode, except for letting him take the pointy Beskar thingy. She could have told him to go anywhere in the galaxy, and his trusting ass would have hopped on his ship and been on his way, despite this being his only source of information. I always thought bounty hunters would be a lot savvier.
This is Tython.
What? Since when has Mando gone directly from one place to another without a detour/side quest distracting him? He didn't get a distress call from Han and Chewie while they were capturing a Rathtar or something along the way?
Understand?
He does not. Wait, is this what they renamed The Rise of Skywalker while I wasn't paying attention?
Looks like that's the magic rock I'm supposed to take you to down there.
And I found it within seconds of entering the planet's atmosphere. Lucky me. Ahsoka didn't give me coordinates, landmarks, or even general directions as to which hemisphere this is on, but my trusty old digital battleship computer gave me the exact location for some reason. Also, sure, it could be the right one, but if this is a Jedi-centric planet, there could be a bunch more of these things, right? It's like approaching Earth, seeing an Applebee's and saying, well, that's definitely the correct Applebee's. I know I'm channeling Auntie Edna here, but how does the jetpack not set Mando's cape on fire? If you had a jetpack, wouldn't you say, f the cape, probably too dangerous?
I guess this is it.
I'll just walk you across the areola here and set you on the nipple, and we'll do our best to figure out how any of this works.
Does this look Jedi to you?
That's racist.
Maybe there's some kind of control or something.
Yes, nothing funnier than the old guy tries to find the on button for a rock routine. I'll assume Boba Fett picked up the location tracker signal that Gideon's minions put on the Razor Crest a few episodes ago, but how the did he get here so much faster than the Imperial goons? They're all traveling in hyperdrive, right?
I'll see if I can buy you some time.
Against the one person you saw exit the ship? Wouldn't it be smarter to just stick here and defend the rock while the kid's in sight? Seriously, why would he even briefly abandon his sole mission that he's had for nearly the entire series and is presumably near the end of?
If you want my armor, you'll have to peel it off my dead body.
If you want my such and such, you'll have to take it from my dead such and such cliche.
I'm a simple man making his way through the galaxy. Like my father before me.
Callbacks.
The Beskar belongs to the Mandalorians. It was looted from us during the Purge.
Well, considering all laws are suspended during that time, I think your case is pretty weak. Just be glad you weren't murdered while out trying to shoplift a candy bar.
Point that gun away from the kid, or I'll drop you both where you stand.
You can maybe drop him where he stands, but she's technically already on the ground, so really the best you can do is slump her where she lays.
Tell her to drop the gun.
After you put down the jetpack.
Same time.
Stand down.
And she does, well before he even moves to take off the jetpack. Show doesn't know how to same time correctly.
You look like you've just seen a ghost.
Nonsense. I don't see Ezra, Sabine, or Chopper anywhere around here. Also, of all the things to say about a helmeted fundamentalist Mandalorian, describing his expression is really one of the most futile endeavors.
In my case, Boba Fett.
You named your abs of steel Boba Fett?
And I am now in his service.
Shouldn't you say you're in his Boba debt? Or are you like his Boba Pet? Does he take you to the Boba Vet? When he plays his guitar for you, does he use all the Boba Frets?
Say we're offering a fair deal under the circumstances.
This deal is a trade-off of Boba's armor for their help in protecting Grogu. And it is a pretty good deal, but it was never agreed to by Mando. So why did Boba and Fennec decide to help him after the events of the episode? Boba just takes that later on despite no acknowledgement that Mando was cool with it. The fact that Mando turns and runs instead of grabbing his jetpack that's right at his feet is dumb on so many levels I'm exhausted even thinking about it. This is apparently the only parking lot on this entire planet. I guess they don't charge for the first hour or something. Apparently, when you need Mando taken out of the battle for a bit, you can just have him make a third attempt at something that he's already failed at. But this time it knocks him out for a bit, for reasons. Seriously, this is pretty much the rest of the episode. Pew, 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 pew. Boba hits someone. Mando tries to break into the force beam. Pew, 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 pew. Gideon smirks. Pew, pew, pew. Adorable child gets cuffed. What I'm trying to say about this tiny battle is Imperial skip. Despite having a clear view of the field, Agent May takes out individual troopers instead of the ones setting up the heavy artillery. We get it. Stormtroopers suck at aiming even when they have high-caliber automatic weaponry. They are 100% the Keystone Cops of the Star Wars universe. Also, can you graduate from both the Stormtrooper School of aiming at things and the Rickon Stark School of running away from things? Because these guys have a double major. Having time to tap your enemy on the shoulder when there are several others all around you with guns. Speaking of which, bringing in anything except the gun you're already holding right in your hands and could fire from a distance instead of running up to the guy with the sunflower hammer to a gunfight. Yo, why does Mando leave his ship wide open here? Doesn't he have keyless entry or some sort of fob that can lock that shit down? Even if there weren't any intruders here, he'd have to worry about space rodents getting in the cockpit. Guess I won't be needing this anymore. I honestly can't tell if this is ripping off Iron Man's weapon or Yondu's arrow from Guardians of the Galaxy more, but it's clear that Jon Favreau definitely mixed up his iconic properties for this scene.
We have a deal.
You do not! No one shook on that shit or even verbally recognized the contract. There's no service like fan service, like no service I know. Everything about it's unappealing. Everything web traffic will allow.
Back to the ship! Back to the ship!
We've officially stalled long enough for the episode to hit 30 minutes. Our work here is done.
The kid.
But I'm still not going to grab my jetpack because climbing up and down this thing is so fun.
Have the Dark Troopers been engaged?
Of course not. We sent 2 strangely spaced out battalions of the basic white ones first, like the script required. I actually kind of dig the Dark Troopers, but why are they called troopers at all? They're clearly droids. I know dark droids doesn't sound as cool, but you could use another word for dark, like black or dim. Yeah, that's it, dim droids. And you could say cool stuff like, you'll never find a solution for my persistent dim droids. Push as hard as you like. My dim droids will never retreat.
They're back.
Who?
The Empire.
Boba Fett plays the pronoun game so that Fennec has to ask who is back. I guess to be fair, he could have been talking about John Wick, Slim Shady, or Randy Quaid's character from Independence Day. Also, no one in this Imperial ship recognizes nor tries to shoot at this iconic ship despite it being in full view of the entire crew. Oh, come on. There's no way this gear shift ball is still here, let alone easily findable. We're already crying about Baby Yoda being abducted, man. No need to twist the knife.
I need you to locate someone in the prison registry.
Wait, is this everyone in the prison registry, especially in the entire galaxy? She's really gonna scroll through all these scruffy-looking nerf herders before she gets the info to narrow it down.
Migs Mayfeld.
I know this all happened a long time ago and everything, but why does everyone in this universe speak fluent conversational English, but the text is in Arobesh?
But these stripes, I mean, there are rules I need to follow.
They have the kid.
Situational ethics. Little known fact, both of these stormtroopers were actually played by Daniel Craig.
Have you ever seen one of these?
Exposing your darksaber without explicit consent. Oh yeah, this recap totally reminds me about that episode in which Mando and Breaking Bad did the thing with the stuff and alerted the people that the whatchamacallit was happening, and so the dude went to the place for that period of time, all caught up. 27 seconds of logos for a TV show. Also, I just realized they've been spelling Star Trek wrong this whole time. Dino cranes. I'm sure he's doing some daily labor, but this doesn't look half bad for a prison. You get out into the open air, work on a project, and they even give you proper PPE. Hell, they could have frozen him in carbonite. So if I were Migs, I'd be counting my blessings.
Inmate 34667, please follow Marshal Dune to transport.
Somebody gonna tell me what's going on here?
Well, that was easy. Is this seriously all it takes to spring a prisoner? Seemed like Mando was setting us up for a f***ing heist when he asked Cara this last episode. And he didn't even know she was a marshal before he got there. So what was he gonna do if she didn't have any official Republic authority? Also, I get that Mayfeld is a cautious guy, but he's also been in prison with, I'm assuming, only men. And someone who looks like Gina Carano just showed up wanting him to follow her. Does Star Wars not understand how boners work?
Inmate 34667.
I swear to God, they refer to Migs by his inmate number so many times in the beginning of this episode. It's like they're trying to force me to memorize a phone number. And no one remembers phone numbers anymore. Oh, cool. Boba got a glow up. But seriously, there were deep scratches on that armor, including whatever chemical reaction happened while being partially digested by the Sarlacc. So how did he get this so clean in the short amount of time he's had it? Also, how'd he replace the rocket on his back? He used that sucker to blow up the stormtroopers in the last episode, so it should be disintegrated. Hell, Marshal Cobb also used it in his episode. How does this thing keep getting restored?
It was a long time ago, all right?
But you still know your Imperial clearances and protocols.
But would they still be active after being away for a long time? Seriously, I was once fired from a fast food place and couldn't get out the door because they'd already deleted my security code in the 30 seconds it took me to get my together. Man, this show sure does love it some ascending ship porn. Whoa, how'd Migs get changed so quickly? And where do they have his clothes stored? Did they stop by a goth version of J. Crew on the way over here to pick up some duds?
They have his kid.
The little green guy?
And Mayfeld would care about this why? When he first ran into Mando and Grogu, he said this.
Me, I was never really into pets. Yeah, I didn't have the temperament.
And after that, Mando got him arrested and imprisoned in the scrapyard they just pulled him from. Why would he want to help Mando at all?
All right, but here's the thing. I can't get those coordinates unless I have access to an internal Imperial terminal.
Look, I know he's trying to dial the accent back a bit, but Bill Burr is a masshole, and it's really odd that there's an obvious masshole a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
There's nothing on Morak.
At this point in the series, hasn't Mando been proven wrong about existing places that aren't supposed to be there enough times that he wouldn't even bother with his argument anymore?
Fet. Punch in the coordinates to Morak.
Fet? Fet? Who the hell calls him Fet? Is his whole name too hard to say? Are they not on a first name basis after he pledged his fealty to Mando for this quest? Remember how pissed Han was when Finn called him Solo in The Force Awakens?
Wonder what they're refining in there.
Looks like Rhydonium.
You can tell that from a blurry hologram. Why does any vehicle in this universe have wheels? It's clear that hover technology exists and works on even the poorest planets like Tatooine or Jakku. Wheels would make everything more treacherous, especially if you're transporting a highly volatile resource. Imagine what the crew in Sorcerer would have done if they'd had access to hover technology. You think they'd be f***ing with that rotten bridge?
It's gonna be me going in alone. But say goodbye to your little green friend.
Wait, how does he know what I call my vibrator? Also, Moff Gideon's had Grogu for at least a few days now. Even if it takes a while to get where he's going, they must have extracted enough blood or stool or whatever the hell they need from him along the way to do their evil I'm just saying, Mando should have been moving much faster from the jump if he thinks he's actually going to rescue the kid. I'm not saying Cara couldn't handle her own against these two guys, but are Mando and Mayfeld not going to jump down and at least see if she needs any assistance? Also, more helmet punching. I don't care if these aren't Beskar, they should be at least somewhat protective, right? Otherwise, why the heck are they wearing them?
Just make sure you take out the rooftop gunners.
Hey, why does Mando sound the exact same in this helmet as his regular one? Are the voice modulators the same? Seems like there'd be at least a slight tonal disparity.
What's going on here?
Show decides we need to know the steps Mayfeld takes to understand the mechanics of this vehicle, and I assure you, we do not.
I'm taking this thing off. I can't see anything.
First off, if Migs can't see anything, how does anyone see anything out of one of those helmets? Also, Migs leaves this off for the rest of the episode. And even though he's ex-Imperial and stuff, troopers are supposed to wear their helmets, right? Show could not make it more obvious that they need to easily identify these two that are dressed in identical uniforms.
I don't know how you people wear those things.
That's racist.
And by you people, I do mean Mandalorians.
Still racist.
Don't worry about the Rhydonium. As long as you drive steady, you'll get us to the refinery.
Wages of Mandalorians. Also, how the heck does Mando know that? Also, when did Star Wars become obsessed with fuel sources? The Last Jedi, Solo a Star Wars story, now this unobtainium crap? Why do we care about the fuel? Oh yeah, that's definitely necessary. There's no way these assholes can see this giant transport coming their way. Also, hey, those are villagers on this planet. Human even. Yet Mando confidently explained there was nothing on this planet a few minutes ago, despite it being habitable and honestly quite pleasant.
I'm a survivor, just like you.
Another we're not so different you and me cliche? Didn't we just get this in the Michael Biehn standoff a few episodes ago?
What the hell's that?
If that monitor was right in Mando's line of sight this whole time, how did he not see the pirates until they already jumped on the ship? Furthermore, if they heard the single pirate jump on this clearly, how did the real stormtroopers not hear 3 of these idiots jump on the roof just a few moments ago?
Are you seriously shooting a blaster in there, Rhydonium?
Mayfeld would be excellent at CinemaSins. You know, these are supposed to be pirates, which means they're looking for booty, right? So why are they just straight destroying the Juggernauts instead of taking the Rhydonium or whatever else is valuable cargo? What do they get out of just blowing this stuff up?
Mayfeld, pick it up, drive faster.
And I'm sure Migs can hear this while driving rapidly down a dirt road, while inside the cab in the middle of a pirate attack. Oh, you say that there are comms in the helmets of these trooper uniforms? Well, Migs isn't wearing his, so there. This is the 3rd round of not pirates that Mando will have to fend off. We know Mando isn't going to blow up or die here, which is to say, this battle goes on for all the some time. Yeah, totally time to celebrate since these TIE fighters are nowhere close to hitting the pirates on the initial few blasts. Migs was worried about Mando's blaster fire a few seconds ago, but he's all wine and roses when the freaking heavy artillery is opening fire at the transport carrying very unstable cargo. Yeah, don't pay any attention to the thermal detonator that was thrown. Just keep moving towards it and firing away. F***ing stormtroopers.
I can't do it, okay? We have to abort. I'm sorry.
Migs is all worried about being recognized by this butthole, but what's the big deal? Even if he did recognize him as a field operative in a previous campaign, it was for the Empire, right? So he'd either get glad-handed or receive a nod of welcome at the most. Also, he went in there, showed his face, and is now acting super cagey. If dude didn't recognize him before, he'd be much more suspicious now. Helmet hair.
Facial scan complete.
What? Why would Mando's facial scan grant him access to classified Imperial data? Also, if this was going to be the case, then why did they need Mayfeld in the first place? They could have just questioned him about what to do back at the scrapyard and been on their way. Also, the heck is up with that mustache? Why even bother with a mustache if you're going to wear the helmet all the livelong day? You're telling me he manscapes this diligently but refuses to show that magnificent lip rug.
You're the tank troopers that delivered the shipment of Redonium.
How does this dude know that the shipment was delivered? He's been sitting here with his buddy drinking in the mess hall, and they just got here before walking straight into the room.
How about a toast to Operation Cinder?
Miggs was scared to death just a few seconds ago about this dude recognizing him, but now that he knows he's not going to be recognized, his balls drop and he decides to provoke this dill hole instead of having his drink and getting the crap out of there.
The ones who died, was it good for them?
I have to say, this scene really makes as much sense as Star-Lord punching Thanos in the face in Infinity War, which is to say it makes no sense. But I have to give it to Bill Burr for this performance. The guy has range. He's only getting more and more opportunities, so I guess I should remove a sin for this. Hang on, I just said the scene makes no sense. Add 5 more for even making me think about taking one away.
I never saw your face.
Miggs, and therefore the show, has time for this.
You get the coordinates on Moff Gideon?
We did.
What's our next move?
I don't know, but it's definitely not going straight to the coordinates and rescuing the kid because that plan has a disturbing lack of side quests involved.
Soon, he will be back with me.
Letting your enemy know you're coming for them, cliché.
Go to the planet Tython.
Oh great, thanks to this recap, we can recall how unhelpful Ahsoka's been in this entire series, and is only there so she can set herself up a spin-off. It's exactly like Nicki Minaj showing up to steal Kanye's monster track with her verse, knowing that she's just creating pub for the eventual album Pink Friday. Yep, I just compared Ahsoka Tano to Nicki Minaj.
There aren't many Jedi left.
That's okay, with advanced technology, no Jedi can ever really die. And in a pinch, we can sort of copy-paste their face on a new body for maximum impact. Not that this show would ever do anything like that. Why is Boba Fett even shooting at them right now? They definitely want Dr. Pershing alive, so what if they accidentally destroy him and his ship? I'll tell you what would happen. The creation of the greatest GIF ever, of Boba Fett performing an epic facepalm. Do you ever wonder what massive light source illuminates the spaceship porn? Yeah, me either.
Calms down.
I'm sorry, sir. We've established in this series that everyone speaks in an American accent for some reason. I think you're looking for the J.J. Abrams trilogy. It's right down the hall.
Lower your shields.
So the ion cannon wiped out some comms, but not the very specific comms needed to hear this announcement? Neat.
I don't have a death wish. Do you?
A surprising admission for a person who, in mere moments, will brutally goad Xena with vile threats until she blasts him. Is he shocked? Horrified? Impressed? Horny? The world may never know. Wait. I know this one. 2 Mandalorians walk into a bar. The bartender turns to the first one and says, "Why the long face?" And the second one says, "Don't test us." And then the bartender says, "You mean man, don't test us." And then they kill him. Also, character walks into a saloon and everyone stops, turns, and stares, cliché. Oh hey, it's 2 of the most famous and dangerous Mandalorian warriors in the galaxy, and Mando was able to locate them in record time, despite having no clue that they existed until a few episodes ago.
They took the child.
Who?
Moff Gideon.
You'll never find him.
Bo-Katan rightfully states that finding Grogu will be impossible, and then the scene goes off-roading into a bounty hunter pissing match for a few minutes. And when we finally veer back to the plot, Mando reveals he has Moff's coordinates, and my point is, why doesn't he say this here when it's relevant to their immediate conversation? You won't find him. Actually, I have the coordinates. Let's go. End scene.
Save it for the imps.
So, it's a go? So why throw the bow no to Mando in the flow, show?
You are a disgrace to your armor.
The heck is up Bo-Katan's ass about Boba Fett? Just a few episodes ago, she was all kumbaya about there being different types of Mandalorians. But she's going hard at Boba for no reason other than his voice. And even though the Stormtrooper clones were based off Jango, ain't none of them sound anything like him.
Mandalorians have been in exile from our homeworld for far too long.
Expositional motivation. Exposivation?
I will kill them off and retake what is rightfully mine.
And that is all you need to know, or not know, for now. There's plenty of time to cover any incredibly specific details about the importance of how I need to kill him and take the weapon, but I think reckless secrecy is a supremely good idea for right now. What's up with Pershing's indoor sunglasses here? Are those prescription, or is he just Corey Harding everyone in an attempt to look cool?
These are 3rd generation design. They are no longer suits.
They didn't even threaten Pershing or even ask for his opinion. This mother scuffer's just spouting off about the ship's logistics like he's under some sort of truth serum or something.
Where are they bivouacked?
Good lord, that is a really personal question. Have you no shame?
Casca, Fennec, Dune, myself disembark with maximum initiative.
Phew! Good to know Bo-Katan setting her phaser to maximum initiative. I'd hate to see how this plan would go down if she dialed that back to like, I don't know, 6.5.
Here. Take his code cylinder and seal off their holding bay.
No need to talk about which buttons to press on the panel to ensure that the holding bay doors actually close. The power of the doohickey device is all you need.
This is Lambda Shuttle 2743, requesting emergency docking.
They're doing a good job pretending it's an emergency, but the imps also know that this is the shuttle that's bringing back the super important Pershing. So how do they not immediately realize something's up when a female voice is coming from a ship that was previously piloted by two dudes? Somewhere there's a Reddit thread begging to see how the TIE fighters are launched. This sends for you. And there goes Boba Fett. I understand he's not part of the ship takeover, but don't you think the plan could have included him doing a bit more to help? Oh yeah. My favorite parts of Star Wars properties are the extended blurry sequences of the protagonist easily offing these super killable stormtroopers. Dude, activating the dim droids also activates some of the gnarliest industrial music I've heard since 9 Inch Nails' Pretty Hate Machine. Someone said this scene needs charging station wiggle tubes that spew snow and fog. Those people were wrong. She totally kicked that dude's ass before actually killing him. What was the point? Fennec's a cold mutter scuffer, man. Are we really rooting for her?
My gun's jammed!
Holy moly, when did Blaster start jamming and running out of ammo like it did in the last episode? Those things never seem to malfunction in the hands of stormtroopers, except for, you know, when they try to aim at something. Unwelcome dim droid flare-ups. If the dim droids got this close to breaking the glass, don't you think the sudden vacuum of space would be enough to finish the job and suck Mando out along with them? This universe has more nonsensical curse words than the forking Good Place. Okay, look, an all-female takeover of this ship is the perfect, authentic antithesis to the bullshit that Marvel stuffed down our throats in Endgame, and it deserves a send-off.
Where's Gideon?
Great question. And considering the importance of your quest, you should probably leave the bridge to go look for him. I'd start in the one place you know he holds a super important tiny prisoner. But hey, you can just hang out here until the plot complexes things quite a bit for you later. What good did Shackles do for this Padawan's Jedi abilities? Sure, you see Jedi use their hands when they force push things around and stuff, but he can do all that with his mind, right? Are the hand movements essential? Like James McAvoy touching his temple to read minds in the newer X-Men movies?
Drop the blaster.
But not the Beskar Pokepole, the jetpack, or flamethrower. Those are okay.
Where is this going?
Well, given the recent announcements and the post-credit stinger I've heard is at the end of this episode, I'm going to say, let's see, carry 1, 3, 7, divide by pi, about 47 spin-offs from the 2 seasons of this show.
I'm guessing that Bo-Katan and her boarding party have arrived at the bridge.
You know, this scene would be far more interesting if he hadn't just said,
assume that I know everything.
But now he's all,
I'm guessing.
So, do you know anything or not? Are you scary?
You see, she wants this.
I guess I'm kind of immune to the villain exposits vital information right before the final fight cliche at this point, but when it's information that we already know, it deserves an extra 5 sins.
Whoever wields this sword has the right to lay claim to the Mandalorian throne.
Well, that's just dumb. What if a Wampa picked it up and swung it around? Does that mean the Wampa would lead the Mandalorians? Is this another spin-off? A young Wampa wins the Darksaber in battle, but this time it's a dance battle. Wamp the Yard, coming to Disney Plus fall 2021. Man, Gideon just keeps whacking away despite seeing no damage being done to Mando's suit. He knows that's Beskar, right? Bo-Katan's sole mission depends on her defeating Gideon, so why is she staring out the window like she's looking for the next galactic gas station for a quick piss and greasy snack?
Why don't you kill him now and take it?
Is Moff Gideon an Empire loyalist or a merry prankster? Seems like he's more amused that he just got his ass handed to him instead of figuring out a way to turn the tides in battle.
It must be won in battle.
Rules. Oh no, the Mark 10s have invaded the ship. This is terrible news. How will they ever do?
You're about to face off with the Dark Troopers.
You said dim droid's wrong.
You had your hands full with one.
Really? It took Mando less than a freaking minute to take care of that one, and now he knows how they work. Here's an idea. Grab a cylinder, pull a lever, and jettison them into space again. But this time, aim the big starship guns at them. Boom, bam, done. I am so good at Star Wars. Bad guy is suddenly armed and unwatched, despite being incredibly dangerous and the focus of all the hero's hatred up until now. Cliché. Mando has his blaster out here, even though he knows the only thing that worked last time was the Beskar spear. Seriously, I know we're all excited about this finale, but there's a lot of weird shit near the end of this sucker. The sound of this alarm seems to... Wait, is that an X-Wing? That's an X-Wing. What is Grogu sensing? Who's on the screen? Who's in the robe? Is it possible? They have a lightsaber. That is a lightsaber. That is a saber of light. The light is sabering. That is a green light saber. Look at him go. Oh, this in the force push. Oh, in the spin. Oh, he cut that thing right in half. What is he? The gloved hand. He has a gloved hand. The force push. The leg chopping
he chopped off his head. He's going into the elevator. He's coming up. Why is this elevator ride taking forever? Open the elevator. I need to see. Show me. Here it comes. Yes! Get him! Get him! And then kill him! And then kill him! And then just spin around and force push and kill and slice and lightsaber and a gloved hand and it's green and a bare hand, one gloved hand, and I think I know who this is. There's only one person it could be. Show me your face! It's got to be. Almost there. It's Luke Skywalker! Whew. Well, that was one of the most satisfying fangasms ever, but like most gasms, it's being immediately followed by guilt and shame. Maybe I should rewind it, watch again, and let my proper dark side drive? All right, here we go.
Why did they stop?
Why indeed? Are you telling me the droids are force sensitive now and can tell a Jedi's on board? Allowing an infant to watch a violent show. Also allowing an infant to watch TV far too closely. That's how you develop poor vision. Return of the Red Eye. Seriously. Those dim holes have their backs to you. Why would you wait for this Jedi to come out and do all the heavy lifting when you have a distinct advantage to take these droids out? Sorry, I can't buy into that he can do all this shit with a big old robe on, no matter how badass it may be. Think about it. In every Jedi fight scene, the first thing they do is drop the robe. Even Ahsoka did it earlier in this season, and she's definitely a Jedi.
Are you a Jedi?
I'd remove all the sins from this entire season if Luke's response was something like, does a Jedi shit in the woods? I mean, why can't Mando go with the Jedi? I mean, this is the way, right? Can't they just stay together with creepy flesh puppet Luke? I'll just point out that Grogs wasn't interested in going with Luke until the sudden convenient R2 electronics showed up to distract him from his emotions. Jon Favreau can simply not contain his lust for promotional post-credit sequences, damn it. Finnick just walked right over to that trap door, and even if they haven't replaced the Rancor, that's still not an optimal spot to stand, as Boba well knows. Boba the Hutt.
Manufacturer's protocol dictates I cannot be captured.
Previously on The Mandalorian, which in this instance means reminding us of something that happened over 3 years ago. When you refer to something this old, it really just acts as a spoiler for what we're about to watch in this episode. Also making me relive the brutal death of Taika Waititi droid.
How can I atone?
According to Creed, one may only be redeemed in the living waters.
Oh, and by previously on The Mandalorian, I meant previously on The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. Yep, they buried the setup for Season 3 of Mando in Episode 5 of Season 1 of Boba Fett. Dick move, Disney. But fear not, viewer, the CinemaSins recap service is at your disposal. Here's what you missed. Boba Fett in a Bacta-tank. Boba Fett whittling with Tusken Raiders. Boba Fett in a Bacta-tank again. Mando is exiled for not wearing his helmet, but is told how to redeem himself. Boba Fett is the king of Tatooine. You're welcome. Thinking that replacing Ludwig Göransson's epic opening theme with audio from the episode will make me more likely to hang around for the Star Wars helmet orgy. Also, do not Google Star Wars helmet orgy. Or if you do, tell them CinemaSins sent you. They'll know why, and you'll get a discount. Flaming, hammering, soldering, excitement? Maybe this is the adult who has to pay the bills in me talking, but this forge seems wildly inefficient. I'm not sure what kind of fuel you're burning to get these 12 pillars of blue flame, but if you're only using half of them, why not turn the others off? And damn it, shut the door. We're not heating the whole neighborhood. You thought it, we all thought it, which means the show probably knew exactly what it was doing by making this kid look like a young Din Djarin. Apparently Mando turning up to save the day can't be cool unless we don't see it coming.
I swear on my name and the names of the ancestors.
Brainwashing children. The decent thing would be to wait until he's an adult and can at least decide for himself that he wants to join your prohibitively controlling religion. I mean cult. Or creed. No, I really meant religion. Also, does he get another helmet after his next growth spurt? Because at this age, this one will last him maybe 2, possibly 3 days. Besides, part of the creed should be having to suffer through wearing hand-me-downs that are 5 sizes too big to jetpack practice. Now that's character building.
From this moment on, I shall never remove my helmet.
Never? We've seen Mando take his helmet off in private to eat food and stuff, so what gives? Unless Din has inspired an offshoot of the creed which is even more restrictive. More Mandalorians? Holy shit. How quickly does this water go from barely knee-high to able to accommodate a giant fucking sea beast? And why didn't the armorer close off the beach weeks ago when Sheriff Brody warned her? Also, why are we holding a religious ceremony at a body of water where ocean crocodiles randomly attack? Were there no other ponds or swimming pools available? Imagine being a small army of Mandalorians and making this much of a meal out of taking down a sea beastie. They have f***ing jetpacks and medium-range weapons, so why are they ever getting close enough to get swatted and or eaten? I mean, these assholes appear to have entered the water during the battle.
Mandalorians, the lasers and bombs seem to be ineffective, so our next strategy is to rodeo this bad boy with our grappling hooks. Sir, that doesn't make any sense and sounds extremely dangerous. I said rodeo time, people! Yeehaw!
Okay, now the armorer is suddenly a dumbass too? I know she smoked some stormtroopers with her hammer and tongs back in season 1 and it was totally badass. But when this creature is showing you that bombs, flamethrowers, and lasers are ineffective, in what world is your next thought? Stop. Hammer time. If there's one thing 2 seasons and an episode and a half from another show has taught us, it's that Mando kicks all of the ass and Grogu is adorable. I really didn't need you to sacrifice the first 7 minutes of your premiere and the reputation of Mandalore to reaffirm that.
If I visit the planet and I can bring you proof that I have bathed in the living waters beneath the mines of Mandalore.
How's he going to do that exactly? Take a living waters bathing selfie? I'm sure it's possible, but I'd also insist on seeing that in private for like 3 to 5 minutes for Sins research. Yeah, Sins research.
Then by creed, the decree of exile will be lifted and I would be redeemed.
Which is information you already know, so why are you here? This entire conversation is almost copy and paste what we saw during the Book of Boba Fett, thereby angering the fans who do consume every second of content by repeating shit they've already heard. My goodness, have we finally found a way to piss off every Star Wars fan all at once? I know I'm supposed to be impressed with this callback to the finale of Rebels, but honestly, I'm just annoyed I had to sit through 75 episodes of Rebels to get this reference. But also, damn it, this show is so f***ing gorgeous. And Grogu is so damn cute and I love the space whales and it's too much. My eyes.
Welcome to Navaro, independent trade anchor and outer rim hyperlink port.
Border agent's position.
Please state the purpose of your visit.
Here to meet an old friend.
If you accept a reason that vague, why even ask the question? This is literally the #1 response in the big book of what to say if you're here to do something shady. Especially weird considering he's here completely legitimately. Nice to see the Slicotron droid make a return, but I don't really understand its benefit in this street market. Don't these kinds of markets have the produce ready to go? And even if you are chopping things up to order, it's hardly busy. Does he really need a droid to do it? I think you've passed peak droid when this is what you have them doing.
Marvelous black lava canyons or soak in the geothermal springs.
And this protocol droid is a walking advertisement? Look, I know a free market will do whatever it's going to do, but any walking box with a speaker could do this. Why use discount C-3PO?
The Belters are mining the asteroid fields at the edge of the system.
Belters, you say? Mining, you say? Well, that sure feels like an expansive storytelling possibilities you could rip off. I mean, be inspired by.
You and the little one? You can settle down, you can hang up your blaster.
Except you're about to ask him to be your town sheriff, so which one is it? Unless you expect him to do so blasterless and from a farm in what feels like Ohio. Grogu spinning himself in the chair is the most adorable abuse of the Force that I've ever seen. But it's still an abuse. Go on, tell me I'm a troll. Let the hate flow through you.
But you're still running around here with the same little critter.
Mando just told you his name was Grogu, so stop treating him like a pointy-eared gerbil. Remember when Grogu used force healing to stop you from being poisoned in the season 1 finale? Exactly, so f*** you, Grief. Yeah, I said Grief. Not nice, is it?
I completed my quest. He returned to me.
Oh, you actually wanted to see that crucial bit of development? Well, you guessed it. That was in the almighty Book of Boba Fett too. I'm going to look into how blackmailing laws work in a galaxy far, far away because I think we may have a class action suit here. Having an entire bowl of just the orange ones. It doesn't matter what sweet treat we're talking about. No one likes the orange ones.
Yes, High Magistrate, apologies. Your timing couldn't be any worse.
Really? You're basically catching up with a friend and this is the worst timing? Does Karga never drop a poodoo while on duty?
It's just that there's someone here to see you. It can wait. But it's pirates.
A group of pirates is threatening a school and C-3PO interrupts them as if Karga's mom is bringing him his lunch instead of, oh, I don't know, saying something like, there are pirates trying to get into the school.
Stand aside, droid. Don't you know who we are?
My first guess was that you're a de-aged pre-tentacle version of Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean. I had my money on the X-Men being introduced before anything else, but I guess this was just as likely.
I forgot, it was your cut of my boss's treasure.
that built this salute.
Okay, but that's still his cut. Your boss doesn't have anything to do with it once it becomes Karga's. That would be like the UK telling the US, oh, that's right. It was your cut of the colonies that built this country. Wait, now I'm confused about how the War of 1812 plays into my poor example that I clearly didn't think all the way out. I can always just send England again.
Navaro will become the first truly independent trade anchor in this entire sector.
A free trade system wanting to remain independent instead of allowing itself to be ruled by a government from Coruscant, you say. I feel like I watched 133 episodes from a series about this very conflict. What was it called? Bone stores, zone horns, cone tours. I'm sure it'll come back to me soon.
I need him back.
We were lucky to recover any of his parts after he self-destructed.
Right? I mean, let's replay that explosion. And we're expected to believe that anything was left intact, let alone his entire torso, head, and a whole arm? Why was the entire explosion channeled to his legs? Also, the whole point of that explosion is...
Manufacturer's protocol dictates I cannot be captured.
And this looks pretty f***ing captured to me. Also, it is deceptively dark that the people of Navaro chose to make the hero's memorial out of his salvaged corpse instead of, investing in an actual statue. Fortunately, the helpful lights on IG-11's head give Mando just enough warning to get Grogu out of a potentially deadly situation that he shouldn't have been in to begin with. In the pilot episode, it took one shot to drop IG-11. Here, Mando hits him like 5 or 6 times with that same blaster, and he just keeps coming. Did the Season 3 writers not watch Season 1?
Now that's using your head.
Pedro Pascal's audition tape to play the next James Bond somehow makes it into the episode. Challenge you to give me a better reason for this weirdly out-of-character one-liner.
I think he defaulted to his old programming.
You think?
Karga would be the magistrate at TV...
High Magistrate?
Sorry, High Magistrate at CinemaSins. Eesh.
They'll have IG back to his old self in no time.
IG goes from definitely only useful as a paperweight to definitely going to be able to help you on a dangerous mission to Mandalore so quickly that I have to wonder why we even bothered to blow him up in the first place.
The book. I don't understand. Do you speak Huttese?
He said it's broken, Mando. It's better English than I give at the Dunkin' Donuts counter first thing in the morning, and they still managed to get my order right. Do these helmets need ear holes?
What if I find you the part?
Okay, now, then no problem. We can.
You guys, that's very different from...
Mando, he said he can't fix it.
I can't fix it is not, I can fix it if you get me the part. Galaxy far, far away, and yet mechanics are still gonna mechanic.
Bad baby.
Damn it, Favreau. One sin off, but that's the last time this episode, probably.
And this
is conveniently tied directly into the plot so that it could perfectly demonstrate exactly what it does, exactly when I needed it to.
Avast, Mandalorian.
I was going to send the Avast thing, but then I realized we've had an entire episode about pirates without a single cameo from Hondo Anaka. And I can't help but feel like if you're going to bring back Cad Bane, you got to bring in Hondo, or else this venture is no longer profitable.
Think Ferric.
His proximity alarm detected 3 ships trying to ambush them in an asteroid field, but it didn't alert them about this giant-ass mothership until they'd already seen it with their own eyes. Really is tied into the plot, isn't it? The internet, or at least the noisy part of it, seems to have a problem with the aesthetic of Gorian Shard here. Personally, I've always loved Fraggle Rock and would prefer this to CGI any day. Yes, internet, this sin is for you being too picky. Chill out.
Wave that thing around, and they'll do whatever you say.
The patriarchy. Also, so he should lead just because he won the Darksaber in a duel? Seems like dumb politics to me. Almost as bad as relying on strange women lying in ponds distributing swords as a system of government.
Go home.
Did we really bring back Bo-Katan just to mope around in a castle and be mad at Mando? Because if so, I'd have rather had another few minutes of Grogu spinning himself in that chair.
They're beneath the Civic Center in the city of Sundari.
The Civic Center? Mandalore had civic centers? Are you sure the mine is there and not under the fire station, police department, or DMV? Also, you couldn't have gotten this information from the armorer? At some point, you have to do the actual mission, Mando, not just mop up side quests from your favorite NPCs.
Then by creed, I would be redeemed.
Using your previously ing on and on to insinuate that the band Creed could redeem anyone. Also using 90 seconds to show me scenes and helmets I've already seen before. Also, why does the armorer get their shoulder fluff in the shot? No one else gets shoulder fluff.
These two pod racers are terrible drivers. Why are they wasting so much time swerving around when they should be focused on tight turns and extended burns? Also, you can clearly hear a large crowd cheering in the background, so where are they? Is that noise piped in from somewhere? What is this, the NFL? Consecutive alsos. Is this a desert town? Wait, is that Mos Eisley? Oh, no. They tricked me. Disney snuck a Book of Boba Fett episode into my Mandalorian, didn't they? Bastards. We never heard a price exchanged between these two, and he's just giving her a random bag of what we assume are credits, which may or may not be any good depending on whether or not the mechanic operates under the Watto bartering system. My point is anything could be in this pouch, and we have zero idea how much should be in there. If all the droid was going to do to alert the Jawas was whistle, why didn't you just do that yourself?
Quickly, before he sees you!
You say this literally 6 seconds after saying,
Tell the Jawas Rodian left.
Tell them he's gone. Tell them he could see them. That's just terrible workplace communication.
Put those cards back on the speeder. Paint them so they look different.
This is a simple enough scam, so why do you even need the Jawas as the middlemen? Or middle Jawas? And isn't selling people their own back a Jawa trademark at this point? Both parties are splitting a job either one of them could do themselves just so the audience can get their Jawa fixed before Mando shows up.
She's purring like a nuzzle shrew.
Scene does not contain a nuzzle shrew.
Who taught you how to leap like a lurman, huh?
It's a good thing Grogu spent 2 years training with Luke so he could learn how to jump and do a flip.
Was that his first word?
Thanks a lot, Pelly. Now I'm aware that they're eventually going to ruin Grogu by making him talk. Preemptive sin this is.
Get right back here, scaredy droid.
Not understanding the strengths and weaknesses of your workforce. Pelly needs some management training, like, immediately.
And because it's Bunta, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you this for half the price and throw in a free oil bath.
Offering Mando a free oil bath without inviting us to... Wait, she was talking about the droid, wasn't she?
I thought you said it was built for adventure.
I'm torn. On the one hand, I'm glad we're skipping the fix the droid side quest before we get to Mandalore. But on the other hand, Din has spent 2 seasons making a huge stink about not trusting droids. He finally builds trust with IG-11 and now he's just open to relying on random astromechs? That seems out of character. And since I can't decide which way I'm leaning, go ahead and take us in for each, just to be safe. How does Pelly know what the Force is? She's not a Jedi or part of the rebellion. This show went to such great lengths to show the Jedi were somehow forgotten after the Purge. Mando even called them sorcerers, remember? So which is it? Do people remember the Jedi or not?
It's Mandalore, the homeworld of our people. Every Mandalorian can trace their roots back to this planet.
Apparently, Grogu is quickly just becoming a landing vessel for Din to tell us all the Mandalore. Maybe instead of Baby Yoda, we should have called him an expositional sponge Yoda. Trips right off the tongue, huh?
I've never been there either.
Then, how do you know it used to be
once green and beautiful? And that's Kalevala, where we visited Bo-Katan.
I'm only telling you this in case there's some sort of rare emergency where I'm incapacitated and you need to run to her for help. No other reason.
A Mandalorian has to understand maps and know their way around.
Pretending that using graphic instructions on how to get from point A to point B is a unique skill set.
Looks like the fusion bombs from the Purge disrupted the magnetic field around the planet. From the surface, we won't be able to communicate with anyone out of atmosphere.
Meteorological plot obstacles. Meteoroploticals?
Go over to that split in the rock and take an air sample of the ruins below.
Wait, would the air below the rocks not be the same as the air above if the droid can just pop down in there? Does your ship not have sensors to indicate if the atmosphere is breathable? This whole droid companion thing makes more sense when you needed someone to watch your back, but taking a droid for air samples seems a bit like overkill.
Don't be a baby.
What a weird insult for a droid. Droids, like much technology, are likely at their highest level of operation and strength when they're first created. I know you hate droids, Mando, but the cultural insensitivity is just off the charts.
You can watch them on the scope.
It's a red dot on an unmarked circular grid, and honestly, what other information would you ever need?
I was hoping to avoid going out there.
But you'd have to go out there eventually, right? You can't bathe in the living waters from your cockpit, Mando.
Don't worry, kid. I'll be right back.
Pedro says this sentence so much in the shows he's currently in, he should probably just trademark this line and make some residuals on it. Being blessed with great equipment, but not knowing how to use it.
The charts were wrong.
What charts? So far, this is the only chart I've been shown. And if I'm being really honest, discussions on charts are about one notch above discussions about fuel levels. Taking your tiny companion into a dangerous unknown planet dressed as half of an avocado. Grogu copying what Mando does through this cave walk just a few seconds after he does it is just one more example of how completely the show understands the parent-child dynamic. And it's threatening to melt my Beskar encased heart, damn it.
Wait. I know Disney owns pretty much everything, but does that include the rights to Metal Gear? Konami really did go to shit after Kojima left if they sold off the franchise rights for a Star Wars crossover. Also, you're telling me that whole mech suit was underneath the sand, upside down, waiting to pounce? How long would it take to set that up? And how could it possibly be worth it in this environment? Man, bet you wish you had Yoda's lightsaber right about now, huh? How's that little Beskar vest treating you? Well, I guess if they could bring back Maul several times, then General Grievous was always within the realm of possibility. His new suit sure is a downgrade, though. Now he's going to be windmilling lightsabers in that thing. If you're just a tiny blob of biological material around a single eyeball, how did you make all this stuff in the first place? Where did you get the pieces? Did you pickle Rick it and magically build an operational exoskeleton by tonguing a Mandalorian cockroach brain?
Get to Bo-Katan.
And this instruction should be enough for you thanks to the convenient map teaching I did on the way here. And don't forget you'll have to fly all the way there because of that damn meteoroplodical that's already in place. I will say, this whole section where Grogu becomes a playable character and goes on his own side quest is all of the awesome, and Grogu somehow continues to force pull sins out of me. Wait a minute, you can use the Force to smoke this guy, but not the robot? What exactly did you learn during your 2 years of training with Luke Skywalker?
An unscheduled visitor.
Pronouncing SCH as sh. Did you not pay attention in shul? Or are you too busy scheming schematics to steal a scholarship? I'm done schmoozing this schmaltzy schlockfest. Wait, those worked. Fine. Now I'm sitting here schadenfreude. Damn it!
Maybe I didn't make myself clear the last time. I want to be left alone.
You actually didn't make that clear last time. At no point did you tell Mando and Grogu to leave you alone so you could listen to whatever the Mandalorian version of My Chemical Romance is and sulk like a teenager who ran out of their favorite eyeliner. Looking down on the apocalyptic remains of the city. Really is impressive how this episode is just The Last of Us Episode 8. Pedro Pascal is trying to teach a child with a special ability how to navigate and make it in an apocalyptic wasteland when he's taken out of commission and the child has to formulate a way to get help. And since that episode came out 3 whole days before this one, I have to send this episode for being such a copycat. Them's just the rules. Taking off your helmet in a dangerous place because it's time to speechify. Purposely landing in a puddle when there's dry ground a foot away. Needing a reminder from a child that flashlights are a good idea in a cave.
I knew quite a few Jedi, you know.
Using the "some of my best friends are Jedi" defense. Pushing your vulnerable companion into a dark corner you haven't explored because you spotted something dangerous in the other direction. As if danger can't simultaneously be located in multiple places.
Did you think your dad was the only Mandalorian?
No, Grogu met Boba Fett and your followers in Season 2, remember? So obviously he knows Din isn't the only Mandalorian. And obviously you know he knows. And obviously I know you know he knows. Convenient lightsaber location is convenient. But also watching Bo-Katan slay with this thing is honestly worth any of the random convenience it took to get here, because this is bad freaking ass.
How did you find me?
Your last words to Grogu were literally,
"Get to Bo-Katan."
You've never eaten pog soup.
No.
Can you appreciate the irony?
I cannot. Also, cut the man some slack. He didn't live through the 90s when those were briefly a thing. And even I didn't know you could make soup out of them.
Thank you.
Don't thank me until you see them.
Trying to control someone else's thankfulness.
What pains me is seeing our own kind fight one another time and time again.
Funny, you didn't seem that upset about the Civil War during Clone Wars. Having this in your possession and just now using it.
Hold on. I want you to get the full tour.
People who read the expositional signs instead of just enjoying the thing that the sign is about. The Grand Canyon's right there, Zeke. Not currently interested in the story of Gary the Gorge Donkey and his 3-month journey.
I swear on my name.
I teased Din for keeping up this silly religious creed stuff, but at least he doesn't use his faith as an excuse to be a dick to people different than him, so here's a sin for those that do. What do you call a Mandalorian that has to be rescued twice in one episode? A Dinzel in distress. Don't worry, I'm almost done. Cool shot, but should the no longer mythosaur be doing more than just watching this rescue? Does the water balrog get his kicks from just watching rescues as they happen? I guess what I'm saying is, Mithy, how's the peeping? How's the peeping? Mithy.
I swear on my name and the names of the ancestors.
The previously on feels the need to remind me of Mando falling into an underwater hole and Bo-Katan doing a belly flop. I kind of feel like all the courage and skill I'd given them credit for is actually just a proprietary blend of Beskar steel and plot armor. Understanding this armor is very tricky. Sometimes it does it all, and other times it does nothing and lets water in to almost drown you.
You bathed in the living waters?
Cool, he did the thing. But I'd really love to know why they're called the Living Waters and what makes them so special. Good thing we have this whole episode to really dive into the neat lore. I mean, it's going to be really fun spending this entire episode with Mando. I can't wait.
Can I ask you something?
You just did, right there. That was your question. I swear that joke was funnier when my third grade math teacher used it. Or maybe that just contributed to my paranoid nature, always expecting gotchas from everyone I meet.
Did you see anything alive?
Alive? Like what?
Nothing.
Why not just ask him if he saw the mythosaur? Din is obviously religious enough to care about being rebaptized. I don't think he'd doubt what you saw or mock you for it. There's absolutely no reason for you to keep this secret, unless you're saving it for a plot reveal in a later episode. And I swear to Revan, if this series ends with Grogu in a tiny Mando helmet wielding the lightsaber while barebacking Mithy, I'll assign 500 sins. Or maybe remove 500 sins. I don't know yet, but this is getting at least one sin.
I would invite you in for a feast, but I'm guessing that helmet isn't coming off again.
And I just realized how limited Mandalorians are during sexy time. Now it just seems like a depressing cult, especially for the Mandalesbians.
I've scoped off a lot of Imperial warlords.
That sounds just vague enough to cover the writers for not wanting to show or explain the origin of this surprise attack. I could never get enough of the TIE fighter noise. It's so badass. This whole sequence is badass, and the show deserves to be rewarded for giving Daddy what he likes. And yes, I'm sorry. I will never say that again.
Are you still up for the transfer?
I don't see any other choice.
Episode confirms that these helmets do in fact obscure your vision. Hold on, do you need to push a button for your jetpack or not? Because when you leapt into the underground heading to the mines of Mandalore, you didn't push any buttons. I don't care how it works, just be consistent. Was there a reason, other than the danger zone, that made Bo Maverick Katan wait so long to fire up the engines?
Not a scratch.
Nobody likes a bragger, Mando. I bet you're a real hoot to play Halo with.
Those mudscuffers bombed my home.
This is a big character moment for Bo-Katan, who's now lost 2 homes to bombings by the Empire. And it's all ruined by the word mudscuffers. This is catastrophic for such a war-weary fighter, losing the last shred of home she had left. She's not Leia getting angry at Han and Chewie for comedic effect. Also, simply adding another syllable would have gotten you closer to the target, mutterscuffers.
That's a lot of ships for an Imperial warlord.
I agree. You should show us where they all came from so we can get a better idea of what you're all up against and why.
I'm sending jump coordinates.
Wait, jumping away was an option the entire time? Way to render the freaking cool dogfight scenes completely pointless. If they had jumped away before leading the TIE interceptors back to Kalevala, Bo might still have that big uncomfortable looking chair.
Where?
Someplace they won't find us.
Is Mando talking about the viewer? Because saving a reveal for the end of the episode is the only reason to say this instead of naming the place. Welcome to Coruscant, the planet of over 1 billion phallic-looking buildings. We've got a big rock too, but you can't touch it. This is so cool. There's so many possibilities here. Is Grogu gonna get to explore the ruins of the Jedi Temple? Wait, where are Mando and Bo-Katan?
Sadly, my research was twisted into something cruel and inhumane at the behest of a desperate individual intent on using cloning technology to secure more power for himself.
No, you do not get to use my precious Mando to build a rickety Palpatine bridge. Just be Mando. Let the dead speak on their own time.
What my work explored was the hopes of combining multiple strands to create replicas that incorporated the best genetic attributes of both donors.
What is the thesis of this TED Talk? At first it sounded like it had something to do with the amnesty program.
The amnesty program saved my life.
But now he's talking about his research. Oh wait, it's about exposition, isn't it?
Though anything would be comfortable compared to the Outer Rim.
That's Outer Rimist. I've heard exploring the Outer Rim can be nice if you're willing to give it a chance, Pershing.
Empire, Rebels, New Republic, I can't keep track.
So say we all. Wait, is this not Battlestar? Where am I? Can this franchise finally show me how people don't fall out of these things like all the time, or why no one's hair looks windswept when they get to their destination?
You must be sure to visit the Sky Dome Botanical Gardens.
Chatty Uber drivers. Just let me stare at my phone awkwardly in silence until the ride is over. Thanks.
Have a good evening.
So when Mando said someplace they won't find us, he wasn't referring to the Empire, but the rest of the episode itself. Are Mando and Grogu coming back anytime soon? This is like Elaine and Jerry bailing on dinner with Peterman and leaving George stuck in the meal. The writers made us George. The top of this drink seems to magically remove itself by the time M34 hands it to Dr. Pershing. But I think we're all more concerned with how unappetizing this cloudy white liquid looks. I bet it's got a dumb name like Glacier Cherry Gatorade or White Cherry Powerade or Semen.
Uniforms did fit better.
I do miss the lights of hyperspace.
Episode reminisces about the good old days for all of the sometime. But it also humanizes the previously faceless and or voiceless henchmen that did the Empire's bidding, revealing details about who they are and what they care about. It's refreshing, helps expand the on-screen universe, and I guess is worth a send off.
Because of this, Coruscant is one of only a handful of city planets known as an ecumenopolis.
Trying to sneak this world-building exposition into the episode like we'd want to know more about the universe. I'll give this sci-fi door points for not being a whoosh, but a zhong is still super annoying. Imagine the cacophony that must engulf this apartment block every morning during rush hour.
Wonder why they have you down here.
Chatty co-workers. Don't you have some salmon to heat up in the break room microwave, Brian?
But, you know,
The asshole who still has their job after programming this droid to just haphazardly run into people.
So why not continue your research here?
I don't think it's something the New Republic would be interested in.
If they're not interested, then why did they have you talking about it in front of 50 million people earlier? They had graphics queued up and everything.
The ethics of cloning are complicated.
Yes, I know. We had 2 movies, 133 episodes of Clone Wars, and an ongoing series of Bad Batch, all covering this very topic. Can we spend our Mando time covering something other than cloning, please?
Live a little, Doc. It's not the Empire.
No, but there are still rules, right? If I go to the Field Museum in Chicago and try to ride Sue the T-Rex in an attempt to mimic my favorite scene from the Dresden Files and they throw me out, that doesn't make them the Empire.
Are you experiencing any undue stress due to work or personal matters?
Interlinked.
It would require authorization from the department. You could submit a C-1023 request, but I've never seen someone from the amnesty program make one of those.
This friendly yet contentious interaction, coupled with a doctor being treated like a robot by a robot in his therapy session, shows how easily the people of this world can get lost in the bureaucratic process. And by the end of the episode, we'll understand a little more how easy it is for someone without an anchor to be chewed up by the machine and or exploited by an individual. I think feeling the tragedy wrapped in this utopia is going to squeeze another sin removal out of me. But also, squeezing anything out of me is a sin. Elia did say the New Republic needed help, but I don't think fare evasion was so complex that the scientists of Coruscant were still working the problem. Pershing is staring at people like this is the first time he's ridden the New York City subway. Did he see no other species on the Outer Rim? Because I've seen other species on the Outer Rim, and I don't even live in this world.
Songs days, am I right?
The writers make this saying a universal constant, and I hate them for it.
You can do it.
Why are they being allowed to do it? Show wants me to believe that a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, they had their own Mondays, am I right? But they didn't have an OSHA, an FAA, or whomever's responsibility it would be to prevent people from falling to their death off this thing. Why was this droid designed to deal with suspicious passengers by stalking them as if it were in a horror movie? Really putting those doctoral degree observational skills to the test, ain't you, Doc? Sneaking into a salvage yard on Coruscant to steal something from a decommissioned Imperial ship? What you're actually stealing is from this season of Bad Batch. Omega would be very disappointed in you, Jon Favreau.
I must have passed you on Gideon's ship 100 times.
Well, they say it's the journey, not the destination. We've spent most of the past 10 minutes watching these two walking and talking in public transportation, and now they're just talking about other times they were walking in the same place, but not together. Just saying, sometimes it's not about the journey either. What? You mean she was going to betray him all along? This changes everything. How will the Star Wars universe go forward from...
Wait, this is a mind flayer.
This is a 602 mitigator.
A rose by any other name cliche.
You'll see some pleasant colors, hear a light buzzing, and experience a great sense of relief in no time at all.
If that's your goal, why not just get him some weed? You've basically just described every afternoon right before I record this narration. I mean, when I get done recording this narration.
She brought me there. It was a trap.
You are a real credit to this program. It's nice to know that for every failure, there's a success like you.
I don't think this character could telegraph any harder that Elias is some kind of double agent or spy. The writers might as well have had her eat one of those travel biscuits. Well, if this device is just meant for healing now and it's only used for low voltages, why even leave the option for it to go to 11?
I'm bringing you to a Mandalorian covert.
Oh, they finally remembered who the main character was. This was a very strange episode of the Mandalorian.
It will go smoother if you keep your helmet on. Trust me.
The entirety of my father's Birds and the Bees talk somehow makes it into the episode. Oh boy, I'm glad we're back to the main story so we can now watch Mandalorians do Some walking. Well, everyone has to walk sometimes. Can't all be rocket packs, space battles, and blaster fights. It's an important and necessary. Oh, for the love of Grogu. Come on, guys. This episode had so many cool things in it. It could have been a contender. It could have been somebody instead of a bum, which is what it is. Let's face it.
These are indeed the living waters.
All that walking just to watch the armorer test the pH balance of some water. Thinking you could show me anything that hasn't happened previously. Oh, you meant previously on The Mandalorian? Then say so. Also, 1 minute and 20 seconds of pre-episode shenanigans. Combine that with the 3 minutes of post-show shenanigans, and that makes 260 seconds of stuff in this episode that wasn't actually episode. That means over 14% of the listed runtime is stuff I didn't need. 14%! That should be illegal. Holding your Mando Olympics on the recently renamed giant-ass Crocozilla Beach. Also, are those guys on the left just shooting at the water? What kind of training is that? Is that how stormtroopers train? Easy now, this is just sparring, and you're using flamethrowers? What would happen if the other guy didn't use his at the same time? Your buddy would be dead. This is most certainly not the way. Did you transfer in from Cobra Kai before the reboot? Stop teasing a show. We all thought Grogu was force training with these rocks, and then it turned out to only be crustaceans. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Be careful when thinking about getting your rocks off, because sometimes you end up with surprise crabs.
Put down the rocks, kid.
Interrupting Grogu's lunch break.
He is too small.
I am his ward. Proceed.
Does Din being his ward make Grogu any bigger? What the hell does that non sequitur of a response have to do with anything?
The training darts.
And we just so happen to have one that won't fall off Grogu's tiny little wrists, because that's absolutely something we would use our limited resources for. This is the way.
Each has 3 darts. You may fire the darts in any order.
What does that mean? Like you can fire the third one first if you want to? Who cares? They're all right there on the same wrist and do exactly the same thing. And considering we find out in a bit that you fire by squeezing your fist, how would you select one dart over another anyway? Why would this moron kid stop at 1 dart instead of just firing all 3? I mean, other than the fact that every single match in the history of film has to pretend like we think our hero might lose.
Don't look at me, look at him.
Signing your kid up for paintball without explicit consent.
Ready. Begin. Point.
Didn't you just say
1 round?
So why do these feel like multiple rounds? And why does the kid continue to only shoot once? And what even constitutes a catch? Does he have to make a common movement after securing the ball? And what about the ground? Sorry, I blacked out there for a second. My point is, this match is bullshit.
Did you teach him that?
Not me.
Imagine what other neat things Luke could have taught him if Grogu had stayed longer. I mean, sure, if he'd stayed too long, then Kylo would have murdered him, but surely he could have learned more than jumping before getting slaughtered. Not having any scouts looking out for danger on what will soon be renamed Giant-Ass Crocozilla and Hungry-Ass Velociraptor Bat Beach.
I'm out of fuel.
Oop, you've done it now. That's the Star Wars has another fuel-related plot alarm. We had to install it after The Last Jedi and Solo. It's an automatic CinemaSins. Sorry, my hands are tied. No, literally. Jeremy tied my hands and stuck me in this recording booth until I finished saying my lines.
It always gets away.
This has happened before? How incompetent are you as a community that you have children stolen from you by a creature and your only response is to once again see if the fuel will hold out this time? Okay, fine. Take your sin off while I'm distracted by my multiple eyegasms.
It would kill the child.
If they're still alive, you mean? Why is everyone acting like the kid that got claw yoinked hours ago by Mr. Fly McTeethy Beak would even still be in one piece?
You are too young to join them.
So please, stay back here with me on what has proven to be a very safe location.
Just as we shaped the Mandalorian steel, we shape ourselves.
Mandalorian steel? You mean Beskar? Why not just say Beskar?
We all begin as raw ore.
Giving the birds and the bees talk, but using a very inaccurate euphemism for seminal fluid that might confuse Grogu. Actually, now that I think about it, that's what should have actually been called Grogu. Oh, look, another flashback to Order 66. It's only been shown in Episode 3, Clone Wars, Rebels Bad Batch, previous Mandalorian episodes, and Jedi Fallen Order. Better get one more look at the Jedi slaughter just in case we missed something. Do you want Order 66 to become the Batman Pearls of the Star Wars universe? Do you? Having a series of flashing lights above the elevator door that convey no information other than the set designer thought this would look pretty.
Everything's gonna be all right, kid.
Ah, sudden Ahmed best. Damn it, I'm not made of stone. Take another sin off for an awesome cameo. But if Yusa think we're gonna remove one more sin after this, Yusa stepped in big doo-doo this time.
Don't worry, we're gonna meet up with some friends of mine.
And I'm telling you this now without any other details so the fans will speculate and we might get a social media bump from it. Stormtrooper aim apparently extends to flying ships that can't even hit a target that is sitting still on the ground.
Mandalorian steel shall keep you safe as you grow stronger.
But won't it also tip him over? That thing has to weigh almost as much as he does.
You will grow into this rondelle as you grow into your station, Foundling Grogu.
Are you sure about that? Yoda and Yaddle didn't seem much bigger than Grogu. He might not grow as much as you expect.
Any closer and it will hear the ship.
How do you know its exact hearing range? Are you an expert on all winged life? Tell me, Bo-Katan, what is the average airspeed velocity of a laden swallow? Stealing a shot for your Fellowship of 7 from the much better Fellowship of 9.
How do you eat when other people are around?
How are you just now asking this? Is this the first time you've been hungry when people were nearby? Can we pretend the kid they're saving is related to Han so I can make a free Solo joke? No? Too late.
Wait until we clear the area.
He's my son.
Which means you throw caution for your kid's life to the wind?
I'd love to give him the best opportunity to survive, but you know, Dad's got a dad.
Well, I see somebody rated the old costumes from the dinosaur sitcom. How long had those been in storage? Since 1994? I'm certainly amazed that the kid is still alive after being inside another animal, but I'm even more perplexed by the fact that he's bone dry. Mandalorian armor is the absolute best until the show needs to set up a Forge conversation about the mythosaur later, and then it just falls off mid-flight. So much for the whole don't attack it or it immediately kills the child thing they were chatting about earlier. I guess that was only for when they wanted to ensure a boring-ass rock climbing sequence. Excuse me, waiter, there appears to be some Jurassic World in my Mandalorian.
Come, Grogu.
I don't think he needed to be told. His dad just got back from the war. Of course he's going to see him. There are whole YouTube channels dedicated to this kind of shit.
And we have brought you 3 more foundlings in need of care and training.
Is that so?
What? Are you serious? What, are you training them to be Raptorlorians? Or riding them like you're from House Mandatargaryen? All I want for my birthday is a scene showing the moment one of these idiots was like, hey, why don't we bring those 3 giant baby human eaters back with us in the ship? And then the others were like, heck yeah, Frank, what a baller idea. Certainly we've got everything we need with us to make this happen. And it makes so much sense in every way. Long live the genius mind of the Frankalorian.
I can replace what's missing, but not with its modern refinements.
What modern refinements? It was a regular shoulder pad. It's not like I had a mini Darksaber built into it. Careful with the sparks there, Armorer. There's not enough time left to accidentally trigger another expositional flashback.
But it was real.
She's not discounting what you saw, Bo-Katan, but you're not exactly providing any proof either. And this would be like someone telling me they saw Nessie. Cool story, bro, but until you provide some footage that isn't a blurry photograph of murky water, the best you're going to get from me is a vague congratulations, a vacant smiling nod, and a quick look for anyone else in the room I can go talk to. On The Mandalorian. Previously on The Mandalorian. We talked about this last episode. Here, let me help. There we go.
I have no quarrel with you, Guardian Shard.
Oh, I wonder who's returning in this episode. Just once could we have a previously on that's a super non sequitur that has nothing to do with the episode I'm about to watch just to throw me off the scent. I'd sit it, but at least I'd be entertained.
Let's move the trade district closer to the shipping terminals.
That's a wonderful idea, High Magistrate.
Ah, yes. This is what we've come here for. The riveting dialogue needed to redraw district lines. Let me pull out my corporate coffee cup and slide into my office chair to really get in the mood. Also, that's a terrible idea. You should put them on opposite ends of town and fill the route between them with booths, bars, and brothels. Give the traders what they absolutely don't need but will 100% spend their money on. Gasp! The pirates are back? Thank goodness I was prepared by the previously ons. However, would I have been able to handle the shock of this sudden and unexpected development?
Shall I begin negotiations? No. If we buy them off, that'll set a bad precedent.
Perhaps, but wouldn't pretending to negotiate at least buy you some time? Not all negotiations have to be short, Karga.
You get the citizens to safety.
The fucking butler droid? I know Karga is short a lawman, but seriously, Navaro has some sort of security or standing militia, right? How's the evacuation of the city being left to the droid that, last time we saw them, couldn't get his boss's title right? Also, imagine being so misguidedly vain that you commission a bust of yourself before hiring a personal security force. Why is this holo transmission thing set to like 100 times magnification? Does the incoming caller get to choose how intimidating they look based on the intent of the call?
Is that what you call gunning down my helmsman in cold blood?
He shot first.
Okay, Karga clearly shot first, and given Star Wars history with this sort of thing, I don't know if we're being deliberately trolled or not. The problem is I'd either sin it and get mocked for missing the joke, or ignore it and get blasted for missing a valid point. Regardless, I look forward to 20 years from now when that first episode is re-edited to show that Vane shot first, meaning that whatever I do, I'll end up being wrong for at least part of history.
Well, now I will shoot first.
No! That's still not right! You're shooting in response to his alleged shooting first, which means you're shooting second. Why is this so hard?
My charts indicate that Navaro is an independent world.
Is this show attempting to make me believe that a central problem is whether or not Navaro is independent? How do you expect me to care about that when this entire universe can't solve choppy holograms? This may be the worst I've ever seen. Look at it glitching. Obi-Wan, you're my only hoping a droid to get out of trouble cliché. This brave citizen who isn't going to allow an orbital bombardment to interrupt his lunch hour. Okay, being bombed by pirates is less than ideal, but look on the bright side. At least now people will visit the statue and simply assume that it was damaged in an attack, and you don't have to explain how part of it was brought back to life and tried to kill a child.
Send out a directive immediately!
Considering this droid's track record with delivering news, send out a directive immediately feels uncomfortably vague. I bet there are 1,000 possible directives to choose from, so what if everyone gets a today is an unscheduled trash day directive, instead of a get the f*** out of Dodge before pirates redecorate your home from orbit directive?
Can I use your viewer?
Using a viewer to watch a hologram rather than pressing it to your forehead and opting for your far superior imagination to retrieve the message.
I'm gonna forward this to Coruscant. Request permission to intercede.
They haven't returned a dispatch in weeks.
And they posted me here for exclusively expositional purposes, just in case the bar's TV is showing pod racing instead of news position for once.
Then I'm just gonna have to go there and talk to them myself. They can't ignore me face to face.
They can, but they likely won't, because we need to connect this episode back to that random one where the nice man got his brain spaghettified. Heaven forbid that was in vain, whoever he was. If the show is asking me to believe that Teva's interested in helping with any sense of expediency, they forgot to direct him to walk faster than a browsing pace.
Do not put any more stuff on that part of the desk. That's my work area.
Droids, using your metal pin to store your extra throat lozenges.
I am humbly requesting the New Republic to send a...
I get the gist.
And I also don't want the audience to have to listen to this twice. Also, the internet seems to think that get the gist came from a French legal term used in the 1600s. Always fun to find out that the internet's wrong and that this colloquialism actually has origins from an even longer time ago and from much farther away.
I'm going down to the commissary. Can I get you anything?
Like a warm serving of Imperial spy plotting to overthrow the New Republic? Or maybe a bagel? A bagel of betrayal?
We have a backlog of requests from member worlds that have priority. I don't even know if we have the resources.
He makes a great point. I mean, who's going to keep that bar on a Delphi base in business if all those officers are sent on pesky rescue missions all the time?
And by the time it becomes big enough for you to act, it'll be too late.
Can anyone else smell the sweet yet obnoxious scent of a future previously on being sinned? I know I can. Officer Kane, are you okay? Why are you standing there looking like a self-satisfied villainous predator instead of getting back to work? Officer Kane, how's the rehab going? Hello? Wait, is that everyone? There's like a couple of dozen people here. How is that all of Navaro? Why is this place so important if it's only home to a population smaller than most Broadway casts?
How did you manage to find us?
Fortunately, someone I served with in the rebellion is amongst your ranks.
That's a weird way of saying, fortunately, you're all dumbasses and didn't think twice about keeping this Republic droid around. Also, how does Teva even know that Din took the scaredy droid from Peli? Did she have to sign it over at the droid version of the DMV? This is the world-building shit we need to know, Favreau.
I gotta help the guy.
You can't do it alone.
Can't he, though? I mean, he's faced worse odds without the help of other Mandos. He managed to escape Moff Gideon and an army of stormtroopers with little more than Cara Dune, Greef Karga, Grogu, and an exploding droid. And look, Karga's already there, Grogu's with him, Bo-Katan is the new, less problematic Cara Dune, so all he really needs is a droid to blow up.
And our children can feel what it is to play in the sunlight.
Before they're hidden from said sunlight by having their heads encased in helmets they aren't allowed to remove, of course.
Does anyone else wish to speak?
I do.
I love how a community that's defined by its ability to follow a strict set of rules can't be trusted to not talk unless there's an appointed talking hammer situation at play.
Why should we lay our lives down yet again? Because we are Mandalorians. This is the way.
This
crowd is won over so easily they may have well been chanting, "What do we want? Whatever the guy in front of us says we want. When do we want it? This is the way."
I'll use this to drop you in, and you will operate as a tight military unit.
Because I said so with such confidence, and that's worth 10,000 hours of training.
You lived there once, hiding in the sewers. But now, you can be heroes.
Making the assumption that anyone would want to be a hero rather than revel in the life of a glorious sewer rat shredder style. Think of all the pizza, if nothing else. I know pirates are going to pirate, but that was your buddy's food. Why waste snacks like that? Kick the server on their way back instead. That's the lesson here, I'm sure. How the f does that even happen? We know these ships have targeting sensors of some sort, so how did neither of them realize that they're being led into a friendly ship? Was a copy of the script blocking their sensors? Also, does Grogu really need to be on board for this shit? Leave him with Karga. Or f***ing anywhere that isn't a 10v1 dogfight. Straight up murder. Very nice of these chaps to politely not shoot Paz as he descends from the sky in the middle of the fight and allow themselves to be mowed down for the sake of entertainment. This individual has a jetpack.
Another engine down, and shields are failing.
Shields? What f***ing shields? What are the damn shields protecting if it isn't the damn engines? Listen, I never want to put a stop to hammer time, truly, but at some point this has got to backfire. Either she'll get caught off guard by an opponent with a range greater than 5 feet who doesn't have the situational awareness of an unharvested potato, or she'll damage/lose what I can only assume is a one-of-a-kind set of Beskar smithing tools. I know he doesn't have visible ears, but surely the Discount Gorn here has some sort of ability to detect sound or movement, right? How have I just now noticed that this giant-ass spaceship is being steered by a f***ing wheel? I mean, cool, but also how does that even work?
He's targeting the townspeople.
But in the most suspenseful way possible to give you plenty of time to take him out. Oh, so the Pirate King is just gonna let himself die over Navaro? This seems like a very peculiar hill to plant your Corsair in. Retreat was 100% an option here, and a great one when there's just one engine between you and an overly kinetic reintroduction to a Navaro mountain. Is that an actual pitchfork and an angry mob? We're not storming Beast's castle here. We're in a future with laser guns and starships. Why the f*** are you holding a pitchfork?
Do you respect my station?
I do.
Remove your helmet.
This might be the dickiest of dick moves to ever move a dick. Of course Bo-Katan is going to think this is a trick. And why put her in this position? The armorer could totally share this plan and then ask her to remove her helmet. This feels way more about the armorer swinging her hammer and tongs around than it does about anything else.
I was taught that the mythosaur existed only in legends.
Well, if that was true, then they would have called it the Legendosaur now, wouldn't they?
It's a fragment of Beskar alloy.
Are you saying that Moff Gideon was taken by Mandalorians?
No, he's saying that it's Beskar alloy. Now, you could make that leap, or you could acknowledge that the Beskar was left behind in the most obviously incriminating way possible so that it has to be a setup. But I have an odd suspicion they'll assume the worst. Space drama.
In order for her to wield the Darksaber again, it must be won in battle.
Instead of simply sending the 1 minute and 50 seconds of previously awning for being 1 minute and 50 seconds of previously awning, I'd like to send it for being the most contextually spoilery previously awning we've seen to date. If this had included a sad droid, a Back to the Future trailer, and a Saxaboom rendition of About Damn Time, we wouldn't have needed to watch the episode at all. Also, 1 minute and 50 seconds of previously awning. Transporting a fish in a champagne coupe instead of a flute or the much more appropriate Bordeaux glass. Not giving us an explanation as to why the captain's the only one that gets a tank and the rest of these fish holes just have to be dry.
You see, we were already hired by a certain Mon Calamari viceroy.
I apologize if we've seen this at some point in the past, but calling your obviously Piscine-flavored species calamari.
I can't destroy everything I've built for a childish fling.
Is that all this was to you?
That's not what I meant.
When did this become the CW's Mandalorian?
They've taken control of the ship. I guess we're going for a ride.
Mando and Bo passively let the episode turn into a side quest.
This is interesting.
Careful with your exuberant adjectives there, Mando. A 2-minute recap followed by 3 minutes of calamari does not an interesting episode make.
Welcome to Plazier 15.
Making your planet sound like a prescription-strength hemorrhoid cream.
Please proceed to your Hyperloop pod.
Disney bet hard on the monorail and lost, so now it's shifting gears so it can cash in on all the Hyperloop hype from 10 years ago.
Please do not attempt to leave the vehicle. This is not a request.
We're going to learn a lot about how much of a paradise this world is, but somehow no one's ever voted against the whiplash-inducing dramatic timing of these Hyperloops.
Come! Everyone, special guests!
Mandalorians.
Listen, I love Lizzo and Jack Black, but whenever Star Wars does these type of cameos, it's like they're pulling the curtain back on the whole production to say, hey, look who it is. Takes me out of the story every time.
I hope you like secretions. Take a little sip.
Secretions.
Plaisir suffered greatly under Imperial rule. My husband came here as part of his rehabilitation.
Okay, let me get this straight. Captain Jack here worked for the Empire and as a rehabilitation/penance was sent to a planet abused by said Empire where he managed to marry his way into the royal family and be an elected leader? How many war criminals do you know that were given their own fucking planet to rule?
Could I perhaps hold the baby, please?
Lizzo breaks character and they just decide to keep it in the episode.
He doesn't take kindly to strangers.
Saying this instead of, this baby might be able to kill you with its mind. This series seems confused about what Grogu's supposed to be. Sometimes he's a baby, sometimes he's a Jedi, and other times he's just a puppy.
We held direct democratic elections for the first time in our history.
We are both royals and elected leaders.
Yeah, but earlier the automated thingy said,
Welcome to Plaisir 15, the Outer Rim's only remaining direct democracy.
And if you're electing representatives, then that's not a direct democracy. That's a representative democracy with direct democracy institutions. See, Mom? I told you YouTube wouldn't be a total waste of my college degree. Are you proud yet?
Respectfully, what does this have to do with us?
Katie Sackhoff's question to the writers about why the characters are even in this situation somehow makes it into the episode.
The Mandalorian garrison outside your city walls can make quick work of your battle droids.
Our charter forbids any standing army from entering our city.
But somehow that same charter is totally fine with an Imperial cruiser, complete with shuttles, camping up just outside of the city on a fucking technicality? What's to stop them from hiring more mercenaries and building an army that way? Sure, this keeps the citizens of Plaisir 15 safe, but it doesn't do much to prevent that pesky Imperial tendency to dominate the galaxy.
The people have voted we are a pluralistic society. You are Mandalorians. Weaponry and armor are intrinsic to your culture, are they not?
I don't think you're using pluralism in the way that you think you are. Yes, being pluralistic means that you're accepting of a variety of political and cultural ideologies and even incorporate them into your system of ruling. But you don't have to be pluralistic to allow visitors from other cultures. This is like bragging that you're an all-you-can-eat buffet and therefore the only type of restaurant that allows people to bring in their own food. It might be true, but it has nothing to do with the buffet. I also might be hungry. Also, I'm fine with exploiting loopholes, but this loophole applies just as much to Axe's Mandalorians as it does to Bo and Din here. I see no reason why you couldn't have asked them to clear the droid problem as Mandalorians in exchange for the defense contract.
Plaisir 15 would formally recognize Mandalore as a sovereign system and petition the new Republic to recognize it as such.
You mean the random planet that happened to have hired the Mandalorians that Din and Bo need to find also just happens to be in a position to help Din and Bo complete their mission to unite Mandalore? What luck!
The mercenary captain, Axe Wolves, indicated that he split from you because you had designs on ruling Mandalore once again.
Why the f did that come up? Why would Axe be chatting about the life goals of his predecessor with a complete stranger that shouldn't give a shit?
Those plans have been abandoned.
The offer stands nonetheless.
Dude, she just said those plans have been abandoned. Why are you standing by this as an offer instead of cash?
You had me at battle droids.
And you lost me at the Jerry Maguire reference.
These droids were all reprogrammed to serve the community.
Great Scott! This is how we get Doc Brown in Star Wars? I mean, it's about damn time, but in a minute, I'm gonna need a explanation for the Mando cameos. Feeling foresee.
Why not turn them all off?
The citizens voted against any interruption in droid services.
Reminding me that we live in a world where I can't send this vote for being unbelievable and stupid.
The Ugnaughts.
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 Excitement?
I am Bo-Katan Kryze.
I knew it! I once had to re-record a whole video because I randomly started calling her Bo-Katan instead of Bo-Katan. Then the other characters in the show started calling her Bo-Katan, so I figured maybe it is Bo-Katan. But I mean, she definitely says Bo-Katan here, and she should be the one that knows, right? So why do people keep saying Bo-Katan? I mean, Katan. Tanton.
We were sent on behalf of the Duchess and Captain Bombardier to help you with your droid problem.
Mando lets Bo-Katan fail multiple times at communicating with the Ugnaughts instead of speaking up first or telling her.
I've spent time with Ugnaughts. There's a particular way to communicate with them.
For this episode, the writers decided to make Din a real Mandalorian.
We were engaged to hunt down and eliminate the malfunctioning droids.
There are no such droids.
These aren't the droids you're looking for in a Star Wars story, cliche.
They've indicated that there's a likelihood that the next event will be at the loading docks.
But what the hell are they basing that on? I get that they can track the malfunctioning droids, but how are they able to predict when it's going to happen? Especially since this malfunction ends up being triggered by Mando himself.
Holy inevitable Skynet uprising, Batman. That is a lot of droids. Is having them loaded and unloading one box at a time at a pace slower than Michael Myers really the best way to utilize them? You have a whole battalion of battle droids that are less efficient than one forklift and a pallet. There are a billion droids here, and of course, this works on the third one that he kicks. Bo-Katan was ridiculously and uncharacteristically slow on the draw here. Mando gets knocked the f*** out, and she waits until the droid runs past her before drawing her pistol, as if she knew this episode was lagging and needed a chase scene. Mando ducks so that this box can kill the people behind him, instead of scratching his precious armor.
Keep going!
All of the impossibly perfect, there's no way he could have predicted when the droid would pass by the window and perfectly self-defenestrate himself to victory bullshittery that we just witnessed in this stunt.
I don't think they get many of our kind here.
We got a sudden record stop, and now this line. Man, this show is hitting all the notes in its composition titled Entering a Bar Cliche.
Stay where I can see you.
Oh, come on, Mando. That's asking a lot when you're talking about a helmet that limits your field of view to about 12 degrees.
You can't reason with droids.
Their behavior's programmed. All they do is reason.
Bo-Katan could lead all of Mandalore at CinemaSins.
There are concerns among my customers that we will be replaced.
By what?
Humans.
I'm not sure if it's a compliment or an insult that this robot thinks the only species that could replace it are humans. Also, for some reason, this droid's calculations didn't factor in just how lazy humans are. If ChatGPT is any indication, it's obvious that we're much more scared of writing essays than we are of the robot apocalypse.
We don't want to be replaced. We still have a lot to contribute.
We get all of this world building and a fascinating sneak peek into the lives of this very specific group of droids on a planet we've never seen before, but when it comes to the Force, we get f***ing midichlorians. Great. Yes, I'm still sending the prequels.
What's Nepenthe?
I'm sure the droid will have the actual answer, but I'm willing to bet it's exactly whatever the plot needs it to be to make this side quest make sense.
So Nepenthe reprograms the droids that drink here?
It patches the programming as the commands of the mainframe change.
Let me get this straight. Organics created droids to do the work of organics because droids can be optimized and don't need downtime. But then those same organics created a social bar situation as a way to send software updates in the form of imbibements. Why? Why isn't this just downloaded? I mean, congrats on creating a system of rolling out software patches that's more convoluted than Windows Update, but why? This feels like a needlessly analog filing system for a robot.
These are the remains of the latest malfunctioning droid.
On this episode of CSI The Outer Rim, droids need a coroner for some reason. Why wouldn't they take the droids back to the Ugnaughts workshop?
The particles are definitely present.
What are the chances that they're still active?
No less likely than them activating at the perfect time to answer your question, I'd say. These lasers conveniently, yet inexplicably, bank straight upwards, allowing Bo to get away unbifurcated.
They're actually nanodroids.
How did nanodroids get into the Nepenthe?
Oh boy, I can't wait for the answer to that.
The chain title says it didn't arrive on Plaisir through droid acquisitions.
Wait a second. It didn't go through droid aqua.
These droids were ordered by an individual, our head of security, Commissioner Hellgate.
The long and short of this is that the malfunctioning droids are caused by nanobots, and there's only one possible person that could have ordered them. So how the f*** was Hellgate ever expecting to get away with this? He didn't even try to throw Din and Bo off the trail. Also, isn't it cool that the computer was programmed to do a slow reveal of Hellgate's image to match the tension of the moment?
If I trigger this failsafe, it will convert the planet's docile workforce back into battle droids.
More like a fail unsafe. Am I right?
Okay, let me get that for you, milady.
Using living things as space bocce balls.
This planet is unrecognizable since he arrived.
Yeah, but how is his scheme to reprogram droids going to change that? This is basically just throwing a tantrum. Only this tantrum results in more damage to the planet he claims to love and banishment to a moon.
As for now, you must live in exile on the moon of Paraquat.
We finally get Christopher Lloyd in Star Wars, and this is what you do with him? You banish him to a moon? Star Trek made him a Klingon and had Captain Kirk kill him.
I also give to you both our highest honor, the key to Plaisir.
Do they always just have that thing on hand? Didn't seem like they were expecting them to turn up right now, let alone turn up with the mystery solved.
Then what's your play?
I'll know when I get there.
For the record, this is a terrible play. Forgive me, but reuniting a civilization so you can reclaim your home planet should require slightly more prep than I'll do it on the night.
While exploring Mandalore, I was captured, and this blade was taken from me. Bo-Katan rescued me and slayed my captor. She defeated the enemy that defeated me. Would this blade then not belong to her?
What the f were you saving this story for? You have the whole thing laid out with all the justifications and you were keeping that shit in your pocket? Bo could have just died fighting Axe body spray over there. What the f, Mando? 1 minute and 29 seconds of previously awning. Nearly everything about this establishing shot is awesome, but its blade runneth over. These probe droids are a notorious Empire staple, so how does one descending from the heavens not raise all of the Empire's up to some shady red flags? Or is this little critter permanently chilling out around here like an emergency break glass in case of exposition button?
Report.
Would it kill people to just once use a damn screen instead of a hologram? Especially in a situation where you're trying to be sneaky and perhaps don't want to be visible from 360 degrees? Also, am I supposed to be surprised that Moff Gideon turns up in the penultimate episode of The Mandalorian? Because this is exactly what happened in Season 1, and that brings us one occurrence away from it becoming a this is the Shay?
And make it quick, as I am short on time.
People who waste conversational time by telling people that they're short on time. So, before we continue, Kane's report doesn't need to be any more than the following. Mandalorians, including Din Djarin, defeated our pirates on Navaro. That's it. 9 words. So I'm adding us in for every word over 9 that wastes Moff Gideon's time. Continue.
Sir, I'm afraid the pirates have run into trouble on Navaro. It wasn't the New Republic. Magistrate cargo was aided by Mandalorians, according to the reports received by...
Why do the police sirens in this alien world in a different galaxy look and sound exactly the same as ours? All right, for this room, I want to go with something minimalist, but also brooding. So, you know, lots of concrete and fall hazards, of course. And instead of gaudy accents or wall decorations, just have 2 soldiers staring deeply into each other's eyes. You know what? I love that last one so much. Put a set of those every 10 feet. Are we supposed to care about these tanks? Probably. Am I going to care about these tanks? No.
The New Republic is vulnerable, but we must be cautious and show no sign of our true strength.
We now bring you to the expositional hologram argument already in progress.
Grand Admiral Thrawn's return.
Did you hear that? That was the sound of a million geeks nerdgasming all at once. And on behalf of all of us, here's a sin for the unwelcome cleanup operation we have to embark upon.
And provide Commandant Hux enough time.
Oh, mustn't forget to name drop the dude that's the father of the other dude that's being played by the brother of the dude that played the other dude, is how I imagine this scene was written.
Perhaps it's time we look to new leadership.
Project Necromancer is a place for that.
Project Necromancer. Why didn't they just call it Project Super Evil Plan to assert galactic villainy and murder puppies? Also, instead of being far, far away from the sequels, we're trying to fix the past like this is some kind of hot tub time machine. Writers, if you wade into those waters wearing this much armor, you risk developing some rust.
3 Praetorian guards. Sounds like someone is concerned about an assassination attempt.
Yeah, but you are talking to a man that's just recently escaped arrest by the New Republic, has a feud with the most dangerous race of warriors in the galaxy, and whose 10-year career goals make Sauron's master plan look like a Dr. Seuss adventure. So, yeah, I'd say he's a target, and maybe 3 guards with fly zappers isn't too much to ask. Considering all the shit that went down with those pirates a few episodes ago, I'm going to say these people are not nearly concerned enough about this ship flying overhead. And how has Grief done nothing to maybe get a big freaking ship alert before they're in spitting distance of his office?
An Imperial shuttle is advancing over the city.
What? That is clearly not a shuttle.
First, that's a light cruiser.
That was a trap.
Look at the markings. See those, my friend, are Mandalorian privateers.
I thought to be a magistrate, you'd have to be at least familiar with the concept of lying. A few simple markings, and he's like, no problem, come on in. All it takes to get into his planet is a big-ass fake ID, using your companion cube to steady your vacuum cleaner.
I hope these 2 groups get along. They've never met, and what little they know of each other, they hate.
This comment, along with the 2 minutes of ship landing we had to sit through, made me think that this initial meeting of these 2 groups would be interesting and dramatic.
Let us prepare a feast for our guests.
And was not.
That's all the way from Coruscant, so you might want to wait for a smaller gathering before you open it.
Or, you know, no gathering at all, considering the whole no eating, no drinking with your helmet on deal. Come to think of it, gifting alcohol to a Mandalorian is a pretty dick move considering they have to drink it alone.
That's not the only gift I have for you.
That's a strange way to say I've created a wearable battlebot for Grogu from the carcass of your friend.
What did you do to IG-11?
Oh, no, that's IG-12 now.
You can't expect to get away with removing features that people want and replacing them with shit they didn't ask for by just increasing the model number each year. Well, I mean, you can, but only if you don't mind being called an apple. I mean, an asshole.
Well, he's too little to operate this.
Actually, he's the only size that can operate this thing. But the confusing bit has to do with the fact that Mando's opinion goes from "you're too little" to "follow me into battle" by the end of the episode, seemingly based only on Grogu's ability to terrorize a street vendor.
Maybe when he's older. No. What do you mean, no?
No.
Grogu learning his first word and continuing to troll Mando is just hilarious. How do these two get even more adorable with time?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes.
This isn't working for me.
Your apprentice puppeteering the husk of the planet's savior to steal fruit? I should hope so. And why are we being forced to watch this instead of what's going on with the two groups of Mandalorians that hate each other's guts?
Mandalorians, it is time to retake our homeworld.
Is she going to do a rousing halftime speech? I mean, it'll get us in for being a cliche, but I do love me a good rousing halftime speech.
The remaining magnetic interference has made it impossible to scan the surface from above atmosphere, which is why I'm proposing that we leave Navaro and move the fleet into orbit above Mandalore.
False alarm. Just your standard expositions then. Also, you don't know what's on the planet, yet you're going to park your entire fleet above it? I'm no expert in military strategy, but it seems like there might be one or two situations where that's a bad idea. Like, I don't know, maybe it's a trap?
I need volunteers from both tribes.
Writers make us suffer through the required hesitation until our brave and selfless Mando finally stands up and volunteers, thereby unlocking the logarithmic growth curve of volunteering until we're all standing on our desks. And not a single one of these assholes says, "Oh, Captain, my Captain."
I will go. Grogu as well.
I don't think Mando understands how volunteering works. Also, sometimes Mando wants to protect Grogu, and other times it's just like he wants to put him in harm's way. I mean, I'm fine with either. I just wish it made sense for the character and not just the story. Once everyone agrees to join the Journey to the Center of Mandalore expedition, we have just over 5 minutes of departing, transiting, arriving, sitting, falling, and ordering before anything vaguely new or interesting happens. Yes, the fleet and the ODSTing look cool, but could we have also had some conversational meat on the bone between these opposing factions?
We'll lose comms shortly.
And conveniently.
We'll survey the surface until we find the forge and create a safety zone.
Does this require you to subject us to more footage of Mandalorians getting their 10,000 steps in? Because you said...
Magnetic interference has made it impossible to scan the surface from above atmosphere.
And now we don't know what's preventing you from using your space plane to scan the surface from a lower altitude. This barge of badassery thing is f***ing cool. Can't wait to see many adventures with this awesome... It's not going to make it to the end of the episode, is it?
They punished us as a warning to the whole galaxy because we refused to surrender.
That's not true. I did surrender.
This shocking revelation is played like it's going to lead to feelings of betrayal among the surviving Mandos and possibly further division between the factions. But nope, everyone's super chill about it because we waited until the penultimate episode to get here and don't have time for pesky things like character development.
After our forces were annihilated in the Night of 1,000 Tears.
This event isn't called the Night of 1,000 Retellings of How Many Times Do I Have to Hear About Mandalore Being Bombed? We get it, it sucked. Also, 1,000 sounds like a lot, but it really isn't when you put it in terms of tears. 2 tear ducts per person means 500 people at most cried over this tragedy, and that's assuming they only shed 1 tear from each eye.
Those of you who are well enough can join us in the search for the Great Forge.
We can do better than that. We can bring you there.
All right, finally some excitement. Hoist the topsails, batten down the hatches, and other boating terms. Let's go! Damn it!
Should I step in?
Neither side can step in.
Which is something Mando should know, but conveniently doesn't. And something the audience doesn't know, but could have figured out from context clues. This welcome break in the monotony of boat life is tainted by the confusing physics aboard this vessel that allowed Axe to be attacking from the port side in this shot, then starboard side in this shot, then back to the port side in this shot.
You taught your apprentice well.
You didn't learn that from me.
This response to Grogu stopping the fight is super confusing coming from the person who a moment ago said,
Neither side can step in.
So is Grogu's lack of creed some sort of bureaucratic loophole, or did he just out himself as a spy? Either way, everyone's being okay with this seems like some convoluted bullshit. I guess this ship has been returning to the fleet for the past 3 minutes, and that's important to us for reasons other than this discount interstellar shot, but we won't find that out in this episode. So in the end, this is just more waiting for something to happen during this very exciting retaking of Mandalore.
There! On the starboard bow!
I do have to wonder what the point of a spotter is if the plan post-spotting is to just plow forward with no attempt at course correction directly into the thing that they tell you they've spotted. Did someone on the writing team not want them to have the cool boat anymore? Because otherwise this doesn't feel like the big deal it should be. We have no idea how many Mandos were injured, and it turns out they abandoned ship at a pretty ideal place to continue to the Forge on foot. At least that'll be the only pointless sacrifice of this episode.
We're not far. We need to go further down.
Making us momentarily believe this might be a major setback, only to reveal that the creature just helped them get off at the right exit. The momentary coolness of this idea quickly faded once I realized the big reveal of everyone having Mandalorian armor just makes this your typical same versus same matchup.
There's a split in the ceiling there. I'll lay down cover.
Now, I'm no Mandalorian, nor have I fought in anything scarier than a pillow fight, but I've seen this cliche enough to know that covering fire works by you laying down a ton of fire, which causes the enemy to hide and in turn provides a small window of time for your buddy to do what they need to do. This was mainly Axe watching Paz kill people. These Beskar-laden jump troopers suck a little less at shooting than the normal ones. It's as if Star Wars is trying to blame stormtrooper aim on the fact that their helmets didn't have this split down the front, a feature that I thought was only there for increased visibility during urination. This individual appears to have been committed to walking backwards off of this ledge before they were even shot. Also, this individual has a jetpack, as does this one. This rocket man flying right into this clothesline may be the first ever example of stormtrooper piloting. Instead of attacking or defending, this guy uses his face to blaster style because they trained him wrong on purpose as a joke.
Okay, kid. You've got to keep up.
But why is he even here, though? No other Mandalorians brought foundlings on this field trip. This completely unnecessary jump shot. Moff Gideon makes his sexy boy WrestleMania entrance, and I believe we're supposed to be impressed that they've added rockets to a Darth Vader. We're not, but we might have been had they not already added rockets to everyone else.
I have created the next generation Dark Trooper suit, forged from Beskar alloy.
Does he need to exposit about how the Empire's just getting around to making armor out of a metal alloy instead of a PVC pipe? Probably not.
And the most impressive improvement is that it has me in it.
Saying this instead of showing us an actual upgrade. Holovids or it didn't happen, Moff. We cut to Grogu just in time to remember Mando's bad parenting and acknowledge that he came all the way down here in a mech suit to do absolutely nothing. Wrap them up in as much pretty packaging as you like, but stormtroopers will still just blindly run into the oncoming fire instead of using any kind of cover or advantage when the story needs them to.
Go! There are too many.
Paz will then kill every one of these Storm DeLoreans on his own. So, no, there aren't too many. Also, I guess no adventure would be complete without the needless sacrifice of a fairly well-liked ancillary character. This one feels especially needless considering everyone's already escaped, and if the jump troopers want to pursue, they'd have to pass through a nasty bottleneck. Look, if you've got a martyr boner, then just say so, but don't make it out like this was your only option. These individuals have jetpacks. The Praetorian Guards show up just after the battle to make sure that no one ever finds out how wrong Paz was about the number of jump troopers. Episode contained very few spies. Or so we think. Dun dun dun! In 1 minute and 40 seconds of previously awning, we see a bunch of stuff about clones, forges, and Darth Beskar. And even with all that, the most surprising thing is that before he died, the writers had Paz call this big hole.
There's a split in the ceiling there.
You deserved better. Rest in peace, sweet prince.
Use the capital ship as a decoy. We can't beat them in the air. We have to beat them on the ground.
After Paz's overestimation of the number of Imperial troops in the last episode, I don't trust Mandalorian math anymore. It seems like X always equals martyr everyone and everything. You know what would have saved the Imperials from having to deal with all of this? If they just killed Mando when they had him dead to rights in the previous episode. But instead, they chose to take him to the debriefing room alive for reasons?
No.
Grogu Bottica ex machina. Also, Grogu was with the other Mandalorians during their escape in the last episode. Did they just lose him and not bring it up or show concern in any way whatsoever? How dare you let our precious Grogu out of your sight? Not giving us a functional reason why these TIE interceptors have to be stored in a way that requires the pilot to do an immediate 90-degree turn upon takeoff.
Sir, the fighters and bombers have launched.
The Mandalorian chooses to have a character relay that the fighters and bombers have launched, even though we, the audience, just saw the fighters and bombers launch.
This is information we already have, and we can believe that Gideon was told this. It's annoying enough the show is cramming this final battle the whole season's been building up to into 35 minutes, but yet we still have to waste some of that time with the previously on segment and now bullshit like this? Why, Mandalorian? Why? Let's talk about these helmets. They have no locking ring to connect the suit, but they still make some kind of pressurization sound when people put them on. Is it suctioning to their faces? Is it applying moisturizer? Why is sound?
R5. Come in, R5.
Last we saw, R5 made a hard left getting off the gauntlet when they first arrived. I thought maybe they went to take a piss and then got back on the ship. But now we see that Mando just had R5 roaming the barren wasteland of Mandalore all on their own, just so there'd be a super convenient droid to provide maps and unlock doors and the such. And somehow, that worked.
You're gonna have to scomp into the base.
I just had to look up scomp, and I still don't know what it is or means. So this is a sin for my poor research skills. Seems only fair. These droids always sticking their phallic metallics in unfamiliar ionic electronics. And I'm fairly certain they never have consent.
Got it. Good job, buddy.
Oh, hey, Mando. What happened to...
Sorry, I don't speak binary.
I don't speak it either, but it really felt like you understood exactly what was being said there. These shots of the Mandos flying from the cruiser to the gauntlets are, as Andre 3000 might say, ice cold. How did the Imperial ships not run into the Mandalorians' dropships? They literally went down and came out of the same cloud. Pointing all your guns skyward when you're being attacked from below.
There's some barrier shields. I'm gonna need you to deactivate them one at a time.
But why are there all these barrier shields? I get from a visual perspective, it's fun to have each one lifting, and the Mando fights off a couple security guards behind each one and collects weapons like it's a video game. But it also seems highly unnecessary, if not impractical. Why not just have one shield at the end of the corridor? That's all you need. Also, are the troopers not able to hear through the shields? Because they should be able to, and should have already heard Mando issue his orders to R5.
Open the shield! Open the shield!
What took these guys so long to react? Mando's been fighting their co-workers for a good 30 seconds. In this shot, R5 does not have his third appendage down, but in the next shot, it does. R5 really needs to have better control of his appendages. It's gonna get him into trouble one of these days.
R5, next shield!
Mando requests the next shield before he is properly dispatched to this gentleman to create tension surrounding R5's interaction with the repair droid. He's yelling at R5 to open the shield as if his life depends on it, but in actuality, he has to deal with this trooper first before he's even ready to move on to the next set. Two of these droids are so flabbergasted that they just drive right off the edge. Were we supposed to feel something about that? Sadness? Humor? Bloodlust?
That's not Gideon. Those are his clones.
Which is great, because there's nothing Star Wars fans love more than an attack of the clones. It's funny how clones always know when you're staring at them in their tanks. They've got this sixth sense for when it's a good time to do a jump scare. But on the other end of that is an equally terrified clone whose first sight in this life was Grogu in his robo-suit. So here are two sins for two jump scares. Mando does a bunch of button mashing and the tanks just explode? Why is the water explosive and how is that even an option?
We've taken refuge in these surface caves since the Purge.
Now I want a Purge movie set in a galaxy far, far away, and I'm sad because I know that will never happen. I want my Purge Wars. They can blame the Empire, but I think these assholes that can't go 5 minutes without using a jetpack are the ones responsible for scorching all of the plant life on Mandalore. This inverted infantry charge is all of the cool, but the Mandalorians advancing really seems like a threat easily handled by a couple of TIE interceptors. And we just so happen to see two of those bad boys just hanging around right here. I know they're the tools of a trade, but Armorer and Hammer here should know that tongs are not the right tool for every single job, unless they're sonic in nature, but that's a sin for a different time.
I was isolating the potential to wield the Force.
Writers sure are dancing around just saying midichlorians. Oh, goody! We've got two badass-looking Beskar-suited individuals who could have all kinds of fun weapons, but we're just getting some punchy stuff. That's fun. Also, it's amazing how content everyone is with punching people in a helmet. It doesn't make sense in football, and it doesn't make sense here. Now, groin punches, those would be much more effective in both scenarios. Good thing they only sent 3 Praetorian guards. Any more would have really f***ed up this entrance.
No.
The wild thing here is that Grogu uses the no button instead of the Force, and they still decide to not run Mando through before giving chase. Or they saw a baby in a robot and decided that was the bigger threat, which I agree with, actually. Casca's slide move is cool, but how does this result in her not being positioned below the platform and out of line of sight with her pursuers? The guard's inability to defeat a child, even a Force-capable child, undermines the threat they pose, making this almost comedic while at the same time undermining how hard Paz fought against them before he lost. Grofu is an awful lot like Yoda-fu. Seriously, is this episode trying to rectify Attack of the Clones? Because I assure you, Star Wars, that can't be done.
I've got this. Go save your kid.
Bo has been nowhere near this fight, but somehow knows Grogu is in trouble. The set pieces were nice enough to respond proportionally to the need for Grogu to get trapped under something. Mando is now holding the business end of the same weapon that went through Paz, and nothing we see or hear in this episode is going to explain how this is possible.
You did good, kid.
Except for that whole wait until the last second to use the Force thing, but otherwise, good job.
Hand over the Darksaber, and I'll give you a warrior's death.
Why would you do that? Why would you ask that? Episode kills the cool saber.
Mandalorians are weak once they lose their trinkets.
I mean, except for the Beskar armor and the elite fighting skills, but yeah, weak, I guess. Sorry, I have to ask this once again, but why the Force is enforcing Grogu using the forcing Force the whole forcing time? I get that this is a bigger fire, but is it a hotter fire? Because this show spent a lot of time showing people in armor not getting burned by fire. And if this is all just to set up Moff's eventual return, I'll send it again when that happens.
And the words of the creed shall be forever forged in my heart.
Are the words with arms wide open? I hope the words are with arms wide open.
You are now Din Grogu.
Yeah, that didn't make the name any better. Might have actually made it worse. Din Grogu sounds like the least popular ramen flavor at the local noodle place. The Mandalorian 2, The Way of Water. Bo-Katan will now light the Olympic flame, and everyone will chant as if victory has been won. But defeating a common enemy will only get you so far. Eventually your differences will creep back in, and Axe will get upset at a board game again. For Mandalore.
I am here to serve and protect the citizenry.
It's very nice that they brought IG-11 back, even though most of, if not all of, the important parts have been replaced. At this point, he's essentially the droid of Theseus, and I'm not sure if he's enough boat to protect Navaro from an army of pirates. Din Grogu is a Din Dick to frogs. Also, this ending is so Forrest Gump that I'm surprised the frog didn't float away on the wind.
No droids.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Those are the shrieking eels! You!
Coming in too hot. Ease up on the throttle. Watch for that crosswind. Level it out. Aim for the numbers. Let the dip your left wing.
My name is Walter Hottenhoffer, and I'm in the pharmaceutical business.
Anyone else?
Anyone? Anyone seen this before?
Hello, Mrs. Pig. Hello, Mrs. Sheep. Can Pepper talk to Susie, please? I would like to rave.
I can't kill you.
Now, think of the happiest things. It's the same as having wings.
Have fun storming the castle.
Welcome to Space the Infinite Frontier. We've got a great show lined up for you.
Such a large bounty for such a small package.
Size matters not. Have you ever removed your helmet?
Well, actually, that's none of your business, Christy.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Are you sure?
No matter what, you got to strap.
How do I look?
Like a hood ornament.
How do I know I can trust you?
Because got more flows than Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Does anybody have any tape out there? I want to put some tape over the death button.
Don't touch anything.
You're not my dad.
Sir, I've read a lot about your people.
What do you mean, you people?
I'm gonna need one more thing.
It's just we're putting new cover sheets on all the TPS reports before they go out now, so if you could go ahead and try to remember to do that from now on.
Do you mind if I ask you something?
Go ahead.
How long has it been since you've taken that off?
Tobias was a never nude.
which is exactly what it sounds like.
First lesson, sticking with the pointy end.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
This is it, Maverick. I'm gonna hit the brakes, he'll fly right by. Shit, he's gonna get a lock on us!
Take my love, take my land, take me where I cannot stand.
Hey, droid. I'm a hunter. I'm looking for some work.
Tell you the truth, I don't give a shit.
Wait, I thought you needed work.
I don't want your life.
If you go after her, you won't make it past sunrise.
I've never had a kiss when I wasn't one of the kissers.
This is a fertile land, and we will thrive. We will rule over all this land, and we will call it this land.
You know, I really should thank you. You're my ticket into the guild.
Nobody cares.
How can we be sure he's the one?
Being the one is just like being in love. No one can tell you you're in love, you just know it.
You want to be a bounty hunter?
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
The Mandalorian's worth more than you are.
Legend. Wait for it. And I hope you're not lactose intolerant, because the second half of that word is dairy.
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
It's off. That means I turn it on and just walk away.
Let's all see your eyes.
Where we're going, we won't need eyes to see.
I'll try again.
This little fella.
I said, put the bunny back in the box.
Stop! Or I'll say stop again.
What's your name?
I'm Batman.
You were hired to do a job, right?
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
That thing does not obey the laws of physics at all.
You big dildo. Eat your f***ing slop.
Is it still a hunter?
No, but it will protect.
Well, here's the thing. When I said that, I was lying.
I figured as much. Why else would you return?
I did spend some time with an absolutely stunning blonde the other day.
I can see why you didn't want to harm a hair on its wrinkled little head.
Well, how else am I going to experience motherhood?
What did we learn, Palmer?
I don't know, sir.
I don't know either. I guess we learned not to do it again.
Yes, sir.
I'm if I know what we did.
Yes, sir. It's hard to say.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Identify yourself. Drop it. Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Due to the Nakatomi Corporation's legacy of greed around the globe, they are about to be taught a lesson in the real use of power. You will be witnesses.
Hey! It's Enrico Palazzo!
If I pull that off, will you die?
It would be extremely painful.
You're a big guy.
For you.
Why ain't so bad? Yeah, look! Come on! You must be crazy or something! I'm crazy? You're just a stupid fool! Maybe you can kill him! Finish him!
Easy with that face of meat. Oops. A wet one. I hope I didn't stain my underwear.
You're making a terrible mistake I'm not gonna let you make.
Come on, guys. Nobody wants this. We're supposed to be professionals.
Surprise, Sydney.
You!
Good people who have traveled from villages near and far, lend me your ears. That's disgusting.
There's no easy way out. There's no shortcut home.
Why am I drippings with goo?
Pan down from the twin suns of Tatooine after a beat, the gloved Mandalorian armor gauntlet of Boba Fett grabs onto the sand outside the Sarlacc pit, and we realize that he survived his fall during the battle at Jabba's palace ship.
Just so everyone knows, one down for One down!
Don't drink any more of that boba. It can clog up your intestines.
I thought honoring one's word was a part of the Mandalorian code. I guess those are just stories for children.
Girl, the shade of it all.
Walking in a window in the land.
Leroy Dragons!
Almost there. Almost there.
Almost there. Almost there.
Can you fix it?
Yes, we can!
You've been captain of the Black Pearl for 13 years.
Technically, I was only captain for 2 years. Then I was viciously mutinied upon.
Then you were a poor captain, but a captain nonetheless.
You killed my brother.
Prepare to die.
Now, I'm gonna kill your pet.
And your little dog, too.
Happy birthday! Hey, I said my first words.
I am Groot.
Uh-huh.
I am Groot.
That's right.
I am Groot.
No! No, that's the button that will kill everyone!
Show me the red wire.
Red wire, blue wire, black is usually the ground. So much pressure.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys!
You son of a bitch. I'll get my best people on it.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
I can't be happy here knowing that there's people out there who have nothing.
What would you have Wakanda do about it?
Shithead here watched Empire and Jedi last week, and ever since he's been trying to do the Jedi mind trick.
Attention, Earthlings! Take me to your dealer!
They fly now?
But let me assure you this. My presence will be ornamental. You will find me a respectful, quiet, passive observer.
It is King Arthur. Whose castle is this?
This is the castle of my master, Guido Luamba.
Oysters, clams, and cockles!
Help us. Help me!
I have a proposition that may interest you.
Suppose I were to offer you $1 million.
You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Execute them. Bogus.
We'll handle this. Why, Johnny Ringo. You look like somebody just walked over your grave.
I didn't finish the job.
No. But sometimes, in the heat of the moment, it's forgivable to go ass to mouth.
I shall not forget you. How brave you are to be alone in the woods.
Dang ferret.
Language.
I'll see if I can buy you some time. Can you please hurry up?
I'm trying to use the phone!
You were dead.
Your friend here is only mostly dead. There's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead.
You couldn't handle my midriff.
Okay, I'm gonna protect you.
Okay, I'm going. Take off.
See ya.
Dang it.
The damage is not too bad. As long as the foundations are still strong, we can rebuild this place. It will become a haven for all peoples and aliens of the universe.
You're not ready to play with such things.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
You just took one in the jugular, man.
This isn't so bad, huh? Making bucks, getting exercise, working outside.
Nay.
And
What did Miggs say to you? Multiple Miggs in the next cell.
He said, I can smell your
I see. I myself cannot.
You gonna tell me where you're taking me?
There's some lovely filth down here.
Not gonna need long inside, so once I get the coordinates, you guys gotta get me the hell out of there.
You get to the roof. I'll drop in and pull you out.
There's a plan in everything, kid. And I love it when a plan comes together.
Wish I could say it looked good on you, but I'd be lying.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Well, he couldn't drive. Of course I can drive. Why does everyone say that? I used to drive.
I don't know how you people wear those things.
What do you mean, you people?
Get down.
What's your name, officer?
My name is Jeff. There's a special rung in hell reserved for people who waste good scotch. Seeing as I may be rapping on the door momentarily, I must say, damn good stuff, sir.
I regret nothing!
Soon, he will be back with me.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
Scotty, put the ship's phasers on stun.
You want to know what else I saw?
I watched Jane die.
It's terrible. I'm gonna have permanent hearing damage.
Let me see it.
I don't bargain.
New York City!
Easy there, little one.
You'll be talking through the window of a Bacta tank.
All right, easy. Save it for the imps.
Being back in the yard, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, just like it. Nobody backing down, nothing.
If we had shown half that spine to the Empire, we would have never lost our planet.
Sorry, you see what I mean? I just get carried away.
No! No!
All I asked for was a frickin' rotating chair. I need an old priest and a young priest.
If Master Obi-Wan caught me doing this, he'd be very grumpy.
This is a school.
I call that bold talk for a one-eyed fat man.
Fill your hand, you son of a bitch!
We'll put down our weaponry on the count of 3.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3.
He said they don't make them anymore. They're very hard to find.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
Spelunking? Where do you use spelunking?
Spelunking for pork rinds.
That thing got a hammy?
Don't be a baby.
Who are you and who are you calling baby?
Be right back. Don't worry, kid.
You see, you push the laws and you end up dead.
They have a cave troll.
What's wrong? Snake! Snake!
There. The entrance to the mines of Mandalore.
This, my friend, is the home of my cousin Balil, and they call it a mine. A mine!
This is no mine. It's a tomb.
Too much to drink.
Come no further. You're an apostate.
Yeah, that's what your mom said last night.
What the was that? Splitting the throttles? Coming around.
You want to touch it?
Are we allowed to?
Aw, is this your first time?
Do you still find your current housing situation comfortable?
Interlinked.
Jinjarin claims to have bathed in the living waters.
Is this true?
One time that happened.
Welcome, Bo-Katan of Clan Kree. This is the way.
This is the way.
One of us. Goo goo goo. One of us. Goo goo goo.
Boulder feels conflicted about fighting a young blind girl.
the nest.
And here I thought we were smart just using a holo map.
Let's gather around the campfire and sing our campfire song.
The piece that I've always worried about the most is the crux, the hardest part.
Well, sir, there's nothing on Earth like a genuine, bona fide, electrified 6-car monorail.
Orion Shard. I knew that Corsair looked familiar.
Now, what starts with the letter C? Cookie starts with C.
It often takes a new perspective before one is able to see the light.
Don't believe them. Don't trust them. They are dying. Let them die.
Does anyone else wish to speak?
I'll use this to drop you in, and you will operate as a tight military unit.
My unit.
The boy who lived, come to die.
How you doing, fellas?
Stay in school and use your brain. Be a doctor, be a lawyer, carry a leather briefcase. Forget about sports as a profession. Sports make you grunt and smell. See, be a thinker, not a stinker.
And I will always love you.
Slimy, yet satisfying.
A new life awaits you in the off-world colonies. The chance to begin again in a golden land of opportunity and adventure.
Why do they have Imperial droids on an independent world?
Because you'll love them and they'll love you.
Oh yes, new cities, homes in the country, your woman at your side, children playing at your feet, and overhead, fluttering in the breeze, the flag of the Federation.
Ciao, Bella.
Earth, wind, and fire!
Do you yield?
I don't know what that means.
Hello, and welcome to the Los Pollos Hermanos family. My name is Gustavo, but you can call me Gus.
Report. And make it quick, as I am short on time.
Actually, you called me.
Oh, hell, let's just do what we always do. Hijack some nuclear weapons and hold the world hostage.
That's right.
That's IG-12 now. Do you like him?
This is some up repugnant shit.
Grogu is too young to operate heavy machinery. Maybe when he's older...
Exterminate!
What do you mean, no?
Exterminate!
Mandalorians.
I look around, I see these young faces, and I think, I made every wrong choice a middle-aged man can make. I pissed away all my money, believe it or not. I chased off anyone who's ever loved me. And lately, I can't even stand the face I see in a mirror.
Remember your training, and you will make it back alive!
What is this place?
Shendel, love. Could it be a trap?
I will create an army that will bring order to the galaxy.
There's no order, no discipline.
It's a jetpack.
Will you cut me loose?
My dad needs my help.
I'm gonna need you to be brave for me, okay?
I'd rather not.
Surprise, motherfucker.
RoboCop. Who is he? What is he? Where does he come from?
Thought this was gonna be a street fight? You're goddamn right it is.
Mandalorians are weak once they lose their trinkets.
If you want me to wear 37 pieces of flair like your pretty boy over there, Brian, why don't you just make the minimum 37 pieces of flair?
You shall do my wonders.